Hello. Do we have everything working here?
I
Are we
think
joined?
so.
Very nice. Hello, everyone. We are back for our final day today of the GCD second tournament of Europe for 2017. I'm joined by Super T's, and we're not quite joined by Zanyaki just yet, but we're hoping to be in the very near future. So, how are you doing today, Sid?
I'm doing very well. It's a wonderful Sunday morning. It's been snowing outside. I think it was snowing all
It's
night. I
actually,
was hoping to go and get an energy drink before this, but I don't feel like daring to walk down the hill
uh,
in the snow right now. So I'm going to be going off of just raw energy alone, no artificial sweeteners.
right, fair enough. It's actually snowing. Wow, that's a Canadian thing, I guess, because don't get so much snow here. Certainly not. Oh well. Anyways, we've got our four series for you coming up today. Of course, we have our grand final. We have four remaining teams, which are going to be. We have ABC still in it with Enjoy Legion. So that's going to be the first series, the upper bracket. We can just head over to the brackets right now and have a little look at how this is going to play out. So there we see, of course, we played out the majority of it yesterday. ABC vs Enjoy Legion is going to be that first series. That's going to be Daisy Duke, Askaraf on the Druid, and Nixie, who we saw playing Warrior and Druid, going up against the team of Enjoy Legion, which was Swapsy's team. And we can look at our little graphic here, uh, which is going to be Zonica, Swapsy, and Jamie. They came off a 3-0 victory against Northern Gaming yesterday, whereas ABC had a much closer series against Social Justice Warriors, which was Laser Chicken's LSD, and they won that 3-2. So this should be an exciting game. Who do you think has the upper hand in this matchup, Sid?
So we're going to be watching Laser Chicken's LSD.
It's
I was
uh,
actually
it's Enjoy Legion against ABC, so Swapsy's team.
okay. So PHDK is
Hmm.
normally what they're playing.
Yeah, that
Have they
was the
been?
previous two.
They haven't been showing any other comps, so that's all they've played so far.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, they could play other things, but PHDK was very strong before the patch. After the patch, I feel like it's slightly weaker. It's highly specialized against Resto Druids specifically, so definitely I don't think any of the other teams are going to be walking Resto Druids into it. I think I have to give it to them. I just feel like their tournament experience is going to be, or at least Swapsy's tournament experience is going to be carrying their team through the match.
So you think Enjoy Legion has the advantage in this matchup?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's kind of weird to see because both the RMDs since yesterday they deviated from their main composition. So of course Northern Gaming and ABC like throughout both not just this expansion but last expansion as well. Uh, they had like kind of traditionally just stuck to this RMD composition. However, it should be it's going to be very interesting to see how that actually plays out, such that they ran the Warrior Mage Druid yesterday, and then they ran the Boomkin Mage Holy Paladin as well in Northern Gaming. So I'm going to be curious to see if this multi-class
I
is going to
watched
help.
that. I was surprised at how well it was doing for so long, but
Mm,
I mean, Zonica, I feel like was a legend in that game. Like that game should be recorded somewhere and be like, how to be a resto druid and pull off a miracle,
yeah, I
and
can't believe they
he'll
nerfed that.
do that for 8 minutes straight with zero mana, and to the point where the enemy team is So he seemed like he was ready for it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how they actually were able to survive that. That game was absolutely incredible because it really looked like they were winning the entire time, right? Northern Gaming, and then it's like somehow they were winning, but they didn't win, and then eventually they lost. So that was a very dumbed down analysis of what happened in that game yesterday. But anyways, we're going to have Northern Gaming, of course. If we go back to our brackets here, we can see Northern Gaming are not out of it just yet. They will be playing later on against Social Justice Warriors, which is that LSD, Laser Chicken, Aristros, and Bowie on the Resto Shaman. What do you think? Who do you think might be favored in that one later on?
I'm just trying to pull up the bracket myself because I don't have it right in front of me. Um, what compositions were they playing mainly?
So it's the LSD2 against Northern Gaming, so whatever they choose to run, whether that be Rogue Mage Druid or this Boomkin Mage that we saw yesterday.
Um, I mean, I don't think they're going to be playing Boomkin Mage into LSD. I mean, that normally hasn't been a great matchup for any Mage comp. But I don't think they're going to play that. I feel like they're going to play their rogue mage.
Mm, yeah, I think that's a pretty reasonable assumption. They've they have been doing very well with it, of course. They just needed to. Yesterday, like, of course, there's this big assassination nerfs that came in on Wednesday. We kept talking about this. So there was recently a hotfix 4 days ago. I'm sure most people in the chat are aware. And assassination rogue was probably the class that was hit the hardest by this. They lost 10% on their wound poison as well as multiple other damage sources. I think even 5% HP as well. So they got hit pretty hard by that one. And it just feels like people have steered clear of it. I think Waz was actually the only rogue that did play an assassination game. I can't remember if he won it or not, but no, I think they did lose it, and that's what made them swap over to the Boomkin. But it seems everyone's favoring sub, and it really seems hard to kill some compositions with the sub rogue, just because, I mean, Boomkins are quite tanky with the 30% magic reduction in bear form.
I don't think that's just a sub rogue not being able to kill a boomkin. I think everything it can't kill a boomkin.
Yeah, well, fair enough then. Yeah, because Laser Chicken, sometimes they would get like the perfect CC chain yesterday, and then Laser Chicken would drop to maybe like 60% or something, so it was quite insane to watch. So it should be interesting to see how Northern Gaming can do against that, because that was, of course, an incredible series yesterday.
What I
Anyways,
find interesting is demonology warlock seems to be coming back with like a strong presence, but still some teams opt to play or Destro instead. I was actually wondering if demonology boomkin would just be unkillable. Like you've got your boomkin that can go in bear form with celestial guardian. You've got demo lock with passive soul link, and then earth shield stacking damage reduction from the resto shaman. If you try and train the shaman, then you've got clones and fears to help him. I feel like that would maybe be one of the hardest comps to kill in the game.
yeah, I wonder what healer would you put with that though? Maybe a Resto
Our
Druid as
shaman,
well.
wouldn't it?
But do you
Wouldn't
think
it?
the Shaman would die then,
I
to some
don't. I
extent?
don't think it would die.
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, like that was kind of the thing with the LSD yesterday. It was just they were super hard to kill. The only thing that could really beat them was Nixie's Fury Warrior, right? Like he brought out this warrior 3 times and he got 3 wins with it. So like Fury Warrior just does such insane damage in the current patch. But I think they were killing the Warlock and he was Destro, so maybe if you do swap him in as a demo, then that could actually be something that would really help them out.
Yeah, it looked like Fury Warrior Fire Mage was strong yesterday. They were they played it the first game though and they lost, and then they switched back to Rogue Mage and then they lost, and then they just went back to it again randomly. Maybe they just had a better strategy for it overall. I think they might have just figured out, okay, Boomkins don't die, so we have to hit the lock.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
it's going to be really hard to kill the Boomkin or the rest of the Shaman with the Boomkin supporting him. The Destro lock is the only thing you can really exploit, and you need to play a composition that is really good at killing clothies, and I would definitely put Fury Warriors maybe the number one spec at killing a clothy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, we're going to see how these games play out in the near future. Of course, our first series isn't going to be the LSD, it's going to be ABC going up against Enjoy Legion. So that's going to be the team, of course, of Zonica, Swabsy, and Jamie, as we can see on our slide here. And when we do get into this game, which should be short, of course, the first game is going to be a blind pick, so both teams just taking their time right now to decide what that first composition is going to be. It's very important that they do take the advantage here, since of course, if you win that first game, you're put in such a great spot for the rest of the series. It is a best of 5, but every single time the loser gets the advantage. So if you win that first game, you will be able to always have an advantage, so you have to lose on your advantage at least once. So we're going to have to see who can take this first game on that Grand Arena. We should be able to queue up the game momentarily here. What comps are you expecting to come out from these guys?
I mean, I think we're going to be seeing the PHDK. And who is their opponents?
ABC.
And they were playing the Fury Warrior or the Assassin sub.
Yeah, so they're probably running the WMD or the RMD, I would guess, yes. Or
I
maybe
don't think they're going to
even
run the RMD.
maybe
I don't
not
think they
even
have
Grid.
enough. I don't think they have enough pressure with the RMD. They could. Does their healer play Paladin?
I think he does, yeah, Askarov. So that could be interesting. But then again, we saw Cavi playing against some stuff yesterday on the Paladin, and it seemed really hard to out-heal in some games. So maybe against the PHDK it could be an option for sure. We'll have to see
I mean,
how that one plays out.
even as Paladin, if PHDK is training you or swaps to you, it becomes really scary. Like the only healer I can think of that can would deal with PHDK the best that I've seen is Resto Shaman, but I don't know how well Resto Shaman Mage, Warrior, Rogue, whatever would do. I feel like Druid would do better than Paladin if they're going to play Warrior Mage. Maybe not though. Maybe no. If they play Warrior Mage, I think he has to play Arms. I don't think they can burst the plate wearer, or sorry, the leather wearer and the plate wearer, or the mail wearer. Who wears mail in this game anymore?
Uh, well, I guess hunters do, right?
Yes. Okay. So I don't think Fury would work for them. I don't think they can find enough CC if they are going to play Warrior. I think he has to play Arms.
Mm. Yeah, I think the MS seems pretty reasonable. That is kind of like the reason the Arms Warriors come out, right? Like, firstly, it got a few buffs in the hotfix, and secondly, it kind of replaces the Assassination Knives. But we are ready to get into the game. Nagrand Arena, of course, is going to be our first map, as always. We can zoom in right now. And there we do have it. So it is going to be this PHDK coming out of Enjoy Legion, and it's going to be the Warrior Mage Druid. Are they playing the arms? It looks like they are.
He's playing
So
the Arms.
exactly what Super T's called. Perfect.
I think it's a good pairing. Arms Warriors bring decent, consistent damage, but they're really known for their Honor Talent Sharpened Blade, which enhances their Mortal Strike effect by an additional 50% reduced healing. They also bring significant defensive utility with Disarm and Duel. That's going to allow him to kind of slow down the pace of the game. Whenever there's an incoming stun on his healer, he can disarm the Hunter. He can duel the Death Knight, forcing the Death Knight to attack him, or the Death Knight will attack at half value. So the Arms Warrior definitely going to bring a lot to the table in this specific fight, but Resto Druids are highly susceptible to Unholy Death Knights with the Crypt Fever Honor Talent, which is going to deal damage anytime his hots tick. And if this game goes into dampening, it's going to become insanely difficult for DJ Batman to deal with.
All right, yep, for sure. And of course, just to clarify, we have KNN, that's going to be Jamie on the Death Knight, and then Jasmine and MC is going to be Swapsy on the Hunter, going up against Askref on the Resto Druid, Daisy Duke, and Nixie. But we can see they get the double shockwave immediately. Swapsy taking a fair bit of damage. He needs to get onto his target. It looks like it's going to be Askref right now. They're actually going for a splitting strat, which we saw them doing a lot yesterday. What do you think about this, Sid?
I mean, at this point, it looks like they're trapping on Nixie and trying to both collide over to Daisy Duke. DJ Batman going for a Tranquility behind the pillar. That's a great maneuver as a Resto Druid. You can avoid being interrupted and heal through line of sight, but that Tranquility is now over. He's going to have to face the music and try and cast in front of Khan. In the meantime, they've actually gotten Swapsy the Hunter down below half. Zonica seems to be struggling a bit to deal with this pressure. A triple fear out from Nixie. This is a good setup. Can Daisy Duke follow it up? He's looking for a polymorph. He's not able to find it just yet. Zonica shapeshifts the Shockwave stun, blinks out of the Ring of Frost. Good play from Zonica. Now activating that tree form talent. That's a talent I see Resto Druids taking quite often against mages. It allows you to immune incoming polymorphs and continue your healing, especially in a high burst situation like this. So he should be able to keep his Hunter going on the offensive, but DJ Batman's deflecting it.
Yeah, I really like the Diamond Ice talent choice. We saw it from Swapsy yesterday as well. It just allows them to get that Diamond Ice, which is an unbreakable trap, and then they get the Cyclones off of that. So well played by Zonica, good communication between these two. We can see there's not too much damage going out onto Daisy Duke right now, which is a bit of a problem since that's kind of like their whole strategy, right, is to try to get CC. But at the same time, they're just trying to DJ Batman. That's, of course, Askref on the Druid. Both these Druids sitting at about 40% mana right now, so things should start to get a little bit more explosive when those mana pools do drop a little bit lower. Swapsy's definitely taking the worst of this exchange right now. We can see him just trying to kite away from Nixie Warrior, slowing him with those cow traps constantly, as well as trying to get some damage into Daisy Duke. But at the minute, it's not too much doing. They do force the Iron Bark, though.
All right, so Zonica, I believe, is running Relentless. So Dragon's Breath, Sheep, that CC combination from the Fire Mage is not. Dragon's Breath will not last long enough to actually connect to Polymorph. So Zonica should be able to shapeshift it every time. We see a lot of pressure still coming forward onto Swapsy the Hunter down below half. AMZ has been traded out by Khan. That purple magic barrier is reducing all magic damage. But Sharpened Blade has been activated by Nixie. He smells blood in the water. He's looking for the kill. Down to 20%. Zonica caught into a full clone. DJ Batman sneaking forward with a Polymorph onto Khan. Crowd control for everybody. Another Cyclone over onto Zonica. Can they chain it into anything more? Daisy Duke is pressuring him. He's got him locked down in form with these spam polymorphs. Bash on Zonica, followed up by the Ring of Frost. Blink connects that. Can they keep it going? They've got the Hunter down to half. They need a little bit more damage to take him down. He gets behind the pillar. He's able to line of sight with Zonica and avoid the rest of the pressure. They break up the CC chain. Zonica should be able to top him off here shortly. In the meantime, Khan is soloing Daisy Duke. He's down below half. He gets cloned up at low HP on his trinket, so he's not going to be able to get out of that. DJ Batman down to 19% mana. If Enjoy Legion can stay alive a little bit longer, they're going to be able to clean this up.
Yeah, for sure. They're doing such a good job. They are ooming Asgraf, of course. He's down to 10% mana already. This is kind of like the disruptive playstyle they were trying yesterday. Swapsy just using those traps on the DPS, trying to stay alive as long as possible, and they just kind of oom the enemy healer. We can see he's reconnecting now onto Asgraf, who is basically out of mana. Daisy Duke is sitting fine on HP, and we do see the Innovate come out, so he should be able to get some heals here. But after that Innovate, he doesn't really have anything left. They have to get the kill soon onto Swapsy. We can see he's down to about 50%. Zonica is trying to reconnect to him now, though, behind the pillar. Should be able to pull him up here.
Yeah, Khan in the meantime is still just marching towards Daisy Duke, trying to keep up his constant pressure on as the Death Knight. He's been keeping him fairly low and forcing DJ Batman to expend so much mana. But DJ Batman just channeled a full Tranquility. Daisy Duke has managed to sneak a Polymorph onto Zonica. He needs to keep that going, but he gets Mind Frozen. Good breakup by Khan there, carrying the damage, carrying the interrupts. He's doing very well on that Death Knight. It looks like DJ Batman's had enough. He moves in, goes for the bash, looking for the Cyclone out of it, doesn't find it. He does get interrupted by the Hunter, Swapsy. Ironbark traded out by Zonica to keep him offensive. They want to make sure that they're pushing forward and forcing this game to an end. Everyone is dipping low on the side of ABC. They still have decent pressure onto the Hunter, but he has Aspect of the Turtle. His Exhilaration heal is coming up. Zonica's activated Tree Form. He has Innervate to pair with it. All of his heals are free. He's going to be able to top his team off very easily. And DJ Batman, he's on the ropes. He trinkets out of the stun. He's doing everything he can, but he's only got 1% mana remaining. They switch some pressure over onto Nixie War. He's down below half. He's holding on to his defensive cooldowns. Actually decided to trade out the Die by the Sword to allow DJ Batman time to drink. I don't know if that Death and Decay hit DJ Batman. I believe it did. They stopped the drink. He managed to get about 5% mana, but I believe that was just passively regen. He's looking for some Cyclones, finds one over onto Zonica, unfortunately DR'd. They do follow it up with the bash, though. Can they get the full sheep? Daisy Duke not in a position to follow it up. Zonica leaves the crowd control chain, maintains the full hots. It seems like the pressure is starting to mount. Daisy Duke down below half. DJ Batman trying to get behind the pillar. He's forced to use healing touches. It's his mana-efficient heal, but he's still not able to top anybody. Everyone down to half. If Enjoy Legion can keep pushing forward, this game should easily be theirs.
Yeah, for sure. But Swapsy is taking a fair bit of damage. Of course, the Dragon's Breath onto Zonica, that Relentless does deny the sheep, though he's able to shift and move away. There's a bit of damage coming in. The Blink CS from Daisy Duke, the attempt at that, he doesn't actually land the CS, he doesn't use it just there. But now Swapsy is forced into the turtle, actually, as he does drop into execute range. So Zonica's got a job topping him off, does use the Snowing Rod and the Tranquility. It is going to be enough for now. But that is a major defensive cooldown forced onto Enjoy Legion at the same time, though. ABC are still Tag Turkin struggling so much at topping his team. Daisy Duke is taking a lot of damage right now. Does still have the Ice Block available, though. He's able to kite away a little bit here. But now they reconnect onto the rest of Druid. Asgraf is trying to kite away. You can see he has so many pets on him the entire game. He can never get a drink like this. Doesn't have his Shadow Meld available from that last attempt. And we see Daisy Duke is taking so much damage.
Yeah, he's down below 20. He's going to use his Ice Block before Cauterize. He actually decides to cancel his Ice Block early and go for a crowd control chain, but Khan shuts him down with a well-timed Mind Freeze, and now Zonica, free of crowd control, should be able to keep his team on the offensive. Swapsy's just been running at DJ Batman this entire rest of this game, trying to take out the healer, but he's not able to connect. He's forced to go back towards Daisy Duke. They actually stun Daisy Duke to prevent incoming crowd control, which means that stun won't be available to prevent incoming healing. Innervate just came up for DJ Batman. That's going to make all of his healing free. He needs to get the most out of this. He's using his Fluorescence, his most expensive heal, trying to spend as much as he can before that Innervate runs out. He's on his last legs. Daisy Duke down below half. Innervate has now faded. Sharpened Blade is up. That's going to reduce all the incoming healing on the Hunter. He's down below half. Zonica seems to be struggling as we move into dampening. Full bash. DJ Batman follows up with a Tranquility. He doesn't even have time to Cyclone. No Ice Block available. Cauterize is about to trigger. We're on the last line here between this Hunter and Mage. Both tipping dangerously low. Cauterize has proc, and DJ Batman has to heal through Cauterize with no mana. I don't think he's going to be able to keep it up. 16% HP remaining. Healing touch after healing touch. A nice vortex on the Harpoon of the Hunter. Buys his team a little bit more time to try and get the kill. There is no Aspect of the Turtle available. Jazz could just go down below 24%. Nixie leaps in for the kill and then pull off the miracle. Execute connects. Tree Form came up in 1 second, but it wasn't enough. It doesn't look like they're giving up just yet as Khan is marching forward looking for the cross kill. Daisy Duke down below 20. DJ Batman still has nothing left. Double Shockwave. Daisy Duke's on the run. Blinks behind the pillar. DJ Batman gets him back to 50, and I think he's going to be able to survive here.
Yeah, I can't believe that. It was such an well-executed game from ABC there. DJ Batman, I cannot believe he was able to out-heal there. He was for a good 4 to 5 minutes in that game. Of course, they did nerf the Abundance Druid spec, so his heals actually do cost mana now. And they are still trying to get the Cyclones, trying to get the CC to kill Daisy Duke. I mean, they still have a small chance, but I think it's quite unlikely. Daisy Duke just sheeping up KNN, Jamie on their DK and able to kite away here. They should be able to close out this 3v2 situation, and yep, Enjoy Legion do leave the game. So that's going to be game one in favor of ABC. Suddenly, against the tide of play, the strategy from Enjoy Legion, you can look at the crowd control here onto ABC. Actually, the Druid does get CC'd a fair bit, but look at the CC onto Daisy Duke. This team doesn't have much, but they're using as much as they can to just be disruptive to him, deny his crowd control, use the traps and the stuns onto him, just to kind of play out this game till dampening, but it didn't quite work for them. Why do you think it was that they were able to get the kill onto Swapsy in the end? Because Sonica had a lot of mana left.
I mean, the sharpened blade and the mortal strike from the warrior and the fire mage damage alone, you can't just heal through that with hot. So you're gonna have to cast at a certain point. And when you're healing a melee cleave when you're healing melee cleave as a healer, of course you're healing it because you're the healer. But if you're healing two melee classes, it's actually very challenging to get around interrupts. So I'm not sure if he was just getting mind gamed by the potential counter spell of Daisy Duke. So when someone's getting low and you're forced to cast, and it's the only way you're going to be able to save someone, and you're getting mind game, and you don't want to get locked out because you could easily just lose the game in that lockout, you get put in a point where you're just like slowly falling behind, and it's going to keep rolling. And that's why you play talents like Tree Form to give you more instant healing. And because his Tree Form wasn't available until literally the final second, I think it's just pressure that kept mounting over and over, along with dampening, that it forced him into a corner where he had no decision to try and save him. And they ran out of cooldowns. I guess it's just more on the side of ABC that they were able to attrition that out with no mana as long as they did.
Yeah. That was really interesting because it looked like they were just going to win the game the entire time, but then yeah. Do you think maybe because Tree Form's great when it's up, of course, like it's instant healing, avoid polymorphs, etc. But do you think maybe the extra healing from say Cultivation, like a more consistent talent, could like have paid off better for them in this? Because he presses the Tree Form and it almost seems like overhealing. Like I wonder if he just had a little bit more passive healing throughout the entire game, if that would be enough to kind of help deal with the constant pressure coming out of this Arms Warrior Fire Mage.
He might not need it. I think it was like super necessary against the Assassination Rogues, but I don't know if the Arms Warrior pressure makes it mandatory. I mean, you could definitely get away with playing Cultivation. I feel like his second Tree Form was an aggressive Tree Form, would be my only thing. And they didn't get anything out of it. Like he used it, they didn't really push forward with it. So maybe his second Tree Form could have been used either more defensively or gotten more things with a push. That would be like my only thing that I noticed.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So we're going to get into the game here. Dalaran Sewers is the map choice from Enjoy Legion, choosing that slightly smaller map, hoping probably to try close the game out a little bit faster in this one. And of course it is the same compositions on both sides, so we'll have to see if the smaller map can pay off for Enjoy Legion. Of course, these guys have a lot of tournament experience. Swapsy, the 2 times BlizzCon champion. Zonica even won the last GCD event last month, so these guys are very experienced in these regards. They should be able to kind of pull their heads up. They shouldn't tilt too easily from a game like that. It was so close. I'm sure that they can easily pull it back here on this map.
The only thing I really noticed was the split strategy that you called at the start. It seemed like Enjoy Legion kept to it throughout the match, and I'm wondering if they needed to. It seemed like DJ Batman was running Swapsy in circles. He was never really able to connect to anything too effectively, so maybe at a certain point it would be better for Swapsy to go on the same target as Khan, something that they can both attack. I mean, they got died by the sword from the warrior towards the end of the match, but never went back to him. I feel like they could have had a little bit better target decisions toward the end of the match, but either way, we're jumping into this. It does look to be like a split strategy again. Khan's going to be going after Daisy Duke, while Swapsy's going after the warrior and the hunter. It looks like he's going to harpoon in. He gets away from the sharpened blade damage. Nixie leaps after him. This is actually still quite a bit of pressure. Zonika's behind the pillar, getting some regrowth. Gets Dragon's Breath on that regrowth. Daisy Duke looking to connect the polymorph. Not able to find it, unfortunately, which means that Zonika should be able to save him. He can jump into tree farm if this pressure really starts to mount up too much. And he might need to. It looks like Swapsy is struggling to try and get his health back up. Iron Bark has been used. He aspects of the Hawk as well to try and get some counter pressure. Nixie is forced to use Die by the Sword, and I really like that. I think focusing the Warrior will be a better target for them, as the Mage is going to be able to easily kite them, whereas Nixie's forced into the fight. And now that they've gotten through his major defensive cooldown, DJ Batman's going to have to be worried for him for at least another 3 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. And at the same time, it's like Swapsy's taking so much damage here just from that Arms Warrior and the Fire Mage. Zonika's really struggling. He had to trade out his tree form now. Of course, he doesn't play the Trinket. He is playing Relentless to avoid those Dragon's Breath sheep, so he's not going to have that available to him. We can see Swapsy is trying to get some connection over onto GG Batman Asgraf on that Resto Druid, but he's really struggling. Daisy Duke actually uses 2 blinks here to try and get offensive onto the Resto Druid, but that means that KNN is going to be able to reconnect to him. Zonika did have that tree form. He gets caught up in the bash. Are they going to be able to follow the polymorph? A good Mind Freeze is going to deny that. Zonika should be able to get away and top his team off. They're actually swapping pressure now over onto KNN. He's taking a fair bit of damage. Iron Bark has to come out. They're going to get the cross. You see a random sheep coming out from Daisy Duke. Beautiful play from him. KNN could be in a lot of trouble here. Ironbark is still up. Looks like he's going to be able to get out of that CC, channel the Tranquility, and top his team.
Yeah, I don't know about top them. He's still down below half HP. Zonika's going to have to deal with that. He doesn't have tree form. He's trying to get his hots back up, as Daisy Duke did spell steal them away. He manages to get full hots, but he still needs to deal with that counter spell. Look to see if Daisy Duke can land that. It could just end the match if he's able to. Zonika's scared. He's just not casting. He's trying to do as much instant healing as possible, but with Sharpened Blade now activated, this Hunter is going to be in a lot of trouble. He activates the Roar of Sacrifice to not get crit. A very hyper-effective defensive against a Fire Mage, even against an Arms Warrior as well, so that will allow him to push forward and persevere. Triple Dragon's Breath out from Daisy Duke, looking for the polymorph, but Zonika blinks away. They trap up Daisy Duke at low HP, denying the heals. A nice play. They stun, but they clone him. I don't know if that was a miscommunication. That Cyclone's going to stop all incoming damage. A huge misplay. Now DJ Batman's going to be able to save the day. They switch the attention to Nixie. He's down at 20%. I like that, focusing the Warrior. They got his defensive cooldown early in the match. They need to exploit that weakness. I feel like chasing after Daisy Duke, who still has Ice Block, is a good long-term goal, but if they wanted to find a kill there, they definitely could find it on the Warrior. They're not getting it. Iron Bark over onto the Hunter, but a full trap on DJ Batman, back and forth constantly. Zonika chains the trap into a Cyclone. Good CC chain. Daisy Duke could be forced into the Ice Block. He's going to Ice Block at 11%, save his Cauterize for later, but even with just Cauterize, he may get burned through it. Let's see how much longer Daisy Duke can keep this up. DJ Batman moves in, lands a full Cyclone, goes for an Innervate play. That's going to make all of his healing free. He's going to be able to spam cast as well. He's gotten 3 Cyclones on Zonika, but no real pressure. Any Magic Zone from Khan deflected any incoming damage. Trap on Daisy Duke at low HP. I really like these plays. The trap into clone removes all of the heal over time effects, and DJ Batman has to expend so much mana to get those back up.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing as well is, like we said, Zonika's really struggling to play around this CS from Daisy Duke. He's doing such a great job of holding onto it, forcing him to fake. So every single time they trap him, because he's playing the adaptation, they know he doesn't have a break for it. Of course, he used the Ice Block now as well. So they can just trap him into clone and just free heal whenever they like. We see another trap onto Daisy Duke. Zonika unable to land the clone on this one, but you can see he's just spam casting heals when Daisy Duke's in that trap, and he's just able to keep his team at high HP because of that. We now see DJ Batman. He is trying to push in. He's trying to create some solo pressure. Gets the bash onto Zonika. Followed up by the polymorph. Of course, it is reduced by Relentless, though. He gets the preemptive Ironbark. Well played by Zonika. KNN now the target of choice. Ooh. There is the Thorns onto him. He's taking a lot of damage. AMS comes out before the Shockwave. Well played. Looks like he should be able to stabilize, but at the same time, Zonika struggling so much, does get that tree form back just in time to top his team.
Yeah, that tree form Innervate makes all of his instant healing free, so he should be able to significantly top him off. It looks like Nixie activated his duel. That's going to reduce the incoming damage up from the Hunter on the Mage. Nice play there, but they decide to trap him. I believe that triggered his adaptation, so if they can get a stun on him, he will be stuck in it, but they're just blinking away. Daisy Duke is taking a very defensive position now. He's no longer trying to stand on top and get sheeps. He's trying to drag the game out and maybe reverse the mana, at least try to extend the match. He doesn't have Ice Block. He needs to be careful. He's blinking away DJ Batman and Daisy Duke on the run. Looks like DJ Batman wants to make a play. He blinks in. He stuns up Zonica. He chains that into the Cyclone. They're looking for the kill on the Hunter. Roar of Sacrifice was used on the go earlier, so it will not be available, but Khan breaks up the clone chain with a stun. Now Zonica's trying to follow it up, unable to, however, as he does get Dragon's Breath. He gets caught on the Sheep. He does manage to get Iron Bark up, so I'm wondering if ABC are going to switch their targets to Khan the Death Knight or keep their attention onto the Hunter. I think they're going to keep going after the Hunter. No Colossus Smash on Khan. They're going to make the swap. Maybe just even cleave them both down. They've got decent damage. Daisy Duke is low as well. He's forced to blink back. He can't keep his pressure going. Double Fear, though, out from Nixie. They're setting up for the kill. Aspect of the Turtle is still available. If the Hunter needs to activate it, he may need to. Daisy Duke is soloing the Death Knight. It's a one-on-one at this point. Who's going to come out ahead? Zonica still has a massive mana lead, but he had one last game as well and still lost.
Yeah, Zonica did a good job there faking the CS with the Cyclone, so you should be able to get a few heals out. And Daisy Duke takes so much damage into the Cauterize immediately. Are they going to be able to out-heal this? Of course, Ascraft is They don't have anything left for this, really. He's down to 10%. The full Asphyxiate, no Ice Block available. Surely he's going to fall here. Daisy Duke does go down, and that's going to tie up the series 1-1. Enjoy Legion finding their target and getting the kill.
Do damage.
Yeah, that was like the first full CC.
Oh.
Yeah, the damage is actually really even. I'm not sure
how
yeah,
accurate it is, but that is a lot more even than I thought it was.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting. I wonder if maybe Zonica isn't running the Thorns in this matchup because he's scared that Daisy Duke will just be able to purge it and get more damage out because he's already struggling. But it's curious to see that the Thorns, because we saw it doing quite a lot of work to KNN from Ascraft in that game, but we never really saw one from Zonica. But I think maybe that's just him being more careful, playing on the cautious side, because that does seem to be the way that Enjoy Legion kind of like to play this matchup.
Me personally, I'm not sure if I would play Thorns into the mage. I feel that, well, it's going to add so much value if he does get to take it. At the same time, you can bait the mage if he's playing Klepto to take Thorns, and then you can Overgrowth and reapply all your hots for free. It's not, Thorns wouldn't be super effective for him if they're focusing the mage. I'd imagine he's probably running the Freedom Mushroom. I'll check that next time we join the game to make sure. That Freedom Mushroom means when he efflorescences, anyone that gets healed by it, it will remove slows, so Hamstring. Doesn't remove Frost Nova, but Hamstring specifically. And it gives them a little bit of a boost every time it heals to keep connecting to their target. I think it's better overall if you want to play a Resto Druid and you're playing with 2 melee classes to stick to a mage. And then Thorns is kind of, yeah, it's good. It might rot the warrior, but you're going to get punished if it gets spell stolen. And then your DPS are just taking Thorns damage from your own Thorns. So like his DJ Batman's Thorns did 4.5 million. Imagine if they also had Thorns from Zonica. That's 9 million damage. So I could see why he doesn't want to run it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's a pretty reasonable decision because, yeah, like he's already struggling with the healing. Imagine if Daisy Duke had a second Thorns and then KNN is taking an extra, 1 million damage or whatever it is. So definitely a good choice from him. I want to get we will be going into game 3. Of course, the map choice is in favor of ABC now since they lost that last game. So that's the one advantage they still have going for them in this matchup is, of course, since they did lose the last game, they will always have that kind of not only map choice, but they also get to choose their comp, knowing the comp coming out of Enjoy Legion. So if they do have anything else that they want to play into this DK Hunter, then now could potentially be the time to show it, because we are assuming that that will be kind of the strategy coming out of them to keep playing this Warrior Mage Druid, since they have been still looking quite strong on it. Nixie doing a good job on the Arms Warrior, generating a lot of solo pressure. It looks like the map choice is going to be Tolvaron Arena. No real surprises here from ABC. Do you think I guess this just makes sense for the kind of Mage Druid to want to play the bigger map, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's something we've seen historically, even through previous expansions, that caster teams prefer big maps so they can kite away from pillars, expose melee cleaves in the open map, control them, lock them down, and then burst them, force their healer off the pillar as well. So it's pretty standard for any team with a caster, in this case a mage, to want to pick Tolvaron.
Yeah, I think so. So it should be interesting to see how that one plays out. That will, of course, be the next game. I want to give a huge shout out. I just checked through the donations already. We got a $100 donation from Witkomovich. Okay, let me make sure I get this right because that's a huge amount of money. Witkomovich, thank you so, so much for that donation, $100. And he sets the note, wanted to start the day right. Thank you for everyone, everything you do over at GCD TV. Love the tourneys and you do a wonderful job. See you in the arena. Thank you so, so much for that donation. That is incredible. Of course, I will be going directly towards the prize pool for our next EU event. And I think after this series, we're going to officially announce the North American event as well, coming out in the next month. That's actually going to be just a few weeks away, actually, so it's definitely going to be something there's a lot of hype for. We'll link the Battlefire and Match Arena so you guys can start looking at the tournament, look at the dates, and start getting really excited for that, because that should be a fantastic event. Of course, we haven't been to North America for almost 3 months now, I think, so it should be fantastic to see what the North American ladder has kind of evolved into, what teams are playing at the high ratings, if it's the same, if there's some new faces, etc. Should be really fantastic. So definitely super hyped to announce that. We will do that after this series plays out. So definitely.
Did you say NA?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say NA?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you mean nah? Who cares?
Well, you're from NA. You have to care.
Am I though?
I don't know. Yeah, people actually accuse you of being European these days, right?
I'm a spy.
You're a spy, exactly. You're a Canadian spy. But a Canadian
super
spy would
spy.
be like the kind of peaceful spy, right? Like you wouldn't do anything hostile as a spy. What? Okay.
No, I wouldn't be hostile.
I'm going to stop talking because we have got into our third game. Tolveron Arena, of course, was the map choice from ABC, so we have to see if that can play out nicely for them. And actually, there's a comp swap as well coming out of ABC, so what do you think about this one, Sid?
I mean, it's interesting. I mean,
Is
they're
he
gonna
playing
bring.
Frost? Yeah, he's
He is
actually
playing
playing Frost
Frost.
as well. So this is kind of similar to the Boomkin Frost idea we saw coming out of Northern Gaming. They have those 85% slows with the Cone of Cold and the Frigid Winds talent series.
What
Right?
is this transmog?
Who? Nixie? I'm
Nixie.
guessing. Yes, it's always Nixie.
What is that?
Oh my goodness.
Wow, he's a bold gladiator. Look at him fighting for the alliance. He's armed and ready. That's an elemental shaman. He's got a bear claw.
They have to hit that, right? Like he looks.
They have to hit that.
I mean, okay, not like that. Not like that. They have to hit him like because he has no armor on. I mean, like they'll kill him instantly, surely.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I like that they're testing Enjoy Legion's ability to deal with different compositions. Elemental Shaman Frostmage is one that's probably never been played in a tournament. We can see a Frozen Orb out from Daisy Duke. He's already launching an Icicle Assault over towards Jazz. Ironbark will deflect that. Ironbark is a good trade for Frozen Orb. They are a similar cooldown, but they actually have to anti-magic zone as well. A lot of cooldowns have already been forced by Daisy Duke. The Frostmage carry just soloing the early stage of this match.
Yeah, for sure. He's doing so much damage. And the other thing as well is he's providing all those slows with the Blizzard. You can see he's getting so much regeneration on his orb because of that as well. So he's just stopping them from ever connecting to him. That means they're forced basically onto Nixie. But of course, Nixie isn't the ideal target either. He has the Thunderstorm. He has the new kind of Ghost Wolf Leap Away as well. So he's not going to be too easy to connect to. Right now, he's just kind of content to stand there and tank the damage, though. He has to trade out the Astral Shift. He's taking a fair bit. Zonica is definitely losing this mana war, though. Just so much damage coming out from Daisy Duke. He's having to spend so much on his tree form has also now expired.
Yeah, Frozen Orb, though, has become available for Daisy Duke. He's resetting the cooldown with those blizzards, which means that Ironbark won't be available for a couple more seconds, but they don't get nearly as much pressure as they did from the first Frozen Orb. And I can see the strategy. They want Nixie to stand still, and then Daisy Duke will launch Blizzard onto the Death Knight, the Hunter, and all of the pets, meaning that he gets a faster, reduced cooldown. It's an interesting strategy on paper. I think we nominated Daisy Duke as like the strategist from EU, but something on paper doesn't mean it always works out. So far, it's looking good. They've at least got an even mana game. They've got decent pressure, and I like that Nixie is now kiting. I don't think he can just stand still. He needs to try and move around a little bit, but unfortunately, he jumped out of the Frozen Orb, so Daisy Duke's going to lose quite a bit of pressure from that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it just looks, it's so easy for Nixie because he can just run in Ghost Wolf. He won't be slowed in that, of course. It basically provides you 100% movement speed. And then the two melees on the side of Enjoy Legion have to deal with these constant slows coming out of the Frost Mage from both the Blizzard and the Frozen Orb, and even the Cone of Cold if he chooses to do it. But at the same time, Nixie's kind of kiting away from Daisy Duke right now. He needs to be a little bit careful. Moving further away from his mage means he won't be able to get the slows, but they do get the Orb, and now they use the Death Grip onto him. They're trying to get a lot of damage here. He does not have that wall available for 2 seconds. The Iron Bark, though, is going to make up for that small little gap. He does have the wall now available, and they're not really doing a fantastic job of slowing them right now. Those efflorescences coming out of Zonica is speeding up his melee. You can see him spam putting down the mushrooms to deny those Frost Mage slows with the freedom coming out of that.
They've got decent pressure on Khan right now, the Death Knight down below 30%. With no AMS, he trades out his Icebound Fortitude and Anti-Magic Zone. That definitely should make him tanky enough to survive the magical Wizard Assault that Daisy Duke is launching. Nixie's on the move again, trying to drag both the melee into the open. I would imagine now that Frozen Orb is available and Icy Veins has been popped, that they're going to reverse this pressure, and Khan's on the run. He's just going to go down. Insane damage, 2% HP. Bash on Zonica. Can he keep him alive? Blinks in. Khan's going to get finished off. 4%. They don't manage to squeak it enough to get the kill. They're forced to switch. Maybe not. He's just getting soloed by the Frost Mage. 10% HP remaining, hiding for his life. Nixie moving in. He's going to get stunned up. Zonica only has 11% mana remaining. He has to heal 2 targets. Daisy Duke is a tyrant on this Frost Mage, harassing everyone while Nixie's desperately trying to keep up.
Yeah, and Zonica's used so much mana spamming out those efflorescence mushrooms to get the slows that he's basically now. He does get that tree form back in the nick of time. He should be able to get some big healing onto KNM, but he's just taking so much damage. He's really struggling. They get the trap onto Nixie Shaman just to deny some of it, and they should be able to stabilize here, but Zonica's mana is absolutely awful. He has no mana left to freedom his DPS, and that means they're going to really struggle to connect to anything. Nixie should just be able to kite away with the slows coming out of Daisy Duke, and then it's going to be really hard for them to get any pressure going. Zonica now completely dry, gets caught up into the bash. Here's the swap now onto Swapsy. Down to about 50%, the Cyclone to follow that up. Do they have anything off it? It doesn't look like it, but the damage is just there. Zonica is regenerating mana slowly in this Cyclone though, so this actually kind of working out for him. If he can top up Zonica after this, there is the Turtle, there is the Overgrowth coming out from him. He should be able to provide some heals and maybe stay alive for now.
That was a nice bash from Zonica on DJ Batman. It denied the Innervate healing, but unfortunately exposed him to a full polymorph. KNN activates Anti-Magic Shield to get out of line of sight. He's on the run once again. If Daisy Duke can get on top of this Death Knight and Hunter, they might just finish him off, but they grip Nixie in behind the pillar. He jumps away. He says, "No way, Jose. I'm not falling for that trap." Kites away immediately back to the center of the map, as they are playing a double caster team. They are playing the map excellently. They've got Zonica completely out of mana. I'd really like to see DG Batman sit for a drink. I think that's the number one way he can force Enjoyed Legion off the pillar, or he just goes to full mana. The game continues. You're eventually going to win because Zonica can't drink in this position. It looks like Daisy Duke's launching a Frozen Orb Assault. He's looking to solo the team. He's not really finding it. Nixie's trying to move in. He gets gripped again behind the pillar. He jumps away, deflects that. It says, "No, I'm not staying in there. You can't make me." He pulls away. You can see DJ Batman moves in for a bash on Zonica. He gets hexed. He gets hexed on his trinket. Nice play from Nixie. KNN and Swapsy may be on the run. Daisy Duke blinks away from the fight. His adaptation triggering on that stun. Drops a Blizzard Assault. How can Zonica keep up with the pressure? Flurry connects down to 22% HP. No mana remaining. Anti-Magic Zone, the last line of defense. It will buy them just enough time for Exhilaration to come up. Exhilaration now available for the Hunter. He's trying to res his pet. I believe he did get wind sheared. A Cyclone from Zonica on Nixie. That's going to deny some pressure, but Daisy Duke seems to be the one that's always leading the assault. Nixie's moving in. He's trying to finish it off. Daisy Duke blinks forward, and Zonica's got nothing left. Everyone is dying. They have to pull off a miracle, and I don't think they're going to find it. Iron Bark at 9%. He's hanging on by a thread, doing anything possible, but at this point, I feel like ABC would have to throw to lose this match.
Yeah, it really seems like, what do you do as Enjoy Legion here? You can grip someone in, but every single member of ABC has a blink away, the Mage, the Shaman, and the Druids. They just can't do anything, and they're getting AoE down, constantly slowed. Jasmine, surely he's just going to fall here. Zonica's completely dry. They can even just kill Zonica with Blizzards at this point, I'm sure. The Tree Form and the Innervate are coming up in around about 10 seconds, though, so if they can survive that long, he might be able to stabilize them. But even if he does, how do they get pressure? DJ Batman is low on mana. Maybe that could be a condition for them, but Jasmine is so low. He's down to 15%. They get the Tree Form, they get the Innervate. Is it going to be enough? He's down to 2%. He gets the Turtle off as well. Every single defensive cooldown overlapped on Enjoy Legion, and it still might not be enough.
I don't think it is enough. Daisy Duke blinks forward. Swapsy gets out of line of sight. Wraith walks away. Zonica gets pulled back from the vortex. He reconnects. He's still got Tree Form up. He's doing everything he can, but it's not enough. 6% HP remaining, and he will fall. ABC throw a curveball. with this Frost Mage Elemental Shaman. It seemed to do extraordinarily well on Tolvaron Arena. It's very nice to see a team breaking out multiple classes, multiple compositions, multiple specs. They're really throwing Enjoy Legion a curveball here, and I don't know if Enjoy Legion have a good answer for that. Specifically, I don't know if KNN plays any different classes. Obviously, Swapsy is known for playing multiple. Sonica can play multiple healers, but that PHDK matchup into that did not look good.
No, yeah, that looked really rough, and that was what we were talking about, right? Because ABC won the blind pick in the first game, it meant that they were able to have this comp advantage in game 3, and that's why they come up with this counter pick, which is the Frost Mage Elemental Shaman. So fantastic job by them. The Frost Mage just looked so effective in that game. It did double anyone else's damage. That's of course just because the unholy pets are getting hit by that Blizzard 24/7, but not only does that mean that he's doing good damage on board, it also means that he's constantly regenerating his Frozen Orb cooldown, because every time that Blizzard ticks on anything, he gets 0.5 seconds off of that cooldown, so the Frozen Orb is kind of a big part of the damage build there, and it's just on top of that, he's just slowing them the entire game. They can't really do anything about it. As soon as Zonica ran out of mana and couldn't spam those Efflorescence Shrooms, which were the things that were allowing them to connect to anyone in the first place, it just meant the game was over. There's nothing they can do. They can't connect to anyone for more than 2 seconds, because whoever they try to grip in just blinks away. And if they do that, it doesn't matter how long they live. They'll never win the game. So an excellent pick there from ABC with that composition. They did a fantastic job of utilizing the map as well. They were able to push in when they needed to and also space themselves out several times as well. So well played from them, and we'll have to see what Jamie, Swapsy, and Zonica can come up with as a kind of counter if ABC do lock in that comp once more.
I wonder if Swapsy can play. I feel like having even any melee, like they'd have to like wizard mirror them. But I don't know if Cannon plays a caster class. It's interesting how the expansion started very heavy melee dominant. And it's kind of shifting towards a caster meta.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because it's part of it is this new patch as well. Like people are still kind of adapting to what they want to be playing. So we have in game 1, it looked like in the first couple of days, it looked like we were just dominated by Cleaves, because the Cleaves had so much success against the Rogue Mage Druid, and they were just so happy. It's like everyone's like, woo, we can beat Rogue Mage Druid now. But then now that you see these Frost Mages are starting to come out, and the Frost Mages are just so devastating against Cleaves with that new Frigid Winds, I believe is the talent? Is that what it's called? Or is it something else, the one that increases all your slaves by 15%? But anyways, whatever it is, it's just every single Frostball, every single Blizzard, every single Cone of Cold is just like such a huge mitigation of slows, especially since they nerfed a lot of the other snows, such as the Crippling Poison from Rogue is now only 30%. It means that you can't really connect people. Even Caltraps got nerfed in this last patch, right? It went from a 70% slow to a 50% slow. So all these changes just make it so that the Frost Mage slows are just that extra bit more powerful, because you're constantly moving faster than your opponent, and if that's true, of course, they can't hit you if they're melee, so it's just so powerful.
I just like that I don't think any team can walk through this tournament playing only one comp, like only one spec each. You definitely need some diversity, because you're going to run into some matchups like that where you're heavily disadvantaged. You can get good advantages against other things, but ABC definitely came with a strategy in mind. They weren't just going to run their Rogue Mage Druid over and over and lose that way. So I really respect them for having more options available, and it seems like it's paying off so far.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, we have to see what happens in Game 4. Of course, it is 2-1 in favor of ABC right now. They're bringing out that kind of curveball Frost Mage Elemental in the last game. Now we get to see what the answer is going to be from Swapsy's team in this next game. We'll just have a little look over at the two rosters once again, because I know it can be a little confusing with their names, since of course they are running on their alts right now. Jamie playing on that Death Knight when he's normally known as the Shaman. Swapsy isn't really known as anything. I guess you can say he's an enhancement Shaman.
He's not known as anything,
He's known as everything. He plays every single class. And then Zonica, he's been playing the Druid. It's interesting because Traditionally Zonika's been kind of like this shaman and paladin, and this tournament he's been exclusively a restoration druid. We saw him win GCD last week playing shaman. He even played a couple of paladin games as well. And then this week he's just exclusively been a druid, and he's won almost every single game playing that druid. So that's quite impressive to me.
I mean, I don't know if he would like you criticizing his druid play. What was his druid's name at the end of
DQ'd.
what? Was it DQ'd? Yeah, he was so adamant on his resto druid. If you said anything bad about his resto druid, he would just ring you. He would just be like, "No, I am the best resto druid, and A sucks."
But he's proving it here as well. He's playing so phenomenally well. Like you said yesterday as well, that game against the Boomkin Mage from Northern Gaming, the way he was able to out heal that was amazing. Like it seemed like he should have died time and time again, but he just kept his team alive forever, and then they were able to eventually take that series 3-0. So he has been proving himself, and that's why I think it's so impressive. He's been playing at like the highest level on 3 different healers now, and that's really good, especially considering that the meta's changing. He had to swap over the abundance spec. But anyways, we are going to get into game 4 here. Tiger's Peak Arena is the map choice coming out of Zonica, KNN, and Jasmine.
Wonder why they switched back. There must be something they're afraid of as Elemental Frost Mage.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure what exactly. What do you think they are afraid of here?
I mean, perhaps a small map, like a very small map, would be difficult for them. But we already played on Dalaran, so I feel like that if there was a map for them to lose on, it would have been that, and it's already been played through. So, I mean, maybe Swapsy has an alt, something. I'm surprised. I mean, they're up 1 match, so they can afford a loss. Maybe they just want to bring it back and show that they can win as WMD or something. I'm not entirely sure. That or they're just mind gaming their opponents. Like, if they just lost, they're probably talking like, okay, how do we beat Elemental Frost Mage? I'll play this spec and you try running at that target. And then they're like, oh, they're not even playing it. So you spend like 10 minutes strategizing and then you switch comps to mind game your opponent. That could be what this is.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely could be. It might just also be that they were scared of kind of a counter pick coming out of Enjoy Legion. Of course, Elemental Frostmage isn't really a ladder composition, and there must be a reason for that, and probably Enjoy Legion has that on their roster. But anyways, we're going back to this matchup, which was already proven to be quite a close one. Daisy Duke did manage to win this in game 1, so certainly a winnable matchup for them. And he's taking a lot of damage right now. The Ironbark is going to expire. He's caught up in that silence. It's a little bit of trouble, unable to be dispelled from Asgrave. Unfortunately, the Diamond Ice trap on the end of the Combustion and Ironbark is going to deny a lot of that incoming healing. At the same time, though, Swapsy's still taking a lot of damage, down to 50%. Zonica really needs to stabilize him a little bit. Uses the Bash and forces the Quarter Ice with that. Daisy Duke able to kite away, though. Should be able to hold on to that Ice Block for now.
Enjoy Legion are looking like they're in a decent position, but Nixie reverses it with a full fear. Ring of Frost gets dropped, but unfortunately not even close, so Zonika's going to avoid that CC chain. They're going to trap Daisy Duke, pause his health, remove some of those heal over times, trap into a full Cyclone, trying to give Zonica enough breathing room to top off his Hunter, now cloning up Nixie, but Nixie gets out of that with his adaptation, so he's going to be able to keep up the attack. DJ Batman kiting away. I really like that Daisy Duke and DJ Batman are kiting around the map on the outer ring in a circle. They need to constantly be moving as a mage and a druid paired together. Their advantage is in mobility. They need to kite these opponents, and they're doing a good job staying together and moving around on the outside of the map.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, Daisy Duke is still taking a fair bit of damage here. Zonica blinking in, trying to stay offensive with his team so that he doesn't get caught far away. But now he gets caught into the bash, into the full polymorph from Daisy Duke. Good communication between Asgraf and Daisy Duke. Can they follow up the Cyclone? No. A nice pet interrupt coming out from KNN, and they're able to grip the next cast. So excellent job by Jamie denying all that incoming crowd control from Zonica. But at the same time, there's still a lot of pressure onto Swapsy. He's taking a lot of damage, now caught up. It's that Cyclone, dropping to about 40%. Can they get the low Cyclone on him? There is the Mortal Strike coming out. A lot of MS onto him right now, and they get the low Cyclone. Beautiful play coming out of ABC. Can they cross it over onto Zonica? It doesn't look like it right now. The Asphyxiate stun from Asgraf is going to deny any follow-up CC, and Daisy Duke so low. Is he going to have to Ice Block here? Yes, he is. They do force that cooldown.
Yeah, the aspect of the eagle from Swapsy there is doing a lot of pressure as he dishes out tons of mongoose bites. He is now getting counter pressured though by Nixie. Nixie might just solo him. He stormbolts him. That will deny the aspect of the turtle. You can see Sharpened Blade is up. That reduces all the healing even more so. Down to 9%. Activates aspect of the turtle. Zonica needs to be very careful. He gets fully cycloned. Aspect of the turtle is not going to heal you as survival, so he needs to keep cutting away, but they get the full polymorph out. And at this point, it's looking like ABC are going to clean this up. Execute connects. ABC advance 3-1, eliminating Enjoyed Legion from the tournament, which is very surprising. I think a lot of people were expecting them to do very well, but ABC, with their diversity, able to switch out compositions, not getting stuck in a rut, have found victory and will advance.
Yep, so that's going to be a 3-1 in favor of ABC. Like you say, I mean, I think we all kind of, maybe we counted them out a little bit too soon here. I thought Enjoy Legion was definitely going to have the advantage in this matchup, but phenomenal play coming out of ABC. They showed that they're fantastic on multiple compositions. Nixie swapping up between the Warrior and the Elemental, hasn't even touched his Rogue so far in today's series. Daisy Duke doing a fantastic job on multiple specs as well. So it's fantastic to see these guys able to adapt and able to progress into the grand final. They will be featuring later today in that best of 7 series, and they just have to wait a little while now to see who it is they're actually going to be going up against. So if we have a little look over here at the brackets, or maybe
Oh, that was the winner's side of the bracket?
that was the winner's side, yes.
I feel very sorry for saying they're gone. They're not gone.
They're not gone. We'll see them again, don't you worry. Let's have a little look at the brackets right now then. And we can see here that is going to be ABC advancing. It hasn't been updated quite yet, but that will be very shortly. And that means Enjoy Legion will go down to L6. So they're going to be playing the winners of Northern Gaming Blue versus Social Justice Warriors, which will be our next series here today. And ABC now has updated. You can see are progressing into the grand final. So they're guaranteed a top 2 spot in this tournament, and they're looking very happy right now. They just get to watch the next 2 series, think about what their opponents might be, and if they're lucky, maybe they'll even meet the same team, and they'll feel so confident in that matchup now.
We actually, okay. You got through so many series yesterday. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, we had a couple of no shows as well, so it kind of evened it out. So we only have the 4 series today, but it should be. I think if the series are going to be like that, then it's going to be quite a lot of content, especially with our best of 7 finals.
All right, so Northern Gaming Blue, obviously in Poike's team. I'm sure there's a lot of support for him in the chat, as it looks like he's got a lot of new emoticons. And then Social Justice Warriors, which is Laser Chicken. And he's been playing the Destruction LSD2 mostly throughout the tournament and probably on ladder as well. It's kind of interesting how he's gone back to the composition that he won BlizzCon with a little bit of a twist. Not Affliction, and he's playing Destruction on the lower lock, but I feel like Destruction's in a much more solid place than Affliction right now, so it's not surprising. Just wondering what Northern Gaming Blue are going to play.
Yeah.
I don't know what to really expect from them. I mean, we saw Wazkin yesterday, which is something I don't think anyone was expecting. So maybe they could throw something that we've never seen before. It's going to definitely be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's certainly going to be interesting to see what they come up with. But anyways, we did promise that we would announce our North American event after that fantastic series, so I will stick to my promise, of course. So we are going to have it here. Let me quickly make sure that this is working correctly in OBS. There we go. Perfect. Very nice. So this is going to be the North American event coming up in the near future, guys. You can see here it's going to be the weekend of March 10th. So it's going to be through March 10th to March 12th, which is, I think, is that 2 weeks away or is that 3? It should be 2, right? Yeah. So it's going to be 2 weeks away from now. So that's so soon. And then you can go to this page, which we will link in the chat right now. See if we can get this to work perfectly. Okay, well, we'll have the announcement on Twitter. Of course, follow our Twitter at GCD TV, and I'll be sure to link it in the chat momentarily as well. And this, of course, you can click the sign up button if you're interested in signing up, and that's going to take you to the Battlefy page for the event, which will have at minimum a $1K prize pool, and of course you can contribute towards the prize pool via the Matcherino, which we were fantastic. And of course, if you do donate to the stream directly, then and put the footnote that you wanted to go towards the NA prize, then of course we can do that for you as well. So we do appreciate all the support that's coming in here, guys. Thank you so much for that. It allows us to keep doing these tournaments, and I'm really excited for this one. I think an NA tournament has been long overdue. I feel like a lot of you probably agree with me on this one, that we want to see these NA tournaments. We want to see the teams. Of course, a lot of the big streamers do come from North America. Yeah, of course we do.
Are you sure that we want to
Yes,
see
we
an
do.
NA tournament?
Yes, we do.
Who here watching wants to see an NA tournament?
I'm sure there's a lot of people who want to see it. So we are going to have that tournament coming through March 10th to March 12th. So that's just 2 weeks away. So fantastic to be able to finally announce that one to you guys. But we are going to be getting into our second series. Of course, this is Northern Gaming playing against Social Justice Warriors. We saw such a great showing coming out of these guys yesterday. And it's going to be, it's going to be the main compositions coming out of both these teams that we would expect. So the blind pick, of course, neither of these teams knew what was coming for sure when they locked in their comps. And that's going to be Bowie playing on the Restoration Shaman. Moon King God, which is BlizzCon champion from 2014, Laser Chicken playing on that Boomkin, and Aristros going up against Maro, the sub-in for Raikou in this tournament, Min Poike and Waz on the Subtlety Rogue.
Wait. Did you just say 2K14 and 2K17?
Hmm?
You just said 2K14 and 2K17.
I did?
Yeah. You can't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say
Twitch chat won't let you
2K17?
do that.
What did
No,
I do wrong?
you can't say 2K14 and 2K17.
Oh, I can't?
No.
I have to say 2014 and 2017? Okay, and anyways...
It's just a meme, okay? It's just a meme. I don't want to...
I'm out of touch.
It's okay. All right, Northern Gaming Blue are playing Rogue Mage, Druid, Fire, Subtlety. So a lot of the Assassination Rogues have opted to go for Subtlety. It provides a lot more crowd control. You can set up a lot of flashy plays. They've got a sap over on Spark Nation. They managed to get a stun onto the Moonkin out of bear form. That's a critical maneuver. If he gets in bear form, he will take 0 damage. It looks like they're actually making a swap. I like this. Northern Gaming Blue all over the place, trying to keep Social Justice Warriors on their toes. Spark Nation down to 20%, but with that Ascendant should be able to top himself. No, he gets Cycloned. Northern Gaming Blue are all over this game. Can they keep it going? Minpoike gets feared away. A full Cyclone on Maru. Good reverse crowd control from Social Justice Warriors as Smart Nation gates away with a clean escape.
Yes, they came out the gates kind of on fire there, Northern Gaming. They got so much pressure. Now, can they turn it into a kill? There is the kidney shot into the full sheep, and he hasn't managed to get the bear form. Once again, the triple cheap shot coming out from Waz on this Subtlety Rogue, but he does get the bear form now. He should be able to stabilize himself. They actually forced the Spirit Link with the follow-up Cyclone from Minpoike. The threat of that CC has forced them to get more. Can they get the Cyclone onto Laser Chicken right now? Polymorph, and they do get it. Such beautiful gameplay coming out of Northern Gaming right now. If that stun DR resets, they could easily get the kill here on Smoke Nation. He's down to 20%. Can they get the follow-up stun? They cannot. The wall in between should be enough to keep him alive for now, but they force so much so quickly.
Chaos Bolt's coming out from Aristros. He's trying to do his best to get counter pressure, but Minpoike's ready and waiting. Temporal Shield from Maru tops him off. Waz seems to be dipping dangerously low. Minpoike sees it. He's going to use his overgrowth now, looking for some offensive Cyclone plays. Not able to find it. He's trying to get through some counter spells, but Aristros is not falling for those counter spell fake casts from Minpoike. Full kidney shot onto Smark Nation, but obviously his Orc Relentless is very short. They do manage to follow it up with a Polymorph. However, this is a good CC chain, and it looks like Laser Chicken's not in bear form. He does manage to get into bear form now. That should be enough to maintain him through the pressure, but they keep the CC chain going. They have to juggle the CC chain much longer than this, but with that full clone on Waz, it should deny the sap. They managed to get a half clone, and now Laser Chicken is on the run at 30%, but he can just jump in bear form. I'm surprised he's not just doing it. He trinkets under the stun, gets in bear form, goes for a triple war stomp. Now there's no crowd control available for Smart Nation. Actually, a full polymorph. Unfortunately, it breaks. If that polymorph sat, it could have just been the end of the match. Now Grounding Totem is down to protect the incoming crowd control. Maru and Waz should start to get counter pressured here shortly. Laser Chicken's doing his best to try and get some counter pressure, finally finding some moments to breathe and get out of bear form, getting fully dotted up over onto Maru, Minpoike, and Waz. Aristros in the polymorph chain at the moment, but they stun up Waz. Waz has no trinket. Ironbark is the only thing. Chaos Bolt connects. Waz uses his human racial instead to break out, gets out of line of sight. A bit of a close call for Waz there. He's going to need to be careful. Without blind, I just don't think they have a long enough CC chain to get a kill on the Moonkin.
Yeah, it took them a good 2 minutes to recover from that, but now Social Justice Warriors are starting to look in control of this game. They're back at full HP. We can see Smoke Nation gets caught up into that polymorph once again, but there's no real follow-up. They get the Dragon's Breath. That's going to DR the Cyclone, though, unfortunately, which they do land now, but it's not going to be enough. The Fear denies the final Cyclone. Laser Chicken should be able to connect some heals here, but they actually get another low Cyclone. Great job by Minpoike. He's been all over this game. They get the lockout onto Smoke Nation as well. That's going to force the Astral Shift. He pre-Astral Shifts the Kidney there, so he's not going to take too much damage here. Gets caught up in the sheep instead. They're actually swapping it back over onto Laser Chicken. Barkskin comes out, should be okay for now. He's not going into that bear form though. He wants to keep the pressure up. Minpoike's mana is low, but he might get punished for it. Dragon's Breath on that full moon cast, he's so low. Barkskin going to expire. Grounding Totem comes out. Can they connect some heals? The Ascendance comes out. He should be able to top his team now. And at the same time, the rot pressure coming out from this LST2, Minpoike is starting to fall behind her.
Oh, that was a nice hex, actually. I mean, Poike, it denied his innervate, so even under pressure, Smark Nation was able to sneak that hex. Now a Cyclone got reflected by Aristross. That was a nice play. They've got Waz caught in a Capacitor Totem. This is a good setup from Social Justice Warriors. And Poike is trying to deflect the pressure with a Tranquility, but even with that, his team is still below 80%. Now a Chaos Bolt connecting on Morrow. He uses his Temporal Shield, a Sap on Smark Nation into a Kidney Shot. Good CC chain, but Laser Chicken's already ready. He actually gets stunned out of form. He's forced to Trinket, jump back, and he comes out of form again. He gets stunned. I'm not too sure if this is the right move. He's dangerously low now. Smart Nation into the full blind, and this could just be it. Barkskin is his last line of defense. He bashes up Waz. He goes for the clone. He doesn't find it, though. The grounding totem was still down, I believe. He's trying to stay alive to connect the Spirit Link, but Aristross isn't able to get inside. Even that might not be enough. A full polymorph gates away. Double Death Coil gives him enough time to start spam healing, but he got Vortex on his Shaman Leap. There's a Capacitor Totem here defensively, but he doesn't find it. Waz gets over, and now Laser Chicken again out of bear form, taking a lot of pressure with that full clone, and I can't help but feel Laser Chicken was trying to play aggressive, trying to get counter pressure, and it just ended up costing him the match.
Yeah, that was a really interesting game because we saw this exact LSD go up against ABC's Rogue Mage Druid yesterday, and they looked so comfortable with Laser Chicken just kind of sitting in bear form, and they would play for the longer game. But here, he tried to get a bit more counter pressure. We can see he did get a lot of mana from Minpoike. Minpoike was down to about 20% at the end of that one, but every single time Waz was all over him with the triple stuns. That Subtlety Rogue paying off huge for them in this last game. And I just thought this was a beautiful game from Northern Gaming. They had so much control on both the Shaman and the Moonkin. They did such a great job swapping it up. Aristros wasn't really able to play the game. You can see his damage was super low in this one just because they were denying those Chaos Bolts with the crowd control. Look at the crowd control as well. It's so insane coming out of Northern Gaming. Such a beautiful game from them.
I'm wondering how accurate the scoreboard is, but it's interesting. Yesterday, I think Laser Chicken was doing like 3 times as much damage as everybody, but in that match, even Morrow was actually almost keeping up with him. So it seems like their swapping strategy, it allows them opportunities to get stuns out of bear form, which is what they need to do to get a kill. If they're stun locking Laser Chicken when he's above 60% at least in bear form, I don't think they have enough crowd control really to kill him through that, so long as he's able to stay in it, even with just a couple fears from Aristross to peel him away or some Mortal Coils. I don't think it's enough really to kill him, but that game he kept coming out of form looking for Cyclones is what it looked like, but with a Rogue on you, I just feel like he's never going to let that happen. It would have been better for him to just maintain and bear during those times where he was getting Sunlock on the setups. I'm sure next time that they will be able to adjust their strategy to deal with that, but it looked like Northern Gaming had a plan. They didn't just run into one target over and over and over. They were swapping around. It really made it difficult for Smark Nation to predict who the next attack was going to be on, and it's very important as the rest of Shaman to have your Earth Shield on the right attack when that setup starts. If he gets caught into a polymorph with Earth Shield on himself, that could easily just be the end of the match. So Northern Gaming played the matchup very well. They had a lot of pressure throughout. I feel like Laser Chicken's going to play a lot more defensive. Their comp is known for just attrition. Warlocks and Shamans together play defense, and they play the mana game. It seemed like trying to get counter pressure didn't pay off. I mean, they got more mana, but they could have still won on mana even without that amount of counter pressure. I believe that the second Celestial Alignment, so Celestial Alignment is the big damage cooldown for a Boomkin. If you're not a Boomkin player, you're wondering how Boomkins work. It's a fairly long cooldown, and he ended up getting Kidney Shot full duration on it, and it denied most of the significant part of the cooldown. So I feel like he's going to want to wait until he's off of stun DR before he tries to go for a play like that, because that's how that cooldown swings the match as a boomkin. And if you get crowd controlled on it, you lose your swing, and then Northern Gaming can stay on top of you.
Yeah, it was actually like they were just kind of toying with them the whole game. It felt like they just had so much control over the game. It was basically like they were playing against no opponents. Like they just controlled it the entire time. But at the same time, despite the fact they had all this control on the Moonkin and on the Destruction Wall, like they still were dropping low on mana. Their health balls were hovering around 60-70% at the end of the game. And I know, of course, that's because they're playing so offensively. They're not prioritizing healing because they know they're fine. But still, the amount of damage coming out from the LSD2, you could see how if they just live another couple of minutes, that game could suddenly go very wrong for Northern Gaming, because they are playing that hyper-aggressive playstyle. But they need to do that. That's something they have to do in this particular matchup, because otherwise they just won't have enough damage with the sub-brig. You saw they had the amazing crowd control chains, and they still weren't able to complete the game for quite a while. So it was an excellently played game from Northern Gaming. I think we can all be quite happy. Of course, they are playing with Maro on the mage. Traditionally, we would have often seen them playing with Raikou over the last few years, but Maro is going to be their mage for this tournament. I think Raikou was unable to play this particular weekend, but Maro has done such a great job of stepping up to the plate, and he was really involved in all their CC chains in this last game.
Just out of my own personal interest, I really would like to see the Warlock play Demonology. Not that I'm saying that it would be better or wouldn't be better, I just, out of my own curiosity, I just want to see the comp. I'm really hoping he plays it, but I kind of feel like he's not. Is Aristros known for Demo at all?
I think he's mainly known for destruction, yes. I think it's unlikely. That's not really the problem they're having either. Like, they're already trying to kill someone really tanky. I wonder how the game would be if they just tunneled the Destro lock as well. Maybe they could kill even faster.
I could see it working out. At this point, it looks like they're not afraid of Chaos Bolts. They're more afraid of full moons. I don't think that Laser Chicken even got one full moon off in that match. And, I mean, if you're eliminating a 500,000 hit or a 1 million hit from the game permanently, then that's something Minpoike doesn't have to heal through. And Resto Druids don't excel at healing through burst damage, so by shutting down the full moons, by going after him constantly, it definitely allows Minpoike a lot more breathing space. It's an interesting map choice from Social Justice Warriors. I said earlier in the previous series that caster comps really like Tolvaron Arena, but on this map specifically, what I'd like to see from Northern Gaming is a lot of hit and run. If they're starting to get too pressured, they need to just pull away, try and reset, try and get drinks, force them off the pillar, and then launch an attack again. Looks like Northern Gaming are in stealth. They're crossing the map, looking to try and set up some CC. They've got a triangle position. They've got Social Justice Warriors surrounded. A sap on Smart Nation. I believe they're going to open on him because there's no Earth Shield. They sap him again. They go for the cheap shot. No Earth Shield. This is a clean opener. And Poke looking for a Cyclone. Doesn't find it. Grounding Totem deflects that. Earthen Shield Totem should be enough to keep Smart Nation going here. Maro's moving in. That was Shadow Blades from Waz. So as a Subtlety Rogue, Shadow Blades is your biggest damage cooldown. It might be enough to punch through the Earthen Shield. It does force the Ascendance. Now Smart Nation hexes out of the full fear. I really like those hexes. They might be able to win with CC chains and burst on Waz. They're trying to get his Cloak of Shadows, but they're not finding it. Actually swap to Laser Chicken. He's not in bear form. He jumps in bear form way too late, gets cloned up at low HP. Can they rotate that over? They bash up Smork Nation. Waz swaps over to him, and they're trying to switch the clone to Laser. Now he's low health. Smork Nation needs to heal 2 players. He gets kicked, instant kicked by Waz. Smork Nation gates away. Laser Chicken is still low. They sheep up. Smork Nation, they fully stun Laser Chicken. He's down to 30. Trades out that Bark Skin and the Renewal heal. Interesting that he's running Renewal, so that's a 1.5-minute cooldown, big burst heal, which will allow him to heal through long CC chains, but this CC chain's too long, and Poik is in Moonkin form. He's trying to be the better Moonkin. He launches a Star Surge. Laser Chicken gets cloned up at low HP, and at this point, Northern Gaming are walking all over their opponents.
Yeah, they're doing such a great job. The recycling coming out from Minpoike there. If he gets the third, they get the full polymorph. Surely this is going to be the end of the game. Laser Chicken sitting in that bear form, desperately trying to survive. He doesn't have the gateway. Can they follow up the CC onto Bowie? The Cyclone to come out. There is a follow-up Cyclone. This is such a long CC chain, but he's only dropped 10% of his HP. He comes out of the bear form, and he is going to fall because of that. The Spirit Link, not quite enough. I'm not actually sure why he left bear form there. He was taking so little damage before that, and the Cyclone cast was just interrupted by pure damage in the end. Maybe he thought if he lands that Cyclone, they can stop the follow-up CC and get that Spirit Link down. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. He was only on about 8% HP, so he just gets one shot immediately. And Northern Gaming 2-0 in this series. They have been looking on fire. They are absolutely like walking all over their opponents right now.
I think Minpoike's been doing a lot of World Quest as Moonkin. So he was like ready. He jumped in Boomkin form, immediately launches a Star Surge. I don't even know if I've seen a Resto Druid use Star Surge in a tournament game. Normally it's like a high risk thing. Like it takes you a global cooldown to go into Moonkin form. You have to cast it. If you get locked on it, you're locked on all of your schools of magic, so you can't heal, and you get put really far behind. But he's just like, nah. I'm just gonna shoot a Star Surge casually. And I think it's a good idea. They need as much damage as they can get to be able to kill through that bear form and the Earth Shield. So it's a risky move, but it's definitely not a stupid move. So it's clever from Minpoike, and his team's getting really far ahead because they're playing really well with CC together, coordinated damage, and I thought that they wouldn't be able to even scratch the Moonkin, but they're devastating them at this point.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, they're not even killing him quickly, like they're actually killing him really slowly in terms of just damage. Like obviously the games are quite short, but it takes them a really long time to kill him. Like they get, this game, their crowd control was pretty much impeccable. They get the sap onto Barry, of course Barry is the Restoration Shaman, it's the same name, we just updated the client a little bit because that's what he's kind of known as in the European scene. So they get the sap onto Barry, and then the CC chain never stopped. They get the stuns, the sheeps, the clones, and then they get the low clones onto Laser Chicken, and they still haven't killed him. And then they get the sheeps back onto Barry. There's basically zero room for healing for the LSD2, and then it still takes them like 2 or 3 rotations to kill Laser Chicken. And in fact, in the end, he might have still survived, but he like came out the bear form to try get the Cyclone, which may like arguably is a mistake, but he was so low on HP, it's like he could have died either way for sure. So the map is going to be Ashermane's Fall coming out of Social Justice Warriors. We'll have to see if this is going to be something where they can turn around. I don't even know what you should do as the LSD2 though. You're just... It looks so hard for them every single time. Laser Chicken. Is he actually Demo?
He's Demo.
Ooh, he's actually swapped over to the Demo.
He's Demo.
Done lost hit once.
I mean, I'm not forcing him to do this. I'm just saying I wanted to see it just to see how the comp played out. I feel like his destruction, he's getting CC'd and he has to cast a lot. Demonology, it has to cast a bit, but you get a lot of damage from your dot doom. That's probably where most of your significant damage comes from. And then all of your pets do damage for you. And you have this constant Mortal Strike rather than the burst Mortal Strike from destruction. And you also get an extra stun, so it gives you a little bit more utility. I'm wondering if he's going to run Fell Lord on his Honor talents. It looks like he's running Call Observer. It's an interesting pick against a Fire Mage, because Fire Mages cast so much. They're almost always just launching Pyroblast, 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 and they can do a lot of damage to themselves, or they have to waste some damage on the Observer to kill it. So that's going to be the talent choice for Aristross. Let's see if the Demonology can pull out a win here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Because I was thinking their strategy might be to just kind of put a Fell Lord on Laser Chicken and actually have him maybe be able to do a bit more damage in this game because he's been sitting bear form so much. But instead, they just Aristross is going for that spec where he's just going to try solo pressure with the Observer. So they get the sap into the follow-up sheep. Not too much happening though. That DR's kind of wasted, but they get this kidney, so they're actually going to swap over onto Barry. No Earth Shield on him. He's taking a lot of damage. Might just die in the opener. Down to 20%. Has to trade out the Earthen Shield and the wall. Gets Cyclone low. The Observer is doing nothing. The Dragon's Breath onto both DPS. Can they follow it up? Looks like they're just going to settle with those cooldowns for now. Barry should be able to top himself off here, but he has used so much already.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the Observer. I feel like it's a little bit weak, and it looks like they're able to kill it off immediately as they set up another stun onto Smork Nation. He's down below half. Laser Chicken's trying to get a Cyclone. It does get counterspelled. They clone up Smork Nation at low HP. They swap the pressure to Laser Chicken, and these constant swapping targets is really putting Smork Nation in a rough spot. He managed to get a capstone on Waz, but they're going to fully polymorph him, switching their attention to Laser Chicken. He's already down to half HP. Jumps in bear form, desperately trying to hang on. Earth Shield will be put onto him now, but they fully kidney shot Smurk Nation. If Minpoike can get in here and get any Cyclones, it could be devastating. They go for the full blind, and at this point, Aerostrass is caught in a polymorph. It's a 3v1 on Laser Chicken. Barkskin and Renewal buy him enough time to stay alive. That Axe Toss breaks up the Cyclone for a second. He gets Solar Beamed on the follow-up. Good shutdown on Minpoike, or from Social Justice Warriors on Minpoike, and it looks like Laser Chicken's trying to counter pressure. He pops the Celestial Alignment. He gets fully stunned onto the cheap shot. Mortal Coil away from Aerostrass, looking for some defensive fears on Maru, but they're going to clone up Laser Chicken at low health instead. Maru's moving forward to try and rotate CC. It looks like Minpoike will follow it up first instead. They need to get a polymorph on Smurk Nation. They Dragon's Breath him away from the gate. They polymorph him, but he jumps out of range of it. Waz on top of Laser Chicken. The Social Justice Warriors are on the run. They're on the ropes. This is their last chance to stay in the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. And even though he's playing the relentless Bowie, he's just caught in CC the entire game. He does have that Spirit Link available, but is he going to be able to get it off? Caught up in that Ring of Frost right now. Laser Chicken dropping low, sitting in the bear form at about 40%. They're probably going to try follow up the Cyclones. Are they able to stop it? The beam comes out, but he has to leave bear form to beam that Cyclone. Can they get the bash off? There's the Spirit Link from Bowie. All three members able to be connected, but that should be enough to stabilize Laser Chicken. But can he get some counter pressure? He's really struggling. Half Moon comes out, not going to achieve too much with that one though. They're just trying to kite away, and Minpoike and Northern Gaming, they can just kind of reset a little bit here, or they can even just keep pushing in there onto Bowie. The full kidney shot comes out, preemptive Astral Shift from Bowie though, well played by him. That should be enough to deny the kill for now.
Aerostrass is trying to fear away and peel the setup. Fear on Maru, clone on Waz. But if they're crowd controlling, they're not dealing damage. They need to maintain their dots as well. Try and get Starfalls down, because at this point, Minpoike has been able to keep his team so healthy. Normally, as a Resto Druid versus a Moonkin composition like this, you will struggle to heal through the spread pressure. Finally, some rot is starting to sink in. Waz trinkets out, lands the sap. It looks like the Observer is out for Aerostrass in a last-ditch effort, but Maru sees it, kills off the Observer, switches his attention back to Laser Chicken. Kidney Shot has faded on Smurk Nation. He gets the Earthen Shield Totem down. With Earthen Shield Totem and Bear Form, I don't see Laser Chicken going down, but he's still unable to leave that Bear Form. He's not able to get the amount of counter pressure he needs to. Once again, immediately forced back into Bear, looking for some Cyclones, trying to get out of it, but he's not able to. He gets counterspelled, full blind on Smurk Nation. This could be the end of the match. Then Poike gets stunned. Aerostrass trying to protect himself from incoming cross CC. He fears away Maru. Laser Chicken gates away. Smurk Nation and Laser Chicken have been doing a good job kiting back and forth on the map. Waz does manage to reconnect finally, gets a stun out of form, stuns Smurk Nation for Maru to try and follow up, looking for that polymorph. He gets the polymorph, but maybe a bit of a miscommunication there. A full Cyclone on Laser Chicken at the same time stalled out the damage, and Poike needs to try and rotate that over. He Shadow Melds, rotates the clone over, but Laser Chicken's already in bear form. He's got Earth Shield. He should be in a tanky position here to try and get some counter pressure. He stuns up Minpoike, gets him fully dotted. Aerostrass, though, caught into a polymorph, unable to assist, and now Laser Chicken's under fire once again. Axe Toss on Maru. He trinkets out, looks for the polymorph, gets grounded. Nice play from Smurk Nation. He's spam casting those heals with the grounding totem, protecting him, but now the grounding totem is over. He's gotten to a full polymorph. He did get the Earthen Shield totem down preemptively, so Smurk Nation doing a really good job predicting the CCs, getting his defensive cooldowns out before the chain starts, and really allowing Laser Chicken to survive much longer in this match.
Yeah, Barry has been doing such a great job. Smurk Nation on that Shaman has been denying a lot of these crowd control chains, like you say, by preemptively trading out those cooldowns. But at the same time, there's just so much crowd control coming out. He doesn't have the cooldowns to answer it. The Observer comes out again. It's actually hitting Maru really hard through the pillar. He has to blink over and deal with that, able to do so. But he took a lot of damage here. This might be the opportunity for Social Justice Warriors to actually push in and punish this RMD a little bit. Bod Maru down to about 50% HP. They have forced a lot of the mana away from Minpoike, and Laser Chicken is finally topped off. He pops the Celestial Alignment, the big offensive cooldown from this Moonkin. Can they get damage with it? The War Stomp onto Waz. He's trying to get the damage, but the Shadow Dance coming up once again for Waz. He should be able to deny a lot of this incoming pressure. Preemptive Earthen Shield Totem once again from Bowie is going to deny a lot of the damage, but at the same time, Northern Gaming should be able to recover just a little bit here.
Ooh, Minpoike sneaking away for a drink. He displaced across the entire map, and I don't think Social Justice Warriors are in the position to stop the drink. Instead, Waz and Maru are looking for a 2v3. That Starfall stops Minpoike from drinking. That could have been a critical play here. Minpoike was looking to get full mana. He only got half. That will allow Social Justice Warriors to keep playing this game out with not too much of a disadvantage, but this CC chain is just not ending. Laser Chicken down to 30. He's got Barskin up. He's in bear form. He's ready. He Solar Beams the clone, stops the Cyclone, prevents the CC. It's Smurk Nation connects the Spirit Link, and now Maru in trouble. He's trying to get out on the run. Everyone is dotted, and Poike's falling behind, trying to heal through the pressure. He's going to burn through all that mana that he just got. Social Justice Warriors have to stay alive a little bit longer. Waz gets stunned, gets bursted down. Nice cross kill. Their Social Justice Warriors were against the wall so low. They managed to pull out a win with the Demonology Warlock here in game number 3. We're going 2-1, and it looks like they found a way to fight back.
Yeah, that was they kind of did what they needed to do, right? They lived the really long time until they finally after about 5 minutes of gameplay got to a point where Northern Gaming actually didn't have any offensive pressure. That allowed them to pop the offensive cooldowns on the Moonkin, actually get some pressure, and then from that, Minpoike he's always going to struggle a little bit with this Moonkin's like full dots and stuff, or just because Residures don't have that abundance spec anymore, so he's going to struggle to top of his team, and then they found the opportunity, caught up Waz in the stun with that Demonology Warlock actually coming out huge for them with that little bit of burst in the stun, and they were able to secure the game. So good adaptation coming out from Social Justice Warriors in this one, swapping up to Sid's kind of dream comp. He wanted the Demonology Warlock, and it seems to have paid off in the first game they've run it.
I mean, me personally, I don't think the Observer really. I mean,
he got one
Maro
good one
did
towards the end.
I mean, Maro had to commit some damage to it, but I feel like there's so many moments where Laser Chicken and I guess he's Bao, he's not Smork Nation, although Smork Nation is a very cool name. They're just on top of each other. They're stuck. They're like permanently CC'd on top of each other in one spot. And if he just put Fellord there, then Waz has to be like, okay, I can't be here anymore, and then has to walk away. Although I've seen like really high-end melee players, they know how the Fellord works, so they can stay in the circle. They see the axe swing up, they move out of the circle while it's coming down, dodge the stun, then move back in the circle, and you can actually dodge the stun in and out. Maybe they've fought against it before and they know that Waz is going to do that to them, and they'll get no value. But if you combo it with Infernal Stun or Bash or Axe Toss, you can hold them in it at least a second longer to land that stun. I don't know. I'm wondering if it's better or not. I guess it's like super debatable. I'd like to know his opinion on it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the Observer, like you say, if the mage can hit them, it just costs him one Phoenix Flame and one Fire Blast, and then he kills it. And he gets a Pyro proc off of that as well, so it's like, it's no real value. But if Aristros can place the Observers behind the pillar, as we saw once towards the end of the game, it can be kind of annoying for the mage because he has to like blink around the pillar then kill it, you know? So it costs him some mobility. It means he has to blink to the Observer and then blink back to do like CC or damage, whatever it is. So I think well-timed Observers can be decent in this matchup, but like you say, just running that Foul Lord, sticking it on top of Laser Chicken, especially when the teams are kind of all stacked in the same position, it just seems like such a useful tool to me. Like, it lasts a very long time. I think it's 30 plus seconds that the Foul Lord would last, so it might even enable Laser Chicken to get some more cyclones out and get some more pressure of his own. But clearly in that game it did work. The stun from the Demonology pet was enough for them to secure the kill, as well as stop a lot of the incoming cyclones. So a good adaptation from Social Justice Warriors going over to that Demonology Warlock. We'll have to see if in Game 4 they can continue this pressure and maybe convert this series into a victory for them.
Maro isn't. We typically see Raikou playing with Minpoike and Waz for at least the past year or a little bit longer. So I don't know how much synergy they really have with Maru overall. Like maybe they play on ladder a little bit, but their synergy seems to be really good. Like, this isn't a composition that is easy to kill as a subtlety rogue with a Moonkin with Earthshield. That's probably like one of the hardest targets in the game to be able to kill. They managed to get 2 wins. They did obviously just lose the last one, but getting 2 clean wins in the start of the series. So it's cool to see them get a new face to the tournament scene on their team, and they're doing quite well.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with that. It's really nice to see them just being able to swap in this mage since Raikou couldn't play. Of course, Maro has been in the tournament scene for a while. I think actually the first tournament I ever played with Waz, I played with Maro as well. So these guys have been playing together for a long time. But it's really nice to see that they can swap in this mage and still have great success, although they still have to win one more game against Social Justice Warriors if they want to pull back and go further on in this tournament. Yeah,
Northern Gaming Blue, they're looking for a clean start, trying to sneak in. Aristros is using Demon's Wrath, so that's an area of effect spell that could possibly knock someone out of stealth. They managed to sap Laser Chicken. They're going to open up on Smork Nation. Pyro's flying. Fireball's coming out as well. It looks like Minpoke wanted to clone out of the sap, but he got feared away from Aristros. The fears from Aristros can really carry the fight if he's able to use them to break up CC chains. He got a really well-timed fear right there. Earthen Shield will protect the initial attack as Laser Chicken and Smork Nation are both inside of it. Full value Earthen Shield here. They actually trade out Barskin as well. I guess they're very afraid of the Shadow Blades. They want to reverse some pressure with this Celestial Alignment, and Laser Chicken's dishing out the deeps. Clone over to Waz, trying to prevent healing on him. Minpoke is rotting down. Observer is up. Maru sees it, cleans it up right away. Doesn't want to get punished for that too hard. Minpoke was able to maintain through that Laser Chicken damage, though, with his Innervate. Now looking possibly for Tranquility, but he got Axe Tossed on it, so it was a good Axe Toss from Aristros. He's shutting Minpoke out of the game very well. I think he's going to need to focus his attention on Waz here, as Laser Chicken is so low, but he gets fully cloned. It's a 3v2. They gate away, but he gets polymorphed on the gateway. Laser Chicken still on the run, trying to heal himself back up. Waz reconnects. He jumps in bear form at 20% HP. They followed up with another polymorph, and Laser Chicken is so much trouble. He's on his last ropes. His tournament live is on the line. Down at 20%, he Hellstones. He solar beams the Cyclone, a full fear on Waz. Shuts Waz away from the fight for now. But how much longer can Social Justice Warriors keep this up?
Yeah, the Spiritling really didn't do very much there. Aristros was polymorphed outside of it. Unfortunately, they were able to kill that before he could get into it. So now he's still low. Bowie is able to kite away a little bit here. Can Laser Chicken get over to him? He really needs to. There's the kidney shot, though, unfortunately. Can they follow up with the polymorph? It looks like they'll be able to. Full polymorph coming out. The defensive Death Coil is only going to hit one target, though, since he is running the Demonology. So they should be able to follow up the CC chain for a long time here onto Bowie. Cyclone to follow up the polymorphs. Laser Chicken just healing himself behind the pillar, though. He was able to get it, but there's the full stun onto him. He trinkets, goes into the bear form. Is it going to be enough, though? The Meteor, he's able to kite out of it. Beautiful play from Laser Chicken to survive there. The DR bash onto Bowie. The CC chain is unrelenting. Can they get the Cyclone onto Laser Chicken to secure this one? It looks like he's going for it now. There is the Cyclone. Any follow-up onto Bowie. The full polymorph. Surely he's going to go down here.
Yeah, but Observer is up. Maru needs to be careful that he doesn't kill himself on the Observer. He's not killing it. He's down to 30%, just zapping him over and over. He does see it now. Kills out that Observer, but he dipped dangerously low. Minpoke forced to trade out his Iron Bark. That Observer paid out really well there for Aristros. It was in a good position. Laser Chicken now has been topped off. Grounding Totem preemptive on the kidney shot. They do manage to kill it off. Goes for the Ring of Frost. Lands the Ring of Frost on Smork Nation. Minpoke gets stunned. Aristros trying to break up the CC. Double War Stomp, but Aristros got interrupted on his fear, which means Minpoke has free reign here to try and look for clones. No, he does get the fear. Sneaked in just in time. Minpoke feared away from the fight. Smork Nation might be looking for a Hex on him. Looked like he was running over his way. He doesn't want to go for it now. Dragon's Breath on the full moon. They're really just shutting the full moons out. Without that burst, Minpoke is able to heal through the damage fairly easily. Full Hots on Maru at the moment. Stun over on Smork Nation. They're looking for CC chain here. They're not finding it just yet. Grounding Totem in between the CCs. They fear Minpoke away again. Aristros on fire. Maru rotting down. Laser Chicken follows up the fear with a full bash. Minpoke's team is in trouble here. Starfall cleaving the whole team. Full Hex now out as well from Smork Nation, but he ate a polymorph as a result. That polymorph could just end the match. Laser Chicken on the run once again in bear form. Gates away, but that Subtlety Rogue is instantly reconnected. He's down to 16%. Earthen Shield Totem is his last line of defense, but a full blind denies any incoming healing. Gets cheap shot out of bear form. Nice cheap shot immediately on the shapeshift. They follow it up, but he did get back in bear. Another Cyclone on Smork Nation. Smork Nation desperately punching his monitor to try and get some heals, but he's still CC'd. Caught into the full polymorph. Barskin is his last line of defense. Observer is up looking for a cross kill. Will the Observer be enough to force out the pressure? He kills it off. It's not. Another polymorph. 5% gets cloned at 5% health, and Smork Nation just wants to get a heal off. He goes for the healing wave. He gets fully cloned, and Northern Gaming are just stopping Social Justice Warriors every move, left, right, and center. They just cannot play their characters. I've never seen that much CC before.
Yeah, that was incredible. It never stopped, right? Even the Observer, but Maru didn't even prioritize killing it for such a long time because they had so much pressure for so long, and it's just impossible. Like, you watch Bowie's point of view in this game, he doesn't get a single heal off. Northern Gaming are just playing so well. They stop every single heal, whether it be with interrupts or just pure crowd control. And then the low cyclones coming out from Minpoke as well, definitely on fire in this series, able to deny anything from Laser Chicken. Basically, Spirit Link is the only time he gets close to topped in this game, and then even that, they were able to polymorph Aristros out of it and deny the kind of a large chunk of the healing from that. So just beautiful gameplay coming out of Northern Gaming in this series, and they were able to secure that one. So we're going to say goodbye to Social Justice Warriors now. They are eliminated from the tournament. Definitely played well in this, though. They did manage to almost take ABC out earlier, and they did win a game here. So definitely excited to see what comes from these guys in the future. They did look very strong until this series, but then even here they were doing good damage, but it just seems so difficult for them to actually convert that into a victory.
I think Laser Chicken should rename himself Laser Bearkin. Or Laser Bear.
Laser Bear? You don't shoot many lasers in bear form, though.
Yeah, you do. You shoot moonfire. That's a laser.
Well, I guess so. Anyways, we can see on the bracket right now, that's going to be Northern Gaming advancing into the lower bracket final, and they'll be going up against Enjoy Legion, who we saw earlier. That is, of course, the team of Swapsy, Jamie, and Zonica. So we'll have to see how they can do against Northern Gaming. Now, they did just lose to ABC, who run similar compositions to Northern Gaming, and actually one of the ways that... In fact, did these two teams already meet each other? I think they might have, right? Yeah, Enjoy Legion versus Northern Gaming actually happened yesterday, and it was a 3-0 in favor of Enjoy Legion. So,
but they played the Moonkin only one game.
They played the Moonkin only one game, that is correct. So what do you think might happen in this series?
I think Waz going to break out his Boomkin again. I mean, that match went the best for them overall, from what I remember watching.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it did. So maybe they'll go for that again and try and play a similar. Anyways, guys, we did, so we're in between series, of course. We're 2 series down. We're down to our final 3 teams here. Enjoy Legion, ABC sitting pretty in the grand final, waiting to find out who they're going to be playing, either Enjoy Legion or Northern Gaming Blue in this next series. So that will be our next series, of course, to determine who is going to be our second grand finalist for today's event. I just want to shout out future tournaments that's happening, of course. We'll go over and have a little look over at our Matcherino once again. Of course, this tournament is partnered with Matcherino, so have a little look at the page here. You can sign into your Twitch just here. I'll just prove it. You sign in right now. And then we would very much appreciate it if you would go to this donate button and type in the code GCDTV1. This money is free. We just donate $1 with the coupon code. The money comes from Matcherino, and then we can get closer to our goal. You don't get charged at all for this $1, guys, so we would really, really appreciate it if you would go over and do that. Also, there's plenty of other things on this page. You can see the stream here, of course. And then we're going to have the raffle. At the end of this, you can see there's 500 entries right now. Every single time you watch 30 minutes of this broadcast, you earn enough points. You get 1 point per minute to enter this raffle. This is completely free. And at the end of the tournament, there will be 3 of these mounts. You can see the mount looking cool here, the Armored Bloodring mount. $25 value. 3 of them will be given away, so definitely check it out. It should be awesome if you get a chance of winning one of those. You're just basically getting a reward for watching the stream, so fantastic. And we also have plenty of other cool things on the page that you can check out. And then we also, you want the mount? You can sign up.
I have one.
You can get the code from NA or EU.
Is that rigged if I sign up?
Only if you win.
Only if I win?
And we can see, look at live updates in live time. You can see people donating right now for free. Thank you very much, guys. And then we also did announce our North American event. Is this the right page? Yes, it is. This is the North American one. I'll link it in the chat right now. There we go. And this is going to be the event. You can click sign up here, go over to this page, which is going to be where you can sign up for this tournament. It's 2 weeks away. That's going to be our first North American event of the year. Super pumped for that, going from March 10th to March 12th. So very exciting. And we also have our Matcherino set up for this page as well. So some great things to come in the near future. We can see I have 929, so I definitely did a better job this time around. Cool. And we'll go back to our cameras. And we're going over to our next series here now, guys. So it's going to be Northern Gaming Blue, who just won a fantastic series against Social Justice, and they're going up against Swapsy, the anti-mage. Swapsy, Jamie, and Zonica, who, of course, is the defending champion from the last GCD event. So do you have any kind of comments about how you think this series might go, Seb?
It just looks like Double Caster is the answer to the Death Knight Hunter. I feel like Swapsy needs to change something. Either go to like a ranged class, maybe play Elemental, or if they're just both playing melee, they're just going to get kited around in circles. especially if Npoike's team opts to play the Boomkin Mage comp like they did yesterday. I mean, that game was easily theirs. I think Zonica had like very good skill to heal through it, but it was probably a little bit of luck too. And if he needs to like do that miracle every game to win like a best of 5, I just don't know if he's actually going to be able to handle that. So they need an answer for the double caster teams. I do not think that the Death Knight and the Hunter are going to be a good answer.
Yeah, I think that's
But
a fair point.
I mean, there's mind games there too, because if Minpoike plays Rogue Mage Druid, then Elemental Death Knight's probably not very good into that. So this blind pick is, I feel like, very important for both teams.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's going to be interesting to see because, of course, Jamie's team have so many options available to them. But we are going to see, of course, the first game of the series is always that blind prick on that Grand Arena. So we don't know, you don't know, they don't know. No one knows who's going to play what. Hopefully the teams have figured it out for themselves. But we're going to load up into this one right now.
Ooh.
Let's not spoil the surprise. Let's see.
What do you mean not spoil it? I wouldn't spoil it. Come on.
Oh, yes. I was asked. Yeah, I was asked if class stacking was allowed in GCD by one of these teams earlier. So I don't know if you guys can guess, but this is going to be the compositions. It's going to be the standard PhDK coming out of Enjoy Legion, but it's the double Druid coming out of Northern Gaming. Waz form has entered the arena as a Moonkin. The Frost Mage, Bot Maro, and Minpoike playing that Restoration Druid.
Dude, they stole this comp from me.
They did?
Yeah, I played this comp in WAD.
We need to play this comp in NA if they win. If they win, we
If
play
they
this.
win, everyone just play it. They won. It must be best.
Yeah, it's going to be instantly the best ladder comp. I mean, they're playing against a pretty strong composition, so I have to see if this pays out. They looked really strong yesterday when they played the Moonkin Mage, but that Paladin was definitely a weakness for Minpoike. It was a very easy target for Enjoy Legion to connect to, so we'll have to see if the double Druid is going to be enough for them to win this one. Can they connect to their targets, or are Northern Gaming going to overcome the cleave?
All right, so Enjoy Legion are going after Waz the Moonkin. Moonkin definitely maybe the tankiest target. I don't think they're going to opt to stay on him very long. Waz already going for a full moon. Gets a full moon over onto the Hunter. A lot of burst following it up, down to 50%. Zonica is ready and waiting. Exhilaration got traded by the Hunter there as well. They're still cutting through it like butter. A full polymorph now on Zonica. Both the melee getting rotted down. Bursted flurry over. AMS and AMZ used at the same time. They're just getting annihilated. Full cyclone on Zonica. Another flurry assault out from Maro, dishing out so much damage. Waz now following up with some lunar strike. Zonica has left the crowd control. He's trying to get some casts to stabilize his team. Both of his members are down below half. He's in dire straits. He goes for the tranquility behind the pillar, but the cyclone on the Hunter denies the healing. Well played from Minpoike there. Maro now trying to get some counter pressure. He lands the counter spell on Zonica, forcing the aspect of the turtle, and Northern Gaming are on fire, just completely destroying Enjoy Legion at this point.
Yeah, they got really unlucky there as well. Swapsy tried to blink over to Maro with his grapple, but he couldn't connect because the little proc from the Frost Mage that roots you for a few seconds stopped him. But they do manage to connect now and actually get the Ice Block onto Maro, so they're making some progress, but at the same time, there's a lot of damage coming out onto Enjoy Legion. I'm not sure JV has anything left. The AMS does appear to be back up. He uses the IBF as well, so he should be able to stay alive for now. Zonica actually doing a fantastic job with his mana this game. He's not using too much to keep his team mobile. They're able to connect surprisingly often, considering they're against this Frost Mage. Bob Maro is really struggling to kite this team right now. He's caught up. He's trying to get the polymorphs. He gets a random polymorph onto Zonica. Beautiful play from him. Can he get any damage out? I really feel like I'd like to see him just use the Cone of Cold and kite away a little bit more. He's taking so much damage in this game.
Yeah, without the Paladin giving him Blessing of Freedom, he's not really able to escape as easily. So the Resto Druid's pick from Minpoike, that's definitely the weakness here. And they're able to connect, forcing the second Ice Block already. And Enjoy Legion have completely reversed this match around. They were under so much pressure in the earlier stages. Waz manages to get a full moon out, but Zonica is in an NECC, able to easily heal through it now as a result. Maro drops the Frozen Orb in desperation to find a kill on the Hunter. Will he find it? Zonica's ready and waiting, but they kill off the pet. Icelands connects, and there's nothing to save him. 1% is not enough HP to stay alive. Well, it would be if it was higher than 1% and it wasn't 0, but either way, Northern Gaming Blue with the interesting class stacking with the Resto Druid and the Boomkin find a kill early on. I'm wondering why. I'm trying to think of like the weaknesses overall in the Paladin. I mean, the Paladin yesterday got them a really long game. They weren't able to finish. Maybe Minpoike just feels more comfortable on the Druid. The Thorns damage is nice. I mean, Minpoike did 4 million damage, a third of the Hunter. So the Thorns is really nice. That's good value if they're just looking for raw pressure. That could be something that they're looking for. But I feel like the Paladin would give Maru a lot more space to move if that ends up being an issue. But they do end up taking game one nonetheless. And now Enjoy Legion. They've been playing just the same comp over and over, and we've seen the teams that are able to adapt and show diversity are coming out ahead. So I'd like to see Enjoy Legion play a different composition into this matchup. They came close, but I still feel like that's very difficult for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Because, and clearly when Northern Gaming go over to the Druid there, they're thinking, we just saw ABC play Elemental Mage Druid into this comp, and they looked completely dominant. Like it was a utterly one-sided game. And now they think, well, if we put the Moonkin instead of the Elemental, Moonkins are just as mobile. They do a lot more damage. We saw there Waz actually doubling everyone's damage on the map. Fantastic play. It's fantastic to see him doing so well on that ult specialization. So they probably thought, well, we'll just kind of dominate the game with slows and then we'll just out PvE them. But it didn't really work out that way. It was kind of weird. Mario really struggled to kite this team. Maybe he wasn't optimizing his slows enough. You'd think simply by moving his character, pressing like W and Cone of Cold, it would be enough to make it hard at least for the cleave to reach him. But they had a lot of uptime. Maybe he was prioritizing his like single target damage a little bit more over those blizzards and Cone of Colds, which clearly did work out in the end since they did manage to secure the kill very quickly. But it's just it's a slightly different playstyle to what we saw from Daisy Duke, whose priority was to literally just blink away over and over and over and just get max range and take no damage.
I don't know if it's necessarily no damage.
Well,
They got
yes.
two ice blocks.
Oh, no,
They're
no,
actually
yeah,
very
yeah,
close,
exactly.
didn't they?
But in the Daisy Duke game, you remember he was just standing max range.
Oh,
Maybe that's because it was 12 on Arena, though. Maybe that makes it a little easier as well. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Mario was taking so much damage in this game compared to Daisy Duke, who was just
well, Daisy
slowing
Duke
in
didn't
and
get
seeing the
focused.
whole
They were going
game.
after the Elemental Shaman most of the game, weren't they?
True, but I'm sure they'd have loved to go on Daisy Duke if they could reach him, right?
I mean, maybe that's something they realized
Mm.
after the previous series where they were going after the other target that, okay, we just need to go after the Frost Mage. I mean, the Frost Mage is only extremely devastating if you allow him to free cast. If you're forcing him to move, he's not able to get as many blizzards off to reset his cooldown on Frozen Orb, so he's not able to burst as often. So I think he should be the focus target. I mean, in this situation, they're kind of forced to. I don't think they're going to kill the Moonkin through the Bear form and his kiting and polymorph spam if necessary. Even when Poike could step in and clone for him as well. I definitely don't think the Moonkin is their kill target. So they're kind of just forced into the mage in that sense as well. But they looked good in terms of getting cooldowns. They got two ice blocks. That's key if they're going to end up winning with this comp. But I think they're going to change as they've locked in. I'm not going to tell you what it is because for some reason we like to surprise you, viewers. We never like
Of
to let you know
course,
what's
of
going
course.
on. Just everything has to be a surprise. So the composition that they're going to be walking into here in map number 2 is okay.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow! This is World of Warcraft PvP. I love it. I
What
love
just
when it's like
happened?
this. So we're gonna zone in 3, 2, 1. Oh, there we go. It's gonna be the double druid coming out from Northern Gaming with that Frost Mage Bodmaro, and the counter pick from Enjoy Legion, the double Shaman Warlock. Swaps his comp since ages and ages ago. I remember back in Cataclysm he played Enhancement Affliction Warlock with Bloodstack, and who was their healer that season? Uh, I can't remember, but they were playing the Enhancement Warlock to BlizzCon, double Shaman Warlock, and he's back at it again. This time he's the Warlock, going to be playing that Demonology with the Elementor and the Resto Shaman. We'll see how this game plays out for them, because this is going to be, I'm sure, it's a matchup that no one has ever seen before, ever.
I mean, whoever wins is the better class, right? If double shaman wins, and shaman's just better, right?
Yep.
That works.
I wonder what Jamili's thinking when he sees this composition.
Okay. I mean, both teams are playing heavy caster comps, so it's going to be a very possibly slow-paced game. A lot of pillar hugging. Waz and Maru are both hugging towards the box with Minpoike behind it. Jamie and Swapsy seem to have an offensive position in the center of the map. Triangle position, so important versus a balanced Druid. Swapsy's far away from Jamie. That way Starfall can only hit one target. With the double caster, they can abuse that and stay far away. As the double melee, they had to be on top of each other. So this is a nice adaptation. They've got good positioning. So far, they seem to be dominating the battlefield as they stun Minpoike. They fear away Waz. Jamie in a bit of counter pressure here, but Earthshield gets up from Zonica. I should be able to top him off here very shortly. And Enjoy Legion are dishing out the pain. Minpoike seems to be struggling.
Yeah, for sure. And Swapsy's pushing in so far with that Demonology. He's not scared of dying at all. He's so tanky. Able to get the stun onto Minpoike here, and they're definitely rotting down. Maro also struggling. They're all behind the pillar, which they don't want to be. They're going to stack up for those AoE abilities from the Demonology Warlock, as well as, of course, the Chain Lightnings from Jamie, if he can connect them. And Zonica is just looking pretty. Look at him. He's just sitting back, not worried about anything right now. You can just see the entirety of Northern Gaming forced to kind of turtle behind this pillar. What are they going to do to actually get some pressure here?
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult when you're fighting a double caster as a Moonkin. If they're standing 40 yards apart from each other, your pressure is so much lower. Starfall boosts the damage of your dots. So if you're only starfalling one player, only getting that damage boost on one player, your damage goes down so much. So Jamie and Swapsy were ready for the matchup. It looks like they managed to actually kill Swapsy's pet. That's the one advantage they're going to have with a lot of that Moonkin AoE, is that they're going to be able to take out the pets. So Swapsy's going to be looking to try and get that back alive here as soon as possible, I would imagine. They've got Jamie stunned up, and they're actually stacked. This is a critical moment. Starfall on two players, getting a lot of pressure here. Jamie and Swapsy need to be more careful with their positioning. They're taking a lot of pressure as a result. Earthen Shield Totem from Zonica buys them enough time to recover as they are pushing forward. Minpoike, despite his team getting very low, quite often has maintained his mana quite well. He's actually ahead of Zonica, which is a little bit unexpected, and their team is managing to swing the momentum. Waz finally getting some double Starfalls. Swapsy at 80, Zonica trying to get him back up. He does manage to. Full Moon available for Waz, so let's see who he manages to get that out on, because it will be a lot of damage when it comes.
Yeah, for sure. If he can ever get it out, though, he is playing against double Shaman, of course, so those wind shears are going to be incredibly annoying for him. And we can see it's just the entire game. Enjoy Legion are the team pushing in. There's the Observer. It's doing a lot of damage. They definitely need to get that down. They do manage to eventually, but Minpoike is doing a fantastic job with his mana. I cannot believe he basically has used none so far, despite so much damage coming out of Enjoy Legion. There's so much pressure, but he's just healing through it so efficiently, doing such a great job. He gets locked out on that heal, though. He needs to be a bit careful. Blinks away. Able to kite away for now, should be fine, but he's left his team behind. Are they going to be able to kind of get any pressure off that? It doesn't really look like it right now.
It looks like Northern Gaming Blue want to play hyper-aggressive and get on top of their opponents. If they can get on top of them, that might indirectly stack them up. And if they stack them up for this double Starfall, double Frozen Orb, that's exactly the positioning that they want. Minpoike caught into a Mortal Coil. Swapsy getting a lot of Hand of Gul'dans. He's empowering all the imps. This could be a huge Thal'Kiel's consumption here very shortly from Swapsy if he can set it up. They've got two players low HP. He's got another Hand of Gul'dan going out. Swapsy's got a ton of burst available. They need to be aware of that. The Thal'Kiels could just end the match. Waz is going to Solar Beam the Hand of Gul'dan. Solar Beam now no longer available for Thal'Kiels. Swapsy's setting up another Hand of Gul'dan. Really surprised to see that he's not going for the Thal'Kiels just yet. A full polymorph on Zonica. Swapsy and Jamie may start to rot down as a result of this crowd control, but no Cyclone to follow it up just yet. Unfortunately, burst over to Swapsy, down to 30%. Seems to be doing okay, though, as he fears away. Waz trying to crowd control some incoming Moonkin pressure. Actually got feared into the Shadow Sight eyes, so that means he's going to take 5% more damage for a couple more seconds. A little bit unlucky, never lucky. Observer out from Swapsy there behind the pillar. Maru sees it again, kills that Observer off. Took him quite a bit of damage, though, to kill it off. So it's definitely paying out for Swapsy in this match to play that Observer.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of value out of it for sure. And now they really are starting to rot down Northern Gaming. They're really struggling. Just because Swapsy was doing such a good job of chasing Minpoike around, threatening him so he couldn't really heal his team, now he's had to be more inefficient. He's down to 40% mana. They're able to resummon the pet here. They're not really able to punish him. They are killing the pets, but they can't stop the cast since they don't have those melees. And now the full stun onto Minpoike. He's in a bit of trouble. He's caught out on his own. Swapsy able to get some free damage onto him at the same time. Jamie taking some damage, but he trades out his Astral Shift. Should be fine for now. He's able to thunderstorm his opponents away and top himself off behind the pillar. Should be fine.
Yeah, Eben Bolt out from Maru over onto Waz. Maru watching an Eben Bolt out, but not really doing too much damage. As Demonology, you have Soul Link, so your pet takes 20% of the damage you're taking. It's very good redirect damage, but against a dot cleave, you would think it would be
counterintuitive. I'm surprised that Waz isn't able to get more pressure as a result with it. Maro just in the center of the map getting lobbed down by Jamie. Lava Burst after Lava Burst. When Poike uses Iron Bark to deflect the attack, but with that Iron Bark, they're going to swap to Waz. He Bark skins. He's down to 28%. And Poike has managed to maintain his mana extremely well in this matchup. I would have expected him to be much more behind than he is. Zonica actually is losing, and this is going to be a mana battle between the healers as these double caster mirrors tend to go into dampening. They tend to be a very long match. Waz looking for a full moon, not able to find it. He does manage to line of sight it. Swapsy trying to hide here, trying to avoid the full moon as long as he can. He death coils him away, follows it up with the full fear. Observer now out, flying above the skies. They kill that off immediately. I have to say Maru's awareness for those observers is on point. He kills them almost immediately. A lot of other mages would let those observers stay up longer than he is. He's doing a great job. It's really allowing Poike to be able to deal with the pressure much more easily. Swapsy is now under fire. Zonica does get fully bashed. They swap their attention to him. Earthshield goes up to deflect the flurry. That should reduce enough damage to keep him alive here. Goes for the lesser healing wave. He fakes the counter spell. He should be able to easily top himself off. Waz has Celestial Alignment up, but with no CC, he's really not getting any pressure. Goes for a full moon. That move cast in the Starfall, allowing him to connect it, but he does get feared away by Swapsy. And Poike now tied on mana. They're playing so much more aggressively. It's forced Poike to use more mana to do it, and now it's tied. It's still even, dampening at 11% healing reduction. At this point, it's still anyone's match.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the advantage Poike, of course, has is in the matchup. Since he is a Resto Druid, he's able to blink away Shadow Meld and get those drinks. So he got a big one earlier. I'm sure he'll go for another one again in the near future. It's something that he's very much known for. He's able to get the Cyclone onto Jamie right now. This could be a good opportunity. You can see Swapsy is trying to keep his pet onto Poike to deny any incoming drinks, but he's winning the mana war anyway. Zonica struggling a little bit. As Dampening starts to stack up, that's only going to get harder for him. Poike blinks away now, maybe going to go for that drink. Looks like he's just going to heal Waz for now. Should be okay. Are they going to be able to swap back over onto Zonica though? Because a lot of the pressure Northern Gaming got was when they pushed in. Here they do. They get the Solar Beam onto Zonica, force the adaptation. He's in a lot of trouble here. Does have that shield wall available should he choose to use it. The link is available. He gets caught in the beam again, walks back into it. The Ascendance coming up should be able to stabilize for now. Actually used Healing Tide and Ascendance there, so two massive AoE healing cooldowns used. And they're not going to be available for the next 3 minutes. So that's going to be a lot of dampening he's going to have to survive without those healing cooldowns.
Yep, and Poike manages to Shadow Meld, goes for a drink once again. Jamie jumps over. Will he be able to find? He finds him with the Earthbind Totem. Denies a lot of mana regeneration for him in Poike. Zonica, in the meantime, tried to sneak a drink. He wasn't able to sit down, however, and get any mana. So mana still feasibly tied at this point. Pressure seems to be in favor of Enjoy Legion as Maru is down to half. Waz is down at 70. And Poike is trying to play mana efficient. He's using Healing Touch, the most efficient heal you can use mana-wise, but definitely not output-wise. He's forced to use Iron Bark now on Waz to deflect this incoming pressure. Swapsy and Jamie are dishing out. It's still so much damage. Maru may need to block. He blinks away, tries to shimmer some of the incoming pressure. Poike gets feared. Zonica actually gets Solar Beam. They're using the Solar Beam to trigger adaptation, and then they push in for a stun. They land the full bash, but Zonica saw it coming. Nice play. Got his Astral Shift wall up to deflect the incoming pressure. It could have been his life right there and then. But now Waz is in trouble. He blinked in aggressively and got destroyed. Enjoy Legion are going to tie this series up 1-1. This match clearly shows that Shamans are better than Druids.
Shamans are better than Druids. You couldn't have put it better yourself. Well, yeah, that was it. It was a really nice strategy from Northern Gaming. They were kind of figuring it out during the game, of course, like we said. It's not a matchup you see every single day, so they were probably figuring out stuff, and they tried to play around Zonica's adaptation. I wonder if that was the right choice, because they were just able to beam it off and then push in and get the bashes on him to try set up kills. But at the same time, every time they use beam like that, it means they're kind of extending, they're allowing Jamie and Swapsy to get the damage out, which in the end was enough to take down Waz form. So that Boomkin, despite doing a lot of damage on the board, wasn't quite enough to secure this game. But it's going to be tied up 1-1. Of course, Northern Gaming now, since they did win the blind pick on the ground, they are going to have that comp and map advantage for the next game. So I think if you do lock in the double Shaman again as Enjoy Legion, we can probably expect to see Northern Gaming head back over to that RMD, but that's not necessarily a free win for the RMD either.
I don't know. I think with Demonology, Ellie would be their best comp overall against Northern Gaming Blue. I think it deals with Rogue Mage maybe not as effectively as the Hunter Death Knight comp, but enough that they can win with it. They're also all playing more or less their main classes. I actually didn't even know that was Jamie on Death Knight. I didn't know.
The names are confusing. He's been playing it a lot this expansion, I think.
But obviously Jamie's known for his shaman play, so I think he's a lot more comfortable on it. And I think the Moonkin Mage was too frustrating with 2 melee classes, so it's just a smart move from them to play 2 casters. They can outposition them to avoid getting AoE down, and they've got a lot of effective cooldowns with the Resto Shaman. With the Earthen Shield Totem, it's a really good answer to a lot of that incoming spread pressure, because you're not getting hit by a 1 million Glacial Spike. It's a bunch of 50k dot ticks, maybe 200k flurry ticks. So Earthen Shield really reduces a lot of that pressure. So the double Shaman comp, I think, was a smart move for them to deal with the double Druid comp. I don't know if we're going to see the same matchup again. It looked like Northern Gaming Blue didn't know what they needed to do to win for the first 5 minutes of the game. They're just kind of like, oh, hit him, attack that guy, just do some damage, and we'll figure it out. And then at the end of the match, they're like, oh, we can Solar Beam his adaptation and then kill him in a stun. And then they started doing that, but at that point it was too late in dampening. So maybe if they can do that earlier in the match, they can get a win that way. I would imagine that Zonika's not going to play adaptation, though. After seeing that could be a possible weakness, he could just opt to say, okay, I'm going to play Trinket. I mean, the one thing Moonkin and Mage don't synergize with is Polymorph and Starfall. If you see Starfall, Mage casting Polymorph, just run in it, and Starfall will break you out.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
You don't need adaptation to break you out of CC chains if you can stand in any of the AoE. So I would imagine he's not going to take that if that ends up being the same matchup.
Yeah, I think so. And we can see because of that, Mao's not really pushing for Sheeps too much. Although it was interesting because when they played the Resto Druid DK Hunter, he was able to land a lot of CC onto Zonica just because on the Resto Druid, Zonica was kind of sitting far away since the Medicleave have to chase their targets to do damage. So it might have been interesting to see if Zonica could have stood in the middle, but then I guess if he had, then he would have just got hit. Instead, they would have just damaged him and he would have struggled even more as Resto Druid. So definitely a difficult conundrum for him. I don't think he'll run the adaptation again, but we're going to have to see. Tolvaron is going to be the map choice coming out of Northern Gaming. Of course, the series is tied 1-1 here, guys. This is a best of 5, so the next 3 games potentially will decide who takes this series, and we are going to see the comp swap. Comp advantage, of course, to Northern Gaming since they lost the last game. They're going back to their RMD, Subtlety on Waz, and they're going up against this double Shaman with the Elemental, the Demonology, Swapsy Warlock, and Zonica on the Resto.
Yep, so Swapsy's still going to be playing Demonology, not switching to Destruction or anything like that. Demonology is just super tanky. Zonica can be a little bit less, he can be a little bit more careless with the Demonology Warlock on his team. He doesn't need to have Earthshield on him with Soul Link, so he can always have Earthshield either on Jamie or himself, and it allows him to predict attacks a lot more readily. Also, with Demonology, it's a little bit more instant damage, obviously, from the Doom Dot, rather than Destruction that is all casted. So if you need spam CC, there's really no damage going out. Just Polymorph over and over will prevent the Destruction Warlock's damage. So Demonology definitely, I think, better for them in this specific matchup. We can see Swapsy trying to AoE someone out. I managed to play that off pretty well, I think.
Yeah, that was smooth. That was smooth. I like that. Where we see the sap coming out from Waz. He gets the opener, the cheap shot into Jamie. I imagine Jamie's going to be the target of choice here since, of course, Demonology Warlocks are incredibly tanky, but they're not really able to do much with this opener, to be honest. The healing stream coming out from Zonica. They're doing the swap now over onto him into the kidney shot. He gets the off shield. The DR stun denied, and we can see Swapsy is running that Fel Lord, so he is going to run the Fel Lord into the RMD, unlike Aristros. We'll have to see how that pays off for him. Looks like it's just going to make it a little harder for him to connect to Zonica right now. You can see him using it very well to zone out Waz and survive any incoming damage right now.
Yep, that Fel Lord positioning from Swapsy in this early start of the match really slowing down Northern Gaming pressure. So the Fel Lord is a different talent choice than we saw in the previous matchup. But there's cross CC. Jamie's in a 3v1. He's forced to use his Astral Shift as he is on the run. Zonica getting cycloned out of that chain now as well. The chain has finished, and as soon as that CC chain finishes, they switch to Zonica, and they're trying to force him to put Urshield on himself so he doesn't have it on Jamie when they make the swap back, or they can just outright kill him. This is a lot of damage. He gets kidney shot. He got the Urshield up. That's his last line of defense. Mortal Coil comes over to Waz. He trinket cloaks to find the kill, nails it. Northern Gaming now leading 2-1.
That was insane. They just, like you were saying, it's like the CC chain ends, they just do some damage to Zonica to try force his Earth Shield. They kicked him once, he used his Astral Shift immediately, and he just died through it. That was incredible damage coming out of Northern Gaming. They're not even running Assassination, bear in mind. This is the Subtlety Rogue from Waz. He just absolutely obliterated Zonica on the Shaman there, and you can see how much it matters to have that comp advantage. The pick advantage, of course, since they did win the game on Nagra. Northern Gaming going 2-1 up in this series. They are one game away from eliminating not only the 2-time BlizzCon champion Swapsy, but also the defending champion of European GCDs, Zonica, who won it last time around. So getting a bit of revenge after that Spirit Link kind of incredibly long series that we saw last month. And now they're one game away from getting back to that grand final and taking on ABC for the final title. So we'll have to see what composition they're going to lock in, since now, of course, Enjoy Legion do have the composition and map advantage going into Game 4.
Yep, and that means ultimately, if this goes to Game 5, that Northern Gaming Blue have comp advantage. If they know Demo Lock is coming out with Elemental, then they can play their Rogue Mage Druid. If they know that the Hunter Death Knight is coming out, then they can play their Balanced Druid Frost Mage. So I would say at this point that they are definitely favored to win overall in the series. The Social Justice Warriors need to find a comp that is able to deal with Rogue Mage Druid and able to deal with Mage Moonkin. I thought that Elemental Demo would be all right into Rogue Mage Druid, but that match ended so fast that I'm starting to wonder if it really was. I don't know what else they can really do. I mean, I'm throwing caution to the wind. I'm going to say this, but it's probably awful. They could play Demonology Enhancement. It's probably awful.
Yeah, I don't know
At
if
this
Enhance
point,
would be like great into that.
I'm just trying to think of something.
I mean,
Because as Elemental against a Subtlety Rogue, you're not going to have fun. You're just not.
For sure.
That's not fun.
And I'm assuming that if RMD is locked in, they're going to go back to the DK Hunter, right? For this next game, at least.
Yeah, I would think so.
But then, like, that brings the question in Game 5, what do you blind lock? Because we've seen the double Shaman gets beaten by the RMD. We've seen that the DK Hunter struggled a lot against the Boomkin Mage who rested Druid. So, I mean, that game was close. They could definitely try it again because they were very close to taking down Maro. Or they could try something else. I mean, these guys have a lot of comps available to them. We've Swapsy, we've seen him on every single class. Jamie, we know he plays the Enhanced, the Elemental, the DK probably has some other stuff. I think I've even seen him on the Rogue recently as well. So they definitely have options available to them, but we'll have to see how that goes. They have to get through Game 4 first, of course.
They need to have Horde characters. If they could play Demo, Elemental, Resto Shaman, and they were just all orcs.
Yeah, maybe that would be good. Yeah, that would have kept Zonica alive in that last game, for sure.
It'd be infinitely better.
Yep.
I wonder if they would just win because they can do that, but if they don't have the Horde characters, they obviously can't.
Yeah. I wonder if Zonica... Imagine if they had that. That would actually be huge, I think, if Zonica was hard. I don't know if it would be enough to change the tide of the game.
They all be orc. They all be out of stuns faster. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, that would be really useful into the sub-break, for sure.
What is the math on that? Is orc 25 or 20?
I think it's... Is it
15?
that? I think it's less, yeah, it's 15 or 10 with hardiness, and then they combine that with relentless, which is 20, right? So it's like 30%-ish reduction.
Good math.
Yes.
We've got EU NA math working together here to tell you that that's a 30%-ish.
Yeah, it's 30%-ish off of your stuns. But then when you think about it, cheap shot into cheap shot into cheap shot, it's about 8 seconds of stuns. So 30% of 8 is like, what, 2-3 seconds? So that's quite a lot every single stun DR, since they have dance pretty much every DR. So it's quite a huge chunk of stuns that you reduce. But I'm not sure if they do have Horde characters, unfortunately, for this specific composition. But all right, we should be ready to get into Game 4. Tiger's Peak is going to be the map choice from Enjoy Legion. We're just waiting on the comps right now. Of course, Northern Gaming, they have to think, what comp do we want to kind of blind pick into Enjoy Legion? Enjoy Legion do get the counter pick for this game since they lost last game. We'll have to see what Northern Gaming thinks the intelligent choice is, because they're definitely going to get into some hard matchup right now. That's the whole reason that Enjoy Legion have these multiple comps ready. So if we do see the RMD, we probably will see that DK Hunter. It's not a free win for the DK Hunter, of course. RMD is still an incredibly strong composition, but it's one that they felt confident in, and they won that particular matchup 2-0 yesterday. So definitely going to be interesting to see what happens if that matchup does play out, if Northern Gaming have maybe figured something out since yesterday, if they're maybe just playing a little bit better today, because they have looked so strong in that RMD.
I mean, I guess at this point it's really Northern Gaming trying to decide what their better matchup would be, if they think they can beat PHDK as Rogue Mage, or if they can beat Elemental Demo as Boomkin Mage. They have to decide what's a better matchup and then go off of that, or just play something random because they're at a disadvantage in the map pick and the comp pick anyway. No, they're going to go back to the Moonkin Frost Mage, so they think they've got better odds with Moonkin Mage than Rogue Mage against this Demonology Elemental comp, which is probably true. They found kind of a winning strategy a little bit too late the last time this matchup happened. So now that they've got a strategy to execute upon, I think they're going to do a lot better.
Yeah, I also like this because it's just like they're giving Waz more experience on the Boomkin. Tournament experience is very different to playing on the ladder. So the more tournament games he has, the more confident he's going to feel playing that Moonkin in future events. And of course, with BlizzCon coming up, presumably in the near future, the road to BlizzCon, we're going to have, they're going to be playing for a lot more money in some of those future tournaments, and having Waz being able to play these multiple classes to the highest tournament level is definitely going to help out. So definitely the intelligent choice. The counter pick, of course, from Enjoy Legion, we already saw this matchup once. We'll have to see if Northern Gaming can play it slightly different on this ever so slightly larger map.
Yep, and Tiger's Peak could be the final resting place for Enjoy Legion. Northern Gaming are going to be playing Frost Mage Balance Druid, so a lot of area of effect spells, Frozen Orb, Blizzard, Starfall. Because of this, Enjoy Legion needs to spread out, stay far apart from each other, so that they do not get cleaved down. Whereas Swapsy and Jamie, their damage isn't as area of effect required. They can definitely do a lot of single target burst, so I feel like they're advantaged in this specific matchup, but Northern Gaming have the map pick, but not the comp pick, so they're forced to walk into a disadvantage. So let's see how well they can deal with this. Swapsy put an observer. He kind of cheekily hit it in the Tiger's mouth there, but they were able to see it and kill it off, so they're not falling for any of those Swapsy tricks. But that was definitely an interesting position to put the observer, something that I think a lot of Demo Locks are going to try if they play later after this stream.
Yeah, for sure. And he's actually taking a lot of damage in this game. They decided not to focus on him last time because they know how tanky he is, but he is able. He actually overlapped the wall slightly there with his reflect. He gets caught up in the bash on his Aura Mastery. Zonica in the shoops right now. They're going for a lot more single target damage. The bash to follow that up onto Zonica from Impoika. Can they get the Cyclone off that? Looks like they're not going to be able to. Good shutdown with the CS coming out from Swapsy there. But he took a lot of damage there. Had to trade out his shield wall. Of course, it is a 3-minute cooldown as Demonology as opposed to 1 minute as Destro. So going to be a while until he has that available again. The team's able to stabilize for now, but how are they going to counter pressure when they're struggling a little bit when Swapsy is the target of choice?
Yep, and Poike, is he actually playing Healing Touch spec? He is. So Nourish is an honor talent that was nerfed recently, but it's highly effective at healing through dot damage if you're able to free cast. It's a much slower cast time than it was before the patch hit, well, hotfix hit. But it still might be a little bit more mana efficient or a little bit more burst healing potential. So let's see if Mpoike can do it with the pressure with that Nourish talent. There's a full Cyclone over on Zonica, but he did manage to get his Earthen Shield totem down prior to the crowd control, which means he reduced so much incoming pressure that Jamie's health bar didn't even move. Maro's setting up a lot of blizzards here to reduce his cooldown on his burst. His Frozen Orb will come up faster the more targets that Blizzard hits. And because Demonology Warlocks are basically like a zoo lock, they're summoning lots of imps, lots of eyeballs, lots of everything that's demonic and fell magic related. That Blizzard hits so many targets that it resets Frozen Orb so quickly, which is why he's playing Frost in this matchup. And it's an interesting choice overall, but I just feel like they're so disadvantaged with the Demonology being so tanky, and Zonica is able to permanently have Earthshield on Jamie as a result, that they can never really punch through. They're definitely going to need a lot more dampening if they want to pull this off.
Yeah, for sure. But what the strategy we saw them going for last time, which seemed quite intelligent, was to push in a little bit more onto Zonica. They actually got a lot of pressure there with the Blink CS from Mario, well played by him, but Jamie able to get behind the pillar, stabilize. And now they're trying to punish the offensive push, whilst Form taking a bit of damage, able to push behind the pillar there. But I really feel like Northern Gaming have two ways they can play this matchup. They can either have Minpoike sit back with the healing touch spec, which is what they're trying right now, and they're just going to try kind of out-dampen the enemy team. I guess they don't really... No one really knows if they're going to successfully do that or not, because we haven't really seen this matchup too much. Or they could do what they tried last game, which was just pushing in onto Zonica, getting the bash, trying to get AoE pressure on Zonica and Jamie since Swapsy doesn't take too much damage, and play around that Earth Shield a little bit more. So those are their choices. In Game 1 we saw them pushing in a lot. In Game 2 it seems like Minpoike has gone for this healing touch back. They're just going to sit back, play a really long game here and hope that they... are the team that will prevail in dampening, because honestly, unless they've played this matchup before, I don't think there's any real way that either team could know who does that.
So Swapsy Hidden Observer up in the Tiger statue again, but Maru snipes it. You can't get that Observer out against Maru. He sees it every time. I mean, it's an eyeball, but he sees it more clearly than the eyeball sees him, apparently. So Maru's doing a great job in this series throughout to kill those Observers right away and take no collateral damage because of it. Minpoike in a good position here, far away from the fight, spread out. He's not able to get dotted or bursted down as a swap target, and able to effectively use his Nourish talent. Actually using his Innervate here. That was an Innervate from Waz. Funny enough, they actually have two Innervates, so Minpoike can cycle through that to reduce his mana costs by 100%. Over and over, so that might be enough to buy them enough time to get into dampening, which is where they're going to need to get to find a kill through this tanky composition of double Shaman Warlock. Thalkils is coming up in 18 seconds, so that's Swapsy's big burst. He's going to look to set that up by getting a lot of Hannah Gul'dans, summon a lot of imps, and then empower them. That's going to boost their health, and then he sacrifices that health to empower his Thalkils, which boosts the damage, of course. So he's got 5 imps right now. You might look for another Hand of Gul'dan here shortly. He's fearing away Maru, trying to deny his Frozen Orb pressure, so it was a good shutdown from Swapsy. But Zonica traded out his Earthen Shield Totem regardless. Earthen Shield Totem is about a 1-minute CD, so it trades really effectively with the Frozen Orb, so I'm not surprised to see Zonica just trade that out immediately. But now that it's not available, it means that Northern Gaming can find an opportunity with something like a Full Moon or an Ebon Bolt. Maru's trying to get that. He gets Wind Sheared, so he goes for a Polymorph instead. Zonica grounds that, so good coordination between the Wind Shears and Grounding Totem. Really no overlap from Enjoy Legion. And if they constantly rotate through those stops, Northern Gaming are going to have a hard time punching through.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely will. But at the same time, neither team's really making too much leeway right now. They need a little bit more dampening. Minpoike taking a bit of damage from this Observer. I'm not entirely sure what offensive spells he was using to proc that, but Waz actually dropping so low. There's his Barkskin. Is it going to be enough down to 10%? He gets stunned up. 10%. The Iron Bark coming out. Should be able to get away here. He uses the Shadow Mode, gets back into Moonkin form, kites behind the pillar. That Observer was devastating from Swapsy. Almost enough to secure the game, but they are able to stabilize. Minpoike's mana is still good. He gets locked out on the healing touch. Of course, that nerf is going to make it slightly easier for them to deny some of those incoming heals. Stun now onto Waz. No Barkskin available. Can they get the burst? Purges, Ice Fury coming in. So much damage. They're trying to push in here. Minpoike able to sit back though. Should be able to stabilize his team a little bit. They are rotting a little as dampening does start to kick in 10%. It looks like right now Enjoy Legion are benefiting from that.
Yeah, Maru getting feared away from Swapsy, trying to deny some pressure. Hand of Gul'dan connects. 3 imps or 4 imps or 5 imps or 1 million imps have entered this battlefield, but Maru is happily going to blizzard all of those imps. He gets knocked back into the room. They're trying to isolate him as Minpoike is looking for a drink. They stun Minpoike. They're bursting Maru. They should be able to get an ice block here. They force the block, an overextension from Maru. Innervate out from Minpoike will buy him enough time to spam heal, but he does get stunned. They purge off the Innervate. Nice purge there from Jamie. Minpoike is going to be forced to use mana now to heal through this incoming pressure. Maru getting feared out of his ice block. Jamie looking for a Stormkeeper, setting up a lot of burst onto Maru. He's still on hypothermia. Lots of burst to follow it up. Ice Barrier gets activated. He blinks away. Will that be enough? 8% HP remaining. He blinks away again, but Observer will finish him off. Swapsy with that key observer at that critical moment set up the kill, now tying the series 2-2.
Yeah, Mario just was a little overextended, and then they definitely made the best of the situation. Jamie able to thunderstorm him even further away, and he just never got back to his team really. The constant slows, and then the Observer beautifully timed to finish him off. It's a little harder to kill as Frost if you don't have the procs. Unlike Fire, you don't have all that instant damage, so unfortunate for Northern Gaming, but that's going to be a 2-2, and now we're in the situation where Northern Gaming do have that map choice, do have the comp advantage. So we'll have to see if they can make the most of that, because in Game 5, this game takes it all. If you lose this game, you're out. You come third. If you win, you're through to that grand final to play against ABC. So much riding on this next game, and Northern Gaming will have that advantage for it.
It's so funny how people. I mean, maybe spectating the Wizard Mirror is kind of Resident Sleeper. In some cases, it is a little bit Resident Sleeper to play as well. It's just a super control matchup. Because you have two casters, you can position fully defensively. You can always stand where you want to stand. Whereas as a melee DPS, your positioning gets dictated by the thing you're hitting. If you're hitting it and it runs away, you have to follow it to keep hitting it. If you're a ranged class, you just keep hitting it, unless it goes behind a pillar, which is why in some cases these games become slightly Resident Sleeper. But there's a lot going in the backline of a match like this. You need to be patient. That's number one. A lot of people in any sort of game might lack patience. They're just not willing to wait until dampening is at a certain point or a certain defensive cooldown isn't available. And if you're not patient and you overextend and you go for a kill and then you end up dying because of it. So it's a test of patience. It might be a little bit Resident Sleeper, but it definitely forces you to have a well-rounded, what's the word I'm looking for? A well-rounded toolkit as a player. You need to be able to handle games that are Resident Sleeper and require patience, and you need to be able to handle those quick-paced games where you're setting up CC and you don't want to drop it at all. And if you're able to have those multiple playstyles, you're going to be advantaged in the tournament setting.
Yeah, I mean you're right. Like that's how these custom matchups are. Like they're definitely a little bit slower. Perhaps not the most entertaining to watch always. They definitely have their moments because the burst potential is there, but they can be a little slower. And that's not just true for the for like someone spectating the game. That's also true for the player. So it takes a lot of discipline. I mean, every game has this. You'll have that game where it's just like super frustrating. You can't really get the kill, even though you're like pressing a lot of buttons. You're doing everything correctly. It's like it doesn't really amount to too much. But then if you get frustrated or if you kind of slack a little bit, then the game can instantly go wrong for you. There's definitely all these classes have the potential to kind of convert the game into a win at any point, despite the fact that the game's slightly slower. It's just these two teams both really want to win the game. Of course, it's such a close series, so they end up playing it out quite well, and that means we are going to hit a dampening in a lot of these games.
Bonjour, Zuniyaki. Comment ça va?
Greetings, everyone. I'm doing good.
Hello.
A bit late to the party, but excited none the least.
Did you sleep in?
Joining it? No. I was actually watching the games. Just wasn't feeling that good, but still excited to join you guys for some games. And yeah.
What have you thought of the game so far? Did you see the last one?
I saw most games. I think, and I was actually surprised that they didn't try it as RMD too. It feels really frustrating, as kind of double caster to deal with two shamans and an observer. So I thought they would, try as RMD, even though it may be hard as that comp 2. I feel like they would have probably more chance, but I'm sure they know best. And winning the blind pick, of course, and G that is, will give them an advantage, I guess, in this last series, or last game of the series, rather, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Like they've tried out. I was a little surprised too. I thought they might go for the RMD and just try and win game before, but I mean they clearly wanted to try some different stuff in this last one. But it all does come down to this game 5. So now it's really up to Enjoy Legion to find a way of winning, despite the fact that Northern Gaming do have that comp advantage. So it's going to be interesting to see if they have a composition they can play that's well-rounded enough against everything Northern Gaming has on offer, both the Moonkin Mage and the Rogue Mage. And that's what the delay is right now, guys. We're waiting for the comp lock-in from these teams because this is the final game. Like we've been playing They've been playing WoW for a good like 30, 40 minutes of game time. They don't want to throw the series now with the wrong decision. So we'll have to see what they decide to come up with. We're just as excited to see what the decisions are going to be as you. But we do have to give the players that little bit of leash so that they can make everything perfectly well. But that's good because it gives us time to say hello to Sunyaki, of course, since he is here now. We also can do another quick shout out of the Matcherino page. I just want to give another opportunity to everyone to go through and sign up for this Armored Bloodwing mount because I think it is such a cool idea that they purchase these. You can see 2,000 tickets have been bought, but you earn a point every minute and you need 30 points to purchase. So definitely be sure to go over and purchase as many of these as possible. The more minutes you have, you can get a huge quantity. You can see the points is there, and then you can just purchase it. Of course, we don't purchase it on the GCD channel since we're the broadcaster, but definitely go over there, and if you win that, it's $25 value, and there's also lots of other cool things on the page to check out for sure. We also announced our North American event today, which is going to be the same structure on the page, and you can sign up to that here on the Matcherino page going over to Battlefy, and I can't wait to see what teams come up with over there. But yes, we are playing the waiting game once again.
Absolutely, and I think the reason why they need to wait or want as much time as possible is because they lost the first 2 games as RMD when they're playing their new main comp, so to speak, when they're playing the PhD. They lost twice. No, sorry, they were not when they were playing. I get a bit confused there, but yeah, they did lose the first game, so now the advantage is on the team of NG since they can know which comp the opposing team is going to be picking. So it's always a nerve-wracking moment, and you have to always think a lot, especially when it comes down to a 2-2. And yeah, it's always a tough decision to take.
Yeah.
Is that a 22-month reset?
Ooh, is it 22
22
years?
months?
I can't believe that. 22 years of GCD. That's almost older than me. Okay,
That's
Oh, yes.
almost older than me.
Okay.
I'm older than that. Feels bad.
Feels bad, man. Okay, so thank you. Yeah, you are right. I did miss it. Thank you very much. So a huge shout out to 22-month resubscription from Nico Lavience, almost 2 years or 22 years as people love to phrase it. So thank you so much for that ongoing support. It's really awesome to see so many of these 2-year subscriptions. That's such an incredible amount of time, basically since the very start of GCD TV. I can't believe that that's such an incredible long time to be supporting the stream and the channel. Thank you so much to everyone who has been with us for such a long time, because that means you've been there basically since the start, since it was just the little weekly events with the small $100 prize pools that really build into something fantastic and an awesome community. So thank you so much for that support. I really do appreciate it, as does everyone here at GCD TV. Just to keep everyone updated, we do now have the comps locked in for Game 5 of Northern Gaming against...
What?
What? Oh,
does everyone just play Boomkin? Does everyone just have a Boomkin in their pocket? They're like, yeah, we're on our last game. You should play your Boomkin.
Yeah, this is...
I've never seen this. So many people just throwing Boomkins out.
Yeah,
it's here you go.
I don't know. Boomkin's really... They've been one of the beneficiaries of the hot fixes because they didn't get directly buffed, did they? But
no.
It's just so many classes got nerfed in Assassination Rogues, which were one of the big problems for them, getting hit so hard. It just means that they actually don't really die anymore. It's like you were saying, right? And then Enjoy Legion clearly needed to try something because they didn't have... This is quite incredible because I've seen Jamie Boomkin in action, so I hope that he's had some practice on it since he first made it. But I'm sure he would only be playing this if he's absolutely confident in it. Of course, Wise, we've seen him on his old Boomkin, so we're going to see Jamie on the Boomkin here. We are loading up into Game 5. This will decide the series. The winner of this team will progress to the grand final, and the loser will get the 3rd place prize. So we are going to see...
Something that's... by the way, I hope you can hear me
him.
fine. I know I've had
Yes.
a little trouble with my mic, but hopefully it should be fixed. Anyways, it's a bit of an odd decision to me, simply because Northern Gaming took down Laser Chicken's LSD2 right before, and in a pretty convincing
True.
manner.
Yes.
So it seems a bit confusing that Xonica, Jamie decided to play that comp. Maybe they think they have a better strategy against the RMD. We'll have to see.
Yeah, your mic it's kind of
Okay.
bouncing. It's like up and down with volume. It's
Let
interesting.
me try and fix that because yeah. It's rough.
It's kind of interesting. It's like a nice sound. Like it's relaxed. It's kind of like a massage for my ears, you know. But I'm not sure if
Okay,
everyone
whoa, whoa, whoa. Keep it PG. There will be
Okay,
no
okay.
massaging ears in GCD TV.
Okay, I'm sorry. But we do have Poopers. That's going to be Jamie on that Moonkin. Zonica and Swapsy going up against this RMD. And like Sunyaki was saying, it's going to be interesting to see if they can do something different to Laser Chicken's team, because Laser Chicken's team really struggled with this RMD.
Yep, a sap on Zonica. Let's see who they decide to open on. Bear form immediately from Jamie. We can see he's not going to get caught off guard. Actually, does end up getting stunned for 1 second there out of Bear. He needs to have that bonus healing to try and boost his healing from Riptide and Frenzied Regeneration. Also just makes him way more tanky against magic damage as well. So every time that stun DR is up, he needs to make sure he's in Bear form before it lands. Fell Lord actually used their almost offensively. I'm not entirely a fan of this Fell Lord. There was no stun DRs. They're actually starting to just stand in it. Maru got cleaved down to 30%. A lot of burst following it up. They're denying the Celestial alignment from the Moonkin. Very important to break that up and forcing him into Bear now. So this Celestial alignment basically wasted. He's trying to get back in Moonkin form to go for a full moon. This is the first full moon. He almost gets it. Kind of, sort of. Trying to go for it again. He got a full moon. He got it off, dude. That's one full moon. That's more full moons than Laser Chicken got last series. So Jamie's trying his best to get some burst out. They're doing good so far, but he gets stunned out of Bear form. And as soon as you get stunned out of Bear form, that's good night. Stun into stun into stun down to 15% HP. Renewal is going to be enough to save him for now as he jumps into Bear form with Barkskin. Sonica sitting through that Polymorph Cyclone chain. Now out of it. Needs to get some casted heals, but he could be interrupted. Mortal Coils was away. Now Maru is rotting down. Poike's team all down to half. He should be able to cast here very shortly. Looks for a clone. Gets interrupted on it. That's going to put him even more behind, but he blinks in offensively. He gets stunned up. Let's see if they can punish that here.
Yeah, I wonder if Jamie, like that delay in between the games was him watching some of the Laser Chicken VODs, because he is playing basically the same way. He's using the renewal talent, definitely making sure, but now the full blind onto Zonica. He preemptively Bear forms though, well played by him. He shouldn't be taking too much damage here. Healthstone and Frenzied Regeneration going to provide him some of the off healing he requires. Zonica now caught into the Ring of Frost though. He needs to connect some heals. Spirit Link is available if he wants to. A nice low Cyclone from Mimpoike. Can they rotate it over to Zonica with the stun? There's the Kidney. If they can get the Cyclone off this, it could easily be the game. Coiled by Swapsy though before the cheap shot. Beautiful play. Should be enough to keep Poopers alive for now.
Yep, Jamie's still just sitting in Bear form. If he leaves Bear form and gets stunned, he could easily just die. Zonica's going to Spirit Link to get Jamie offensive here. Jamie drops down a Starfall, goes right back into Bear form. He wants no momentum swinging in favor of Northern Gaming. Full bash on Minpoike. Fell Lord onto the DPS defensively. I'm not really a fan. I guess Waz is starting to get cleaved down. The Fell Lord is hitting. He's not dodging that whatsoever. It's doing quite a lot of counter pressure. Waz steps over to Kidney Shot Zonica. Maru blinks in to try and get the Polymorph. Doesn't get it, but Mimpoike follows up with a Cyclone instead. They need to make sure they get a Polymorph on Zonica out of these Cyclones. If they don't get it, the CC chain will not be long enough. Another Cyclone. Maru trying to get rid of that Grounding Totem. Now trying to look for a Polymorph. Doesn't find it. Gets Wind Sheared. Goes for it again. Grounds it just now. And now Zonica will be able to easily escape. No, Maru blinks in, finds it through the Solar Beam, but luckily Jamie is in Bear form with Earthen Shield Totem. Zonica didn't trust Jamie to stop that Polymorph, so he just put the Earthen Shield Totem down. But now that it's not available, Zonica's stunned outside of it. He needs to be able to get into it. It has faded, however. Now Zonica's under pressure, and Northern Gaming's swap potential is really putting Zonica for a loop.
Yeah, he's really struggling right now. He doesn't have that Spear Link available, and Poopers is also taking a lot of damage. Jamie on the Moonkin really struggling. Needs to get some defensive Cyclones. 2 Cyclones onto Waz. He's actually going to try to get the full moon here. That's going to get counterspelled by Bot Maro, so well played by him. He gets the Bear form off before the stuns once again, but Zonica's going to have a hard time. They're going to make the swap over to him, possibly. No, it looks like the Kidney's just going to be for CC. They get the follow-up Polymorph, and now they're getting the 3v1 situation, the Reflected Fear onto Swapsy. I'm not entirely sure how Swapsy got feared there, actually. I guess Bot Maro must have stolen his Reflect. And now the blind follow-up onto Zonica, but unfortunately that's going to break from the Living Bomb. Really unfortunate for Mara there, and that's going to break up a lot of this crowd control, so they should be able to survive and maybe stabilize in this situation.
All right, so Waz is going to need to try and dodge the Fell Lord. He manages to avoid being stunned inside of it, but Full Moon almost got off there. He got Dragon's Breath. Maru protecting Waz. Good defensive play from Maru there. That Fell Lord is deflecting their assault, so this is a significant difference from the Demonology Warlock we saw in the previous series that opted for Observer. Fell Lord is a lot of zone control. Waz is forced away quite often. Now he's standing it, though. He gets Fell Cleaved on the kidney shot, so that's going to be a little bit unlucky. Now into the Capacitor Totem. Waz getting shut down there, not able to follow it up with too much damage. Mana seems to be tied. Full fear over on Minpoike. Minpoike actually opts to Trinket out. I think this is a good strategy from Swapsy to focus on crowd control rather than damage. Try and fear away Minpoike. You stop Cyclones, you stop healing, and then Waz and Maru will rot down. It seems like when they're triple dotting, Minpoike is comfortable with it. He's able to easily deal with it. He's definitely showing his skill as a Resto Druid. It is not easy to heal through Boomkin pressure as a Resto Druid, but he's doing phenomenal so far, keeping his team fairly healthy for now. Clone on Maru right before that cheap shot landed, so it seems like Jamie should be able to survive this attack unless they get more CC. Minpoike gets Solar Beam, Maru gets Axe Toss. Good communication between Jamie and Swapsy to break up that CC chain.
Yeah, for sure, and they're doing such a good job of surviving here. Puba's is actually pretty stable at high HP. Now the polymorph though over onto Zonica, but a good capacitor stun onto Waz is going to deny a lot of the follow-up damage. Puba's able to get into bear form before the stun. Crucial play from him. He does have the bark skin. He's going to trade that out actually, so he has to use both those cooldowns there. He's should be able to get some heals off from Zonica though. The blind actually to follow up, so he's still in trouble. He needs to get back in that bear form. Uses the renewal. He's going to heal up a fair bit with that. No follow-up CC onto Zonica. He should be able to get top tier. The Ascendants coming out. Sky Fury as well. Can they get any counter pressure though? Minpoike is sitting healthy at about 50% mana. He's not doing a bad job at all. The Hex onto Maro now. They really need to get some... There's actually no dots on Maro, so that's going to be a Hex that sits full into a full fear. That's very frustrating for the Mage, but they're really struggling to get any pressure out whatsoever. There's no dots on Minpoike. They're actually starting to get a few up now, but he's just going to blink away, and the whole team of the RMD is looking completely healthy right now, although they're not really getting too close to a kill either.
Minpoike sneaked away for a drink. Jamie saw it, used Starfall to break him out of stealth, so nice play from Jamie. Denies a lot of mana regeneration there. Waz manages to stun Jamie out of form, but not long enough. With no CC on Zonica, he gets Earthen Shield Totem protecting him. Fell Lord, offensive from Swapsy, trying to find a kill. They clone up Waz at low HP. Maru blinks away from the Fell Lord. He doesn't want to mess with that demon whatsoever. Maru now defensively sheeping Swapsy. Zonica instantly dispelling. It was a very fast dispel. Jamie looking for a Full Moon. You don't normally want to cast Full Moon on a mage. They have an honor talent called Prismatic Cloak, and when they blink, they become immune to all magic effects for 1.5 seconds. So if you blink right as Full Moon finishes, you can immune that big incoming burst. So Jamie's definitely going to want to look for Full Moons on the Druid and Poike or the Rogue Waz before he tries to do it on Maru, unless he knows Maru doesn't have a blink. In that situation, it would be all right, but either way, he's forced into bear form once again on the defense. Zonica getting polymorph there, but a good CC chain of Fear on Maru. Solar Beam on Minpoike just denied all that incoming CC, and Enjoy Legion are breaking up the CC extraordinarily well to stay alive this long. We're now at 17% dampening, 17% healing reduction. Zonica caught into a full blind. Waz needs to make sure that he lands the sap out of this blind. He goes for the kidney shot, and he overlaps it with the polymorph. A huge miscommunication. They're forced to swap. They're trying to capitalize on that error and try and get something out of it. But Zonica switches Earth Shield. He should be able to survive with his Astral Shift. Jamie clones up Waz. Might look to rotate that clone on Maru here shortly as well. Polymorph's being spammed out by Maru. We can see Celestial Alignment out from Jamie. He's looking for a lot of pressure. He needs to try and find a kill or a lot of cooldowns with this. He's not getting it, and Poike is able to heal through it very easily, hiding behind the pillar. Maru and Waz retreat. They don't want to throw the match. They just want to avoid it. They want to try and get Minpoike some mana and bait Jamie off the pillar, off of this defensive position.
Yeah, that blind, like, even though it didn't look the best, it kind of baited them into doing a different strategy, which was hitting Zonica, and they forced the Astral Shift once again from him. I'd really like to see them swap back over to him and maybe tunnel him down just a little bit. It's a bit risky now that Dampening's at 23%, though. It might be a bit late. They're just going to tunnel down Pupas, play the safe strategy of hitting this Boomkin, even though they're not really doing any damage to him, so you might be like, well, why are they hitting him? They force him into bear form, which means he's doing basically no damage. He has these Moonfires, which you can see him spamming in the bear form, but he loses the Sunfire, and he doesn't really get to cast too much either. Minpoike now caught up into the Solar Beam. They actually get the swap now, perhaps onto Zonica. They force the Earth Shield. They're going to swap it back over. to Jamie on the Moonkin a little bit, but at the same time, they're really struggling to get any real pressure right now, and the longer this game goes, you feel the harder it's going to be for Minpoike to keep up. Dampening already at 26%, his mana's at 50%, he's getting the Cyclone, but he gets locked out. He could fall really far behind here. Jamie back in the bear form, just sitting in it the entire game with Foul Lord to protect him as well. He gets locked out on the Cyclone there, and he's really struggling to get anything done, but they just have to keep surviving, I think, and they may well just win this one.
Yeah, it looks like there's still a lot of pressure on Jamie. Zonica fully blinded, but the Meteor ends up breaking it. They would have been able to kill, I think, if that blind ended up sitting full. So with the blind gone, I don't know if they have enough crowd control to really finish off Jamie here. They find the full polymorph. Swapsy needs to be careful. He needs to break up the follow-up polymorph. They're going to use Solar Beam instead. Waz might want to capitalize and try and stun him out of form, but Jamie denies it with a bash. Minpoike clones up Jamie at low HP instead. So back and forth counterplay here. Jamie once again forced into bear. They dodge the capacitor totem. Well played from Waz and Maru there. That might have cost them a big cooldown if they got stunned. Zonica caught into a bash, but they get the polymorph, but it's DR'd, and now Zonica's immune to polymorph, which means that Enjoy Legion should finally be able to get some counter pressure going. It looks like Jamie's looking for a Cyclone, doesn't find it, gets kicked by Waz. Minpoike gets stunned. Swapsy might look to solo him. The Blade Storm from the pet is cleaving him down, but Jamie is just getting crushed. The bear form is not enough. He's just going to go down. Gormaz bite connects, and Zonica cannot keep the match going. Fell Lord offensively from Swapsy, looking for a cross kill, not going to find it, and Northern Gaming will advance. Enjoy Legion have been eliminated.
Yep. Beautiful play in the end from Northern Gaming. I thought that the higher dampening got, the more the LSD2 might benefit, but it seems it was quite the opposite. Northern Gaming were just more than happy to play till dampening because Jamie is unable to do any damage sitting in that bear form, and at the end of the day it's going to be him that falls on the Moonkin. It was a good try, definitely survived to higher dampening than well, this is the highest dampening game we've seen in the entire tournament, so they did a good job of surviving the onslaught, the constant crowd control coming out from Northern Gaming, but it wasn't enough. Northern Gaming getting to take that game, and 3-2 in the series, they will advance to the grand final.
Yeah, I hope you guys can hear me fine, by the way. If you can't, then I will have to stop talking, unfortunately. So just let me know if it's just bad. I'm just had some little rough time with my mic yesterday. I guess you guys don't need any more information, but anyways, it was a really good game, and they were able to survive. The team of Jamie and Zonica were able to survive longer than Laser's Chicken's team actually, and it's just like they were actually almost able to dampen him. One of the different talent choices was Jamie playing that Relentless. How do you feel as a Boomkin Subatees, the Trinket versus Relentless as against a Sub-Rogue? We saw Laser Chicken was opting for the Trinkets, still playing the Renewal instead of Displacer Beast, but Relentless was a choice from Jamie.
I think Relentless is better. I mean, it could be risky.
I don't think it's what made the difference, but it felt like he was able to get out of more of the cheap shots and maybe put more pressure when he wanted to, perhaps.
I think if he's forced into bear form so much that they need to focus less on triple dotting and focus on crowd control in that matchup. Like, look for triple fears on Minpoike. Just take him out of the game that way. They have enough damage to kill Waz and Maru, the mage, is like just as a two-player dot and burst both of them down. Because he doesn't have enough global cool. They just don't have enough global cooldowns to maintain a triple dot. There's no way. Between all of the crowd control and constantly being in bear, they can't get enough global cooldowns to actually maintain triple dot strategy. Even though they're doing like a lot of damage, it's not as much as they could if they weren't in that much control. And I think it would be better overall, like to just not dot Minpoike. Fear him. I mean, maybe he's running Vim and Vigor. Maybe later in the game you start dotting him. But at the start of the game, I think controlling him would get more cooldowns and would force them away. And then you can come out of bear form. Then you're casting. Then they're really terrified. And if you've got the rogue mage behind a pillar and they're not attacking you, you drop Starfall on them. You just start AoEing them, and that's when you're starting to win. But they tried to like triple dot and play this like maximized PvE rotation, and really not going to be able to. If the Warlock's just sheep 3 times and the rogue stuns a Boomkin 3 times, you're never going to reach that critical mass as the LSD where you can run them over.
Yeah,
right.
That's kind of how it worked, right? Like they just couldn't ever quite get to that point, and in the end it turned out that the RMD was able to secure the series. So we'll just have a little look at the brackets implication of that. We're going to have attempt 2 at this. We're going to have our finalists now. So our top two teams, ABC versus Northern Gaming Blue. That's going to be ABC, of course, the team of Daisy Duke, Nixie, and Askraf on the Restodruid, playing against Mimpoike, Maro, and Waz playing this RMD-Boomkin Mage. It should be a very exciting series. It's of course going to be a best of 7. It's just going to be the one single series. It's just on the Battle 5. We can't, for some reason, remove the second one. So this is completely level. Both teams are 0-0. One best of 7 to decide who goes away with our grand prize today. Well played by Enjoy Legion. They will go away with the third place prize, of course. And then, yeah, so once we have this, we'll have our tournament completed. So who do you guys think has the edge going into this final, well, going into the grand final?
I think Zuniaki is probably, I can guess what he's going to pick.
No bias, of course. No, listen, what I would say is that the advantage can come more to the team of ABC simply because they may run a different comp, even though I don't think they will, simply for ego reasons. They may just try and bust out the classic RMD mirror. They do have an advantage in the sense that they know what the other team is going to pick. They almost know for sure that NG is going to pick RMD. So they could be in a situation where they're like, maybe they have a good comp against it. Maybe I'm not sure if Warrior Mage does better than Rogue Mage. To be honest, I am not sure. But they do have that little blind pick advantage, I think. So it's going to come down if they decide to do a classic RMD mirror or try to surprise them with something else.
I don't think we'll see anything other than a mirror. I mean, maybe Fury Warrior is like way more pressure on a mage. I could see that.
I'm not sure. We saw a lot of Nixie Warrior in the past, and I feel like he's pretty confident on it. So we may see him play that specialization. Then again, it's hard to know. There's always the ego. You kind of always want to prove that you're the better rogue mage. So that may come into play, and we'll have to see what both ABC and NG decide to bust out.
Yeah, it's nice to see in chat as well. They've definitely got a fan favorite going. There's a lot of Minpoike subscribers. Of course, go check out these guys' streams. I think a lot of the people on, certainly on Northern Gaming, are quite big streamers. Waz, Maro perhaps not so much, but Waz and Minpoike definitely big streamers. So definitely be on to check out their channels. Hopefully we can get a nice host going after the stream as well, so maybe we can see if we can host one of those guys after the broadcast. We'll have to see on that one. But it's fantastic to see so much support, so much love going around the WoW esports scene with these players. And we'll get to see if it will be that RMD mirror. I think that would be quite a hype way to end the tournament.
Right, sure. It's definitely going to be interesting as sub. As Assassination, it was very, very like explosive games. It was very hard for both druids to out-heal the damage. Now, with the subtlety being back into the meta, it is a bit more easy for the healer to deal with the damage, right, Subtleties? I mean, you can probably confirm since you also play Rest of Druid. It's much easier, I would say, to deal with the sub-rogue damage rather than Assassination on top of the Fire Mage CC.
No, yeah, I mean, when you're actually able to heal, it's way better to heal. Obviously, Subtlety has got its own strength and its ability to control rather than its damage, so it's kind of dealt in a different way.
Right.
Me personally, I find it more frustrating to heal through Assassination Rogue because it's not how you expect to lose. You're kind of like, well, I'm not polymorphed, I'm healing you, but you're still dying. So it's not how you expect to lose, but when you face Subtlety, and they get a really good CC chain and you don't stop it, then it's like, yeah, okay, I expected to lose. So in a way, I prefer to fight Subtlety just because I'm understanding like why I'm losing a little bit more easily. But I don't think sub is bad either. I think sub is still very good.
Oh yeah, we definitely saw it. Both ABC and NG ran that RMD pretty well, and it definitely paid off for them. It's going to come down to who has, I would say, the most CC. Usually in RMD mirrors, which mage can get the most CC as well as damage. Damage always come into effect in these mirrors, but also who can land more double CC. Askarat and Daisy Duke have been playing a lot together, and I know they're really good at that synergy cross CC. Every time you're going to see like a kidney, I believe, onto the opposing healer. The mage or the Druid is probably going to be pushing either for a sheep, a cyclone, or something. Any type of CC is very, very gonna put their team or their respective team into a lot of dominant position.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting seeing. Like we can't wait to actually see the games. Of course, the only thing that's holding us back right now, guys, just to keep you in the loop with the delay, is of course they have played 3 series in a row, Northern Gaming, so it's perfectly reasonable. I think that they take a quick 5 minutes here, but they are now ready to lock in their composition. We're just waiting on ABCs to lock in as well, and then we're going to have our first game. This will be the blind pick on Nagrand Arena to start off our best of 7 grand final. Nagrand Arena is ready. Let's see what the compositions are going to be. Are we thinking RMDs?
Oh, what? Okay.
It's not. Okay.
I actually didn't. He must know something that we don't. I mean, I've never seen this matchup since the changes.
I actually didn't, but as I said, maybe they know something that we don't either. I haven't seen this matchup at all. I did not expect Nixie to play it, but I thought, they know that NG will play RMD for sure, so they kind of have a little advantage on the blind pick. And they might think that Arms Warrior might actually be better than a sub-rogue in this particular mirror.
Do you? I still think Fury... I mean, you don't have Mortal Strike, but Fury Warrior hitting a mage for like 3 seconds, all cooldowns, is... like, you can global them. I would say Fury Warrior might be one of the best specs to kill a mage with. So Arms Warrior, it brings a lot of utility, a lot more utility than Fury, and obviously the Mortal Strike effect and Sharpened Blade to reduce healing. So you can use Sharpened Blade to extend your CC chain. If they get a full polymorph on Minpoike, that's 8 seconds. Then let's say he comes out and they use Sharpened Blade. Even though Minpoike is not CC'd, it's still almost the same as if he was. So Arms Warrior does have quite a bit of synergy that way, but we'll have to see how it plays out. A sap on Daisy Duke early on. This is not actually a very good situation. Everyone in CC. Daisy Duke trinkets out right away, tries to get into the fight to deflect some more incoming CC, but unfortunately doesn't follow it up. Not able to get the Ring of Frost. Bash on Minpoike, trying to get a Ring of Frost again. Waz doesn't allow it, and now a full blind on DJ Batman. This could easily be the ice block in the earlier stages. CC is going out from Northern Gaming like crazy. Triple fear out from Nixie to reverse the pressure. Well done. And now Maru in a bit of trouble. Down below half, Minpoike innervates, desperately trying to spam heal through the pressure. Maru trying to polymorph Nixie, trying to get control of the fight. Not really able to find the DJ Batman with an instant dispel. Daisy Duke is finally recovered, and now they push offensive. They force the tree farm out from Minpoike, and the Warriors really dishing out the pain.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was no CC after the blind onto DJ Batman, and he was able to top Daisy Duke. Actually, nice clone offensively onto Daisy Duke. He's going to stop some of that healing. Poike isn't in a tree form. He should be able to top Marrow slowly off of that Mortal Strike pressure, and the Arms Warrior damage just relentless on top of him. On top of that, he's a gnome, so Nixie Warrior has so much uptime on to bot Marrow. We see the Stormwall actually use a bash onto Poike cross CC. What a cross CC from the Warrior Mage Druid. Unfortunately, not able to get that sheep onto Poike, so he should be able to top Marrow slowly off. We see the bash onto DJ Batman X. Let's see if the clone comes up. Nice clone by Poike, but pre-armbar by Athgarat, that is DJ Batman, is going to stop Daisy Duke from a certain death.
Yep, Nixie sticking over to Maru for now. It seems like the mages are the focus target as Maru dips dangerously low. Temporal Shield gets activated. Will it be enough? I believe they actually got it off. They forced his Cauterize. This might be his Ice Block as well. He's caught into the Stormbolt. Nixie connects. Mortal Strike after Mortal Strike. Maru trying to get control of the fight. He's trying to hold on to his Ice Block as long as he can. I'm wondering if Nixie meant to reflect that Polymorph. It healed Maru back quite a significant amount, and then Minpoike was able to clone Nixie. Kidney shot on DJ. Cheap shot on Daisy Duke. Northern Gaming are all over the place, but Nixie breaks it up with a well-timed fear. Amazing play from Nixie, breaks that pressure up. Now it's a Daisy Duke is going to be able to stay offensive over onto Maru. DJ Batman forced in a tree farm, gets blinded on the tree farm. Well played from Waz. Nixie caught in a polymorph. Northern Gaming CC chains are sick. They need more though. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to polymorph a tree, so DJ Batman's going to have free reign for at least another 10 or 15 seconds. He moves in. He's looking for CC. Finds the Basham and Poike. Looks for the Cyclone. Gets the Cyclone, but unfortunately it's DR'd. A bit of a misplay there, and now Minpoike should have free reign to start healing Maru. Nixie's trying to keep up the pressure. Leaps on top of him. Doesn't find it. Temporal Shield will deflect a lot of this pressure from Maru. Daisy Duke not able to get that off. He Sharpened Blades the Temporal. Nice play from Nixie. That keeps his momentum. Maru down to 30. Minpoike really struggling here.
Yeah, he's struggling. The motorcycle face so hard to deal with, but Daisy in the meantime is dropping so low. Artifact from DJ Batman should top it off. Marrow has to block. Cauterize was not available, and one of the main differences is that Marrow is playing Temporal Shield, but Daisy Duke has Clep, so every time Marrow uses that Temporal Shield, Daisy Duke can simply spell seal it off. So an interesting choice from both mages. Pressure is on the team of NG. Block is not available. Armbark is ready though for Poike. He's casting for a clone. He's actually gonna get it off onto DJ Batman X, but Marrow is dropping dangerously low. Daisy Duke still has Cauterize and Block, so he should be fine. Poike put into the bash. The 4-off is gonna land. Marrow's in some deep trouble. Waz has to do some peeling, but he is cloned. Full Stormbolt onto bot Marrow. DR Shiva to Poike. Mario is in some big trouble. He has no Temporal Shield. DR clone. I think Marrow is probably gonna fall down, and the execute finishes Marrow. Nixie Warrior on top of that game and just destroying Marrow.
Yeah, what an interesting game. We were expecting the mirror to come out from ABC, but instead they know, like you say, that Northern Gaming will run this Rogue Mage Druid, and they choose to go for the Warrior. The Fury Warrior doing so much damage in this game, you can just see. Actually, he did pretty similar damage to Waz, but it just felt like they had so much pressure. It was quite a kind of a back and forth game, but in the end, Nixie and ABC are able to take it with the execute, and that is going to be... I mean, I guess it certainly wasn't something we expect. Do you think the MS from the Warrior made a huge difference in this game?
I think his fears, like he had 2 really good fears. His entire team was about to get CC'd twice in that game, and he just feared everyone away. He was in the best position to break it up. Then he had some really good sharpened blades on Temporal Shield. That's one mechanic that you don't have as the Subtlety Rogue to play around with. So the Temporal Shields were basically half as effective as Daisy Duke's. So he definitely played the Warrior to its like full potential in that matchup. He made it look easy.
And that's the other great thing about Arms Warrior, right? Like you have the sharpened blade as well, and he did a brilliant sharpened blade onto one of the Temporal Shields from Mario. That's the kind of play which makes such a huge difference in the game, presumably.
Yeah, it's on top of that, he was playing the dual talent, a talent that we haven't seen too much because it wasn't working properly in the previous hotfixes. He was playing dual, so reducing a lot of Marrow's damage. I'm not sure if he was using it on Marrow or was that game, but what it does, it basically just reduces the target's damage by 50%. For I think it's around 10 seconds. So he has an extra tool on top of the disarm onto Waz. Warriors have quite a bit of utility now, more than ever, I feel like.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say though, from like I play with Warriors quite often, I think that they could kill him in a swap. Like no hots later in the game, stun lock him and kill him. He's playing Gnome and not Human, so he doesn't have 2 ways to get out of stuns.
Probably seeing a lot of battle too.
Yeah, and I think they could punish him.
Yeah. So do you think? I feel like NG were kind of thrown off after after this game. A lot of the time, Waz's Thorn in the Blinds they were not able to get like CC. I feel like if they could somehow get CC after the blind, it just seemed really hard for Marrow to get these sheeps off. I think they were a bit thrown off at this WMD pick, and we were just expecting a mirror, and just maybe did not prepare as much as they wanted to against this matchup. I feel like if they're more ready for this and get a bit more CC onto DJ Batman X, they can get more pressure onto Daisy. Of course, Marrow was actually playing a Temporal Shield. I think he may have mispicked it because Temp Shield seems to be useless if the other mage has Klepto, right? The mage can just Klepto all the hots back. On top of that, he can steal the Temporal Shield. So Daisy Duke had an advantage in regards to that.
He went Assassination, Waz did. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm wondering
maybe that MS was the difference in his opinion.
I guess we're going to find out. So Waz opting to go Assassination. That's going to give him a lot more single target pressure, but it's going to eliminate his swap potential. So Nixie is going to be able to play a lot more aggressively. He leaped in right on top of Maru, denied the invisibility, but Maru deflects it with a Dragon's Breast Sheep. Now Nixie's CC'd on the opposite side of the map. DJ Batman gets in there and dispels it, but now he's caught into a bash. Minpoike follows it up with a clone. They're going after Daisy Duke. They've got him locked down in a 3v2. Nixie's trying to get back over to Maru. Vendetta gets popped onto Daisy Duke. DJ Batman pops that tree form right away, trades that cooldown out quite evenly. He dashes in. He's looking for a CC chain. Maru's in trouble. Down to 11%. This could easily be the Cauterize. The Cauterize and the Ice Block with just a bash. Nixie smash face. Northern Gaming are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that pressure from the arms warrior is just insane. But those were the cooldowns from Nixie Warrior. Let's see if he can put up the pressure throughout the game. That was also the Vendetta from Waz. It is now not available, and DJ Batman X just simply denied it with an armbark in the tree form. So he should be able to save Daisy Duke for a little bit. Here's the full blind onto DJ Batman X. Decides to actually sit it despite playing Trinket. Interesting choice. We'll see if the Sheep comes out. The Sheep does come out on top of DJ Batman X. Daisy Duke is in trouble. Nixie Warrior breaking that root with a gnome. Rachel should be able to stop the Reese's. Full bash, actually trinketed by DJ Batmanik, wants to make sure Daisy Duke stays nice and safe in health. And Bot Marrow now, pressure is onto him. Armbark was used previously onto from Minpoikis, full Stormbolt onto Marrow. Bot Marrow does not have a block, so next CDs from Daisy and Nixie could be his death.
Yep, Maru is in a lot of danger right now, down about 50%. Waz can't save him. He's locked in a Cyclone. Minpoikis just, he can't find the opportunity to heal. He gets fully cloned, and Maru goes down. ABC leading the series now 2-0 and looking very confident with their Warrior Mage Druid.
Yeah, this Arms Warrior Nixie is just destroying Mario. It's insane. Like, they don't... The CC chains, I bet if we look at the CC after this game, it's going to be really even between the two Druids. Let's have a look. And Minpoike's actually CC'd... Yeah, so they're CC'd for basically the same amount of time. I'm assuming it's reasonably accurate. And it's insane that, like, the damage output from Nixie just feels like it's so bursty. When he's able to get the sharpened blade off that as well, like they just can't out-heal it, and Minpoike is struggling so much to keep Mara alive.
It almost felt like Sub was better. The pressure from was there too as Assassination. Was it enough? I'm not sure, and now he's kind of in a situation where he either has to go back to Sub or maybe pull out the Waz Warrior. I'm not sure. I know that Waz used to play Warrior, but didn't play it at all in the recent times. So I'm curious to see what option they're going to pick. Of course, it's going to be a best out of 7, so they still have a few more games to decide or maybe change their strategies. I feel like they could win a Sub too, but that pressure from Nixie Warrior is just relentless. He just on top of Marrow all game, doesn't let him play his game, and just able to shut him down. And as you were saying, the mortal strike and I forgot the name. What's the name of the
Sharpened blade?
Sharpened blade, there you go. Sharpened blade seems to be so powerful, especially used at the right time, just denying all of Poike heals. So yeah, I think they do NG that is still have a chance as Subtlety if they can get BCC rolling. That is my pick. We'll see if Was decides to pick Assassination. He might think that it is slightly better for pressure, but it seems like Athgaro was healing it through it pretty easily.
Yeah, I think they were definitely doing better in the subtlety rig, so we'll see if they go back to that, or if they just try something completely different. I mean, they do have other compositions available to them. Maybe even, I don't know, like I wonder, the thing with Arms Warrior is you could kite them. Maybe they could even try like some Frost Mage, Holy Paladin comp or something, and try just kite the Warrior a little bit better or something. I'm not entirely sure what the best solution is going to be, but it's definitely up to them. Of course, this is a best of 7 series, so they do have a couple more attempts, but 2-0 ABC is definitely not the way you want to kick off the series as Northern Gaming.
I think as Subtlety they win by swapping Warrior. I don't think they can win the Mage race. I think they just need to just swap more in general, like go after Mage, and once they've used up their CCDRs on the healer, then switch to the Warrior instead, just put him on stun DR. Because he's not getting controlled enough. He's just 100% uptime almost, it seems like, on a Mage, and they could make that not the case if they're putting more pressure on him.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I mean, that's the advantage they have as the Subtlety Rogue, right? They have on-demand stuns, whereas the Warriors bring only one. But if they're just only using their stuns on the Mage, then they're not really capitalizing on the full effect.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it may be like their only option at this point. They're down 2-0. The thing is, I feel like Warriors have just so much health that as long as he can survive, the cheap shots burst or the swap burst from this rogue mage Druid, he should be able to survive. And so as long as he's back into the defensive stance, he should be nice and healthy. Athgar has been doing a pretty good job at healing through the damage. So even though it may be the only option for NG to actually go on the Warrior, that Nixie that is, I'm not sure if he's actually going to die. He has quite a good amount of cooldowns. As you said, he's not human, and he's playing Relentless, so a swap onto him could potentially be deadly, but is it enough? I'm not sure if 3 cheap shots is enough to kill an arms war, even in battle sense.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for sure. And I mean, they can. I don't know. Like it seems like this Warriors is doing way more in the matchup. But anyways, I just want to take this opportunity since the teams are deciding what comps they want to lock in right now. Of course, we do allow them a few minutes in order to do that between games. So I'm going to shout out some subscriptions. We got a 15-month resubscription from the one and only Jamillionaire. Thank you so much for that resubscription. Of course, he's been a long time supporter of GCD. I remember when there were. They've always been, obviously, with everything you do in life, if you're doing anything worthwhile, there's going to be some critics, and he's always been a long-time supporter. So thank you so much for that resubscription. And his note was Dame Champ. So I guess that's referring to his shaman, which I've seen him be daming people on a little bit over recent months. Of course, you can check out his stream as well, twitch.tv/Jamillionaire. And then we got a new subscription from Yaninza. Yaninza, thank you so much for that subscription. Welcome to the GCD team. Hopefully we can provide some awesome content for you over the coming months as well. In fact, we have some very exciting stuff planned, which I can't go into any real details about right now, except for our next event, of course, which is going to be the North American one, which we announced earlier in the broadcast and we'll do again, presumably after this next game. So thank you so much for the ongoing support, guys. Very much appreciated. We are waiting to see if it is going to be that Subtlety Rogue again coming from Northern Gaming, or if they're going to go for something even more crazy. We've seen quite a lot of surprises in this tournament, actually. I think this is the first tournament where the majority of teams have actually come up with something that we haven't seen them play before. What do you guys think? I mean, we've seen Boomkins all around. We saw Jamie playing as DK. Like, we saw all these new classes that I don't think we've ever seen in a tournament situation from these players. So that's kind of awesome to see.
Yeah, Nixie is definitely showing his versatility. I think we've seen him play Elemental Shaman, Rogue, and Warrior in this tournament. Alone. I don't know if he plays anything else, but Nixie's definitely an MVP, I think, on their team. Of course, Asgaroth and Daisy Duke's synergy as the Mage Druid backs that up phenomenally, but he's also showing a lot more adaptability by being able to change to so many different classes.
Yeah, you might have seen, like, on broadcast, I don't know, people have a go at my smug grin from time to time, but I just got a big grin across my face because I've just been told what the comp lock-ins are for the next game, and we were right, they are going to try something completely new. Again, we haven't seen it yet in this stream, so this should be very interesting. Waz, I know he is very practiced on this class. Maybe a couple of you can guess what he's going to be playing in this next game. I can't wait to get into this one and show it to you.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing in stream chat? I can't believe what he picked.
Yeah, this is interesting. So we're waiting to see. We're waiting to get the teams queued up now. We do have the composition lock-ins. I can't wait to show you this because this has been. We've seen from Waz so far. We've seen the Moonkin. We've seen Poike on the Paladin. We've seen it on the Restodrid. We've seen all kinds of class stacking and all sorts during this tournament. Pretty much, we've had the entire kind of entree of starters and main meals. But now for dessert, we're going to have another beautiful class stacking combination coming out of Northern Gaming. Just waiting to see if we can get into the game. This is going to be the map Ashramain's Pool for Game 3, 2-0 in favor of ABC. So Northern Gaming are going to have to swap it up just a little bit. One more time. They've got to try something. They succeeded last time they brought out the Boomkin. Are they going to succeed now with this new composition? It is going to be the Resto Druid, Fire Mage, and the Feral Druid coming out of Waz.
I'm surprised when Poike wouldn't play Paladin.
Yeah, that's a pretty reasonable thing to say, I think. But the Resto Druid has also done a fantastic job of out healing these mages over the tournament as well. This should be very interesting. This is one of those comps where it's either going to be fantastic, they're going to have loads of pressure because the mage isn't going to be able to kite the feral at all, or the feral is just going to flop, I think, and they'll lose really quickly, and it'll be really embarrassing. It'll be one of those two things.
I mean, Incarnation is a pretty terrifying cooldown for any healer to deal with. So as long as DJ Batman and Nixie and Dizzy Duke are ready for that and can deflect it, then I think they're going to do fine. So look to see if Waz gets a good Incarnation off in the early parts of this match, because if he doesn't, it's not going to be too good for his team.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to see the opener. Nixie Boy is just trying to connect to Mario. Mario just lining him. Nothing really happening right now since, of course, Waz is in stealth. He actually gets the opener onto Daisy Duke, so he's going to start up the game, getting his bleeds out, get the Ferocious Bite dot as soon as possible. Of course, that will reduce Daisy Duke's overall HP by 25%. The Cyclone onto Askarov, actually so much pressure. Cauterized procs immediately. Is he just going to go down? He blocks. Such a great opener for Northern Gaming. They come out the gates flying.
Yep, Waz form Incarnation paying out there. He gets a re-stealth. Unfortunately, he gets pulled back by the Ursul's Vortex, and DJ Batman's going to bash him up. Maybe look for a Cyclone, not able to find it. Waz leaps right back onto Daisy Duke. Now, ABC are trying to get some momentum on Maru. They need to try and counter-pressure a block here very quickly if they want to take this game, because they're heavily behind. DJ Batman gets stunned on his tree form, and Poike moves in to clone out of it. Not able to find it. Daisy Duke denies him with a Dragon's Breath. Unfortunately, couldn't follow it up with a Polymorph. When Poike goes for the clone again, he's going to get that. Daisy Duke now with no Ice Block, no Cauterize, and a lot of danger if they can keep this control going. Another Cyclone on DJ Batman, denying the rest of that tree form healing. He's looking for a Polymorph out of the tree form. He's trying to time it. Doesn't find it. DJ Batman Shadow Melds. He goes for it again. He shapeshifts in Bear. Good avoidance from DJ Batman on those Polymorphs, but Maru goes for a Ring of Frost. They get the Ring of Frost. In the meantime, though, Nixie War's been chopping away at Waz. Waz is down to 30%. He got dueled. His damage is going to be reduced. Now he's fully stunned. Sharpened Blade is up. Minpoike caught in the bash. Minpoike uses his tree form to try and save Waz. That poor little kitty, trying to keep him going. He's managed to stabilize him with his tree form, and now Daisy Duke really has nothing left. This is so scary for Daisy Duke.
But at the same time, a beautiful double fair from Nixie is going to keep Daisy Duke alive for now. Askarov is playing relentless, of course, so 1cc could easily end the game. Daisy Duke, a nice low Cyclone from Minpoike. He's in a lot of trouble. If they can follow up the CC, there is the meme. Do they have follow-up? Minpoike going for the Cyclone. He fakes the CS. He gets the Cyclone. Daisy Duke in so much trouble, down to 3%. He's surely going to go down to the dots. A huge heal from the Swiftman is going to keep him alive temporarily. The DR Cyclone, that gap in the Cyclones might be enough to keep him alive. No, the bash from Minpoike is going to secure it. Northern Gaming with that double druid, the Feral on Waz, looking like a completely different team in that one. I can't... he did so much damage in that game.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think ABC were expecting that.
Look at his damage as well. That's insane.
I mean, it's super effective, that Ferocious Bite Honor talent that reduces your max HP. That reduces all of the percent based healing that the mage does. So it actually is like really good into a fire mage. So
yeah,
I'm glad that they thought of that and tried it.
Yeah, I mean, the Ferocious Bite debuff, just to, for people who don't know, because it's kind of new, I guess, it's like the honor talent that reduces, whenever he Ferocious Bites for 5 combo points, it reduces their health by 25%, I think it is. So, like, that's a 25% healing or, like, health reduction, which means you're just that extra bit more prone to the burst damage that comes out of just mage teams in general. And, like, that showed at the start, they got the Incarnation, they immediately forced that Ice Block Cauterize. And then the second swap, as soon as they got those cooldowns back, and the Minpoike with the beautiful fake on the CS, getting the 3 Cyclones into the bash was enough to secure them that game. So just a well-rounded game from Northern Gaming, and now the series is tied back to 2-1. Anyone can play for this win, for sure.
It's best of 7 still, right?
Yep, it is.
All right, so we're still maybe quite a long ways to actually finding a victor. I wonder if Nixie's going to be forced off the Warrior now into something else, or maybe Askaroth changes. Maybe he can play Paladin. I mean, having the blessing and protections to deal with the Feral Druid could be super effective for him as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, do you think ABC should swap anything up now that they're fighting against this Feral Druid? Maybe this is the time where you bring back Nixie on the Rogue, because Rogue Mage Druid has traditionally been fantastic against Feral Druids. It's just so good at, just killing them. Like, there's not much the Feral can do about it often.
That's probably better, I think. It seemed like at the start they were going after Maru, and then they opted. They said at a certain point where this is just not going to work. Daisy Duke can't support him, and he was constantly getting dragged away and polymorphed. So he came back and started hitting Waz more. When he was hitting Waz, they were getting way more pressure. It made me think maybe if they were attacking him from the start of the game, that would have been a little bit different. They would have got more cooldowns, because Waz would overextend in the line of sight when Poike, right? So maybe it was a target decision that cost them. That could still maybe even be winnable as WMD.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it could definitely be winnable. I mean, it's like this game wasn't completely one-sided. They had a lot of. I think at the start they were trying to connect to Maro too much, and then when they started going after Waz, it looked slightly more promising for them. But I mean, overall, these guys have still got to figure this out. Again, Northern Gaming bringing out a comp that you don't traditionally see very often, so they have to figure out the strategies. They did have that 2-0 advantage. They say ABC definitely will have the time to figure out what they want to do in this matchup.
I think
I guess.
our...
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can
I'm
hear
back.
you.
Back
Back.
with another mic.
Attempt 3.
Back with another. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry
is
about
good.
that. Should be okay now, I guess. And so, just quickly on this last game that we saw, I feel like we're having a replay of what we saw in the early Legion slash regional tournaments. Is people just playing new comps left and right, like things we have never seen before, like Warrior Mage. We haven't seen that in such a long time. Now we're seeing like some Feral Mage Resto Druid. Like what? This definitely feels like we're back to to meta discovering, and it's interesting to see on the least.
Yep. And did anyone swap anything in this match?
No, it's the same.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought ABC might want to change something up, maybe bring out the Rogue, but it looks like they're perfectly confident in their Warrior Mage Druid. The last game was close. Their strategy did change a little bit. Maybe they're going to tunnel down Waz a little bit more. What do you guys think about the choice from ABC to stick to the same comp?
Oh, I think Waz is ready for it, though. He's running the Tooth and Claw honor talent, which is something that's super effective for himself as a defensive honor talent, but he's going to lose his off-healing potential. So, I mean, I think he must be ready for them to go after him. So that's going to allow him to be a lot more
the
tanky.
regrowth spec, right? He's doing the regrowth spec for a bit more stealth survivability. Okay.
Yeah. So I think Waz is ready for this. Let's see if he can handle the pressure. I'm sure that ABC are going to go after him.
Yeah, and Waz is a competitor. He does not want to go for a win. We see Nixie leaping in once again, and actually gets Waz. No, he actually didn't get Waz out. Waz was still in that Feral in Prowl, looking to pounce his opener in his opponent. Sorry, and then we see actually a nice bash. Rafa is actually going to land on the DJ Man. Unfortunately, overlap with that Cyclone, so a bit of overlap CC. And Daisy Duke wasn't actually in invis that whole time, so no pressure from the team of NG.
Yeah, Daisy Duke, though, is finally getting reconnected as Waz activates his artifact Ashamanes and taking him down below half. DJ Batman opting to innervate here, trying to spam heal. Drops into Moonkin form to spam regrow so he can't be polymorphed. That's an interesting play. He does get bashed. And looks like Maru actually was forced to ice block, and Nixie Warrior striking back with a vengeance in this match. This looks like a completely different team.
Yeah, absolutely, and the pressure is on to Maro still. Has to train that Storm Bolt. Pokepom in tree form should be able to top. And actually, Waz is playing that Enraged Maim spec, so he was able to get that CC, that BG Batman trinket on his in card. Tree form pop by both Druid. The pressure from Waz is relentless right now onto Daisy Duke. Thorns are being used as well, slowing a bit of Nixie's damage, but he's actually still pummeling onto the target, and that is Maro full fear onto Poike. Is not going to do too much onto Maro. Should be fine. A full bash. Let's see if any sheep can come out. Looks like no. Full Stormbolt. Those Stormbolts are very, very hard for Maro, and the Shadow Blade comes in, and this might be the end for Maro.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. He gets Dragon's Breath 1 more second away from being executed. Maru trying to escape. He blinks away. Nixie caught in a stun. And he will not be able to finish off Maru, but that was a close call. Minpoike's Iron Bark doesn't come up for 15 seconds. Maru needs to kite like a god, doing good so far with that Frost Nova on Nixie. He's just staring at Maru saying, I'm coming, dude. I'm going to chop you up. He interrupts the Polymorph. Mortal Strike now up. He's down to half HP. At the same time, Waz has got Daisy Duke down to half, but Daisy Duke still has an Ice Block. I would like to see Daisy Duke just go all in, get the kill here, finish it, trade out the block if he has to, because they're so far ahead. Daisy Duke down to 15%. Surely he's going to need the block. DJ Batman holds on to it. Big Swiftman crit. Now Nixie leading the charge. Maru down below half. He Frost Novas again. He's desperately trying to kite away from Nixie, but that Dispel and the Nova saves him. They followed up with the stun, and it seems like Waz form with those off maim stuns is really saving Maru right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Daisy, as you said, still has his block available. Marrow is in a lot of pressure, put into a Stormbolt. Once again, Sharpen Blade and overlap. They don't even want to CC on Poike. They just want to go full damage. Bash comes in onto Min Poike. Sheep is actually interrupted on Daisy. Daisy may actually have to block right now. Cauterize still available, so he's trying to hold on to that CD for just a little longer. And full bash onto DJ Batman. No CC out of this. Repeat, Waz is playing that enraged main spec, so Marrow does not have to go for as much CC. Waz can just take care of that with the main incap. And Daisy Juke now into a little bit of trouble for full call onto Poike. I think it's going to be it for Marrow. Block is not available, and she should go down, execute, and then full bash. Okay, Nixie could save Bob Marrow for a little longer.
Oh my god, these off stuns are keeping Maru alive. Sharpen Blade is up, but Nixie gets cloned. Minpoike gets a critical clone, and now Waz goes for the maim on DJ Batman. They're looking for Daisy Duke's block. Will they have enough damage to find it? Full bleeds are up. Waz activates the artifact, but Maru gets storm bolted. He gets out. He frost over Nixie, but Nixie's playing Gnome, so he's able to get out of that route right away and reconnect. Daisy Duke still under pressure. Blinks away, down at 11%. Phoenix Flames proc the Cauterize. He's trying to hold on to the block. DJ Batman, can you do it? You cannot. The Dragon's Breath denies it. Ice Block has been forced, and Northern Gaming are clawing their way back. Maru, in the meantime, needs to pull off a miracle, though. Nixie might be able to finish him off. Pyroblast after Pyroblast. Maru blinks out of line of sight, but it's not enough. The Execute finishes his job, and ABC lead 3-1. They just need one more game to win the series and the tournament.
Indeed, the series and the tournament. A beautiful game. That was a lot closer. Both teams, ABC seemed to be a little bit less taken back in the second game, coming out the gates flying with the ice block forced immediately from Nixie. Beautiful stuff, honestly. And like you say, 3-1 in this series now. It is a best of 7, so one more win is going to secure the entire thing for the team. They just need to get that one more game. And honestly, now that they've proven they can win the matchup with WMD, do Northern Gaming have to swap over to another comp? Or do they try this one again and just try and play it a little bit more tight from the start of the game?
Personally, I don't think that they will change comps. I feel like they are content with what they've done. The game was extremely close. Once again, despite NG being on the back foot for so long, one of the main things that I think they could potentially change is as you said, Waz was playing without a tree growth spec, and they actually didn't go for him at all this game. I'm not sure if they knew or they just decided to just hit bot Marrow all game. That could be like a little talent swap they could do. But the game was very close, and on top of that, the incarnation from Waz was coming in about 20 seconds. So if they could have survived, a potential kill for NG may have happened.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I completely agree. I'd like to shout out, we got a $5 donation. I don't know if I meant to read all of this out, but I'll try. It says, $5 donation from Krunk. It says, go Poike, min 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 Poike. I'm not going to continue. It's
That's a lot of...
It's a lot of min Poike. It's a lot of power for Poike, so he's definitely going to need it. They're 3-1, or 1-3 in this series right now. They need to reverse sweep it with 3 wins in a row if they're going to turn this tournament into a victory. Of course, ABC have looked so strong. Even from the start of the series, when they got that 2-0 lead running the WMD into the RMD, it's definitely going to take some big overcoming from Northern Gaming, but of course, we've seen these guys overturn the odds several times before. So many times we've counted them out. Even in mirrors, we've counted them out like 0-2 down, and they just managed to somehow find some energy from you guys and convert it into victory. So this tournament isn't out of their reach just yet. It's not over until the ABC sings, so
What?
I don't know.
The ABCs.
Until the ABC secures another victory, so we have to see if they are able to do that. That is what we're waiting for. It is going to be Ruins of Lord Run for what could potentially be the final game coming out of the entire tournament, honestly. What do you think of Ruins from Northern Gaming? Do you think this suggests they're going to go for a different composition, or do you think it just means they want a little bit less space to attack Mara? Or, sorry, Daisy.
I mean, yeah, the less space, but I mean, less space goes back. I don't necessarily think the map really matters in this matchup, unless they do something really YOLO, which I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to keep going after Daisy Duke.
Do you think they could, sorry to interrupt, do you think they could actually go for DJ Batman X. He is playing Moonkin Affinity, Vim and Viger, Trinket. They could potentially swap to him. I'm not sure how much a Feral and a Mage can get to a Resto Druid. I know Resto Druid can sometimes escape, but it could be a potential target. They could surprise maybe one game DJ Batman X playing. But I think both Druids are actually playing that balanced affinity, so they don't expect a swap. But maybe a Feral and a Mage can punish a Resto Druid for it.
I mean, Feral Druid has notably been known to be difficult for a Resto Druid to deal with, but it's normally supported with a Mortal Strike or a Death Knight, not a Fire Mage. I think you're right. I think that they could punish the Vim and Vigor and the Boomkin Affinity. That could be an option for them if things are getting dicey. If they can get his Trinket out of the way, get his Tree Form out of the way with CC, and then go after him, that's definitely one way they could win. But if they don't have Incarnation, then I don't see them killing him, and I feel like he's always going to have Tree for every Incarnation. So
definitely a risky move. We'll see what they decide to pick.
I don't expect it.
I know Waz likes to do pull out some swaps like this, but I'm not sure if he has the confidence to do it on his alt, on his Feral Druid. He's opening up onto Daisy. Artifact is being popped. Ash full maim onto DJ Batman X. Sitting that Armbark was not used just yet. Poike displacing in, trying to get some CC. A full bash. He has to get Trinketed and Ironbark Daisy Duke, so he should be fine for a little bit.
Interesting. Waz is playing the Maim talent that makes Maim a polymorph DR in cap rather than a stun. So they can do Maims into bashes as a CC chain, and you can see it already got all of DJ Batman's cooldown. So if they can do that again, it might just be the ice block, and then do it again, it could be the end of the match. In the meantime, though, Nixie's trying to get some counter pressure. It lands a triple fear, going for the throat. Maru down to half, reconnects, and Poike in a Ring of Frost at the moment, and now into a Cyclone. This might be the block. Maru polymorphs Nixie, denied some burst from him. Now he gets fully rooted. In tree form, your Entangling Root is actually instant cast, so it's a nice little pick-me-up to CC that warrior. Nixie had to sit through 2 Entangling Roots, and now Daisy Duke is under fire, and that next Maim into stun could be his ice block. Ferocious Bite is up, lots of damage. Bash on the DJ Batman, forces the ice block immediately. They might even be able to follow that up, and Poike is looking for a clone. They land the clone. Daisy Duke is still dangerously low on health, and Poike is in tree farm. He's feeling good. Full rake stun, half clone on DJ Batman, and Waz looking to finish it. They proc the Cauterize. He's barely hanging on with that rallying cry. Ironbark stalls out the health bar for a few more seconds, but now he's caught into a full Maim. Do they have a bash out of the Maim is the question. I don't think they're going to be able to find it. A Maim into a Maim. Daisy Duke down below half into a bash. Daisy Duke not really adjusting to this new crowd control chain out from Waz. Now getting cloned up at low HP. Opts to Trinket out so that DJ Batman can heal him. And Poike blinks in to end the match. Is he going to be able to find the clone? In the meantime, though, Waz is getting counter-pressured. Sharpened Blade is up. He's down to 30%. He just got dueled, so his damage will be reduced on Daisy Duke. He's actually still dangerously low, and Poike needs to pick him back up. But now, with that full Maim onto DJ Batman, Daisy Duke surely is going to go down. He's down to 15%. Maim into Maim, and now into a full bash, and Daisy Duke should fall. He's trying to hang on. He's got 7% HP. It's not enough. And Maim into Maim is the new meme of 2017. I didn't actually know you could do that. So who needs polymorph? I mean, just Maim into Maim.
It's like, it's the Maim meme. He's maiming people.
He's memeing people.
Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, I didn't know you could do that either. That was... he was basically soloing the crowd control onto Asgraf that entire game. Twice he did Maim into Maim, the Maim meme, and then he did the full Mighty Bash stun off of that. So that's more
CC than a Subtlety Rogue, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
That's maybe Ferals are the new rogues now. That amount of CC he can put out is just ridiculous. And good job by Waz here, pulling out his Feral and managing to get that win, securing them at least another chance to get out and potentially defend and redeem themselves in this series, because ABC only needs one more game to tie the series and win the GCD Winter EU Tournament. So great job by both teams. Nixie were doing work as always, but it's just not enough. The CC, I think, is what gave the edge of NG this game.
Yeah, I mean, was he running that talent in the previous games? I think he used it the game
I don't
before
think he
this
was.
one. He did
I
use
thought
it
he
last
was,
game, I
but
think.
maybe
But
I was
I don't think he did
wrong.
in the first game, though. I think certainly
Yeah,
the
I mean-
first win, he didn't use it, but...
Okay, I thought he was using it in the previous game, but I think the icon looks the same regardless, and it's just the type of CC is, the nature of the CC is actually different. So I'm not quite sure.
Yep. Anyways, we'll see the meme into meme coming out from Waz multiple times. He's going to secure... Well, the series isn't quite tied up, but that's definitely scary because, I mean, there was signs of life from ABC in this game. Waz did drop a little bit low, but honestly, they didn't have too much pressure on Tomorrow. And Northern Gaming did seem to be in control of that game quite often, I think. So what do you think if you're ABC in this situation? You're 3-2 up in the series. You're still only one game away from winning the entire tournament, so you're still in a pretty good spot. Do you think about changing stuff up, or like what are your thoughts?
I think you should try Paladin healer, Warrior Mage Paladin.
I'm not sure if Athegrass has a Holy Paladin, but that could be a possible option. I'm not quite sure if he does. I don't believe so.
Because Maim breaks on damage, so if he sacks the Maims, then he can break himself out.
How about if he played Relentless? I feel like Relentless
That
could
would
be
be
a
good too,
option.
yeah.
The amount of CC, he was legit getting more CC than if Waz was playing as Rogue. It was ridiculous. And the fact that he can put a DR main like back to back is just insane. If Relentless could definitely help in a situation like this, where as a healer you have to deal with so much, constant CC from a team.
Yeah, I completely agree. They need to find some way of helping Asgraf out with that CC. I also wonder if he could maybe just kite away, like have Daisy Duke stand like 40, 50 yards away from him and just try and outrange the CC a little bit more, because when Waz is doing this maim, he still has to generate new combo points to get the DR maim, right? So maybe they're standing a little bit too close to each other or something. Like maybe he could make Waz make the choice, because Waz is still a melee class. Like here's the CC of a range class perhaps, but he's still a melee class. So he has to hit the guy he's trying to do damage to as well. So maybe if Daisy Duke was further away, what do you guys think? Could that, like make the CC slightly irrelevant?
I don't know how Waz is able to get that like this. I mean, I guess in a way he's not, right? His bleeds and his health reduction kind of just allow Maru to solo the target while he's doing all that CC, I think. I don't necessarily think that he needs to be all the time attacking his target as a Feral, so it's kind of supporting the way that he's playing.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, it's going to be Game 6 of the series now. This has become suddenly a very close series with this double druid from Northern Gaming. Definitely paying out dividends. They're actually 2-1 if you just take it as this particular matchup between the Warrior Mage Druid and the Feral Mage Druid. But unfortunately, they did lose the first two games as RMD, so they are still behind in the series. We have to see if Dalaran Arena is going to be the final resting place for Northern Gaming, or if they are able to pull the series back 3-3, in which case we will be built for an incredibly hyped Game 7.
I really like Nixie's transmog on all of his
Because he still have his
characters.
sticks.
He's a stick. He's literally got a stick. He's beating people up with a stick.
Oh, he has one stick because he's armed.
I have this powerful artifact weapon. Give me a stick.
I can't see his stick. I want to show it to the stream, but there it is. Beautiful.
All right, game 6. Game 6 now. Northern Gaming needs to win 2 to win the tournament. ABC only needs to win 1. Let's see who can come out ahead here with Dalaran Sewers. A very small, close-quartered map. It will pay out in favor of Waz's strategy of bouncing back and forth, using the Maim talent to make it on Polymorph DR rather than Stun DR, so he can incapacitate into a stun over and over, which is a very long CC chain on its own. And then Maru just sits back. He sits pretty, just lobbing up Pyroblast, doing his mage thing. Lots of damage. We can see early CC on Maru, and Waz here with that bash. Nixie seems to be going after Waz this game as opposed to Maru, so let's see how that pays out for him. Already got him down to about half with that Sharpened Blade. Waz is getting destroyed, down to 27%. Minpoke activates the tree form in a panic situation to try and stabilize. Waz's health has finally started to go up. Now he has Incarnation, but he gets fully feared. Minpoke's caught in it as well. They go for the Ring of Frost out of the fear, but he misses the Ring of Frost. A critical miss. Ring of Frost there from Daisy Duke denies the CC chain, and now Minpoke should be able to easily start topping Waz off.
Yeah, it looks like the strategy of Nixie and Daisy is to actually go into Waz this game, maybe trying to punish him more for his offensive plays. Tree form is activated, or is about to fade, from DJ Batman X. Looks like the pressure from NG is onto Daisy Duke, the mage. And the pressure seems to be more or less even at this point. Both Druid's Tree of Life is fading now. The pressure is onto Waz. He's playing Relentless, so every stun is going to be full. He cannot get out of these and he actually has the bear form activated, so it should be fine. The Stormbolt here is actually going to be landing on Poike. No sheep, unfortunately, from Daisy. And the mains, I think, are just breaking a little bit from time to time, because when they're stacking like this, the Fire Mage damage has a chance to cleave and potentially break the main from Waz.
Waz is still the focus target. It doesn't look like he has any survival instincts left. He's actually in quite a bit of danger. Then Poike trades out the Iron Bark, triple CC out from Northern Gaming, Daisy Duke down to half. He should be able to blink away, but they get a full polymorph. Daisy Duke's going to have to kite for quite some time, or just opt to use the ice block and counter pressure. I don't think he's able to get away from the fight. He's going to try to right now as he blinks to the center, but Waz reconnects. Nixie charges forward, Waz down below half. Then Poike is running out of steam, spam casting these regrowths. DJ Batman gets fully cloned. Nixie's caught in a sheep. Another clone. Daisy Duke in trouble. Cauterize should proc. He's saving the Cauterize proc. Decides to trade out his ice block before it happens instead. But now DJ Batman caught in a polymorph. Not able to really top him off. Finally out of CC. Dodges a polymorph with that Boomkin form. Should be able to get some heals going here on Daisy Duke, but Waz reconnects. They're going to Stormbolt Waz, trying to lock him down, trying to give Daisy Duke enough breathing room to get some counter pressure, but at this point, Nixie needs to basically solo him. Daisy Duke's trying to drag Waz behind the pillar. I think it's a good decision. Waz isn't able to follow after him. Nice positioning from Daisy Duke, buys him a couple seconds of breathing room, but they've got no control going on in Poike. It's just raw damage. Will raw damage be enough?
Yeah, Maro's doing a good job just trying to peel Waz as much as he can. Waz is taking so much damage from this Warrior and Mage. It's kind of hard for him to push. That's why the CC hasn't been too active on DJ Batman. As I say this, nice double CC. Poike and Maro are both full feared. Let's see if the Wrath can fall on Poike. No, it's going to get interrupted once again by the team of NG. And Daisy Duke now does not have a block. Incarn is coming in 24 seconds. A DR Sheep onto Nixie, trying to stop some of that damage. And as I said, the Incarn should maybe finish Daisy Duke off. We see that his block is, of course, not available. Cauterize is. We'll have to see if DJ Batman can do something about this next incarnation.
Yep, this incarnation is a ticking bomb at this point. It's going to annihilate Daisy Duke. Asgaras Iron Bark comes up in 10 seconds. His tree form comes up in line with incarnation, though, so it's really going to be up to DJ Batman to save Daisy Duke from this impending incarnation out from Waz. Waz is trying to reconnect to Daisy Duke immediately with that sprint. Daisy Duke blinks away. Here comes the tree form to answer the incarnation, but he gets bashed on it. If they can CC the tree form, they might be able to find a kill regardless. They go for a half bash. Doesn't look like they have it. They go for a half maim. He's left the CC, jumps in tree, tries to spam out some heals. Daisy Duke looking for a Ring of Frost, not able to find it, and they've shut Daisy Duke down time and time again. He's not able to get any counter pressure as a result. He's down to half. They stun up Waz. They go for the miracle play with the sharpened blade. Will it be enough? He's down below 40%. And Poike feeling the heat. He has tree form available if he needs it. He opts to activate his artifact, but he gets sheep. Daisy Duke sneaks that sheep in. Will they find a kill with it? They have to. DJ Batman blinks in. He goes for the clone. He knows it's all or nothing to get the kill on Waz. Daisy Duke has nothing left, but Waz lands the maim on DJ Batman. Is it maim into maim? We're going to find out here shortly. Maim into clone. Then Poike follows it up, and now Daisy Duke once again on the run for his life. Waz right on his tail, looking to finish the job. DJ Batman reconnects, but he goes into the full bash. Daisy Duke kiting like a legend. He has nothing left.
Yeah, he has nothing left, and Waz seems to be fine for now. Survival Instinct was recently used, and now Poike is put into the bash, into the maybe full clone by Asgarat. Nice job by him, but Waz should be fine, casting the regrowths behind the pillar, DR clone to Poike, and they actually, the team of ABC survived the last incarnation, so I think they're in a pretty healthy spot, but can Asgarat do anything to help Nixie on the next big burst? Waz into trouble. The DR Shiva onto Poike, has to put that bear for him. He should be fine. Sharpened Blade is put out. Can Poike heal to his damage? I'm not sure. The Armbark is coming out, though, from Poike. Put into the Stormbolt. The CC from ABC is just relentless at this point. Full fear, but we'll see if it has to break. But Waz sitting in the bear form with the Armbark. Should we find hitting to the Thorns? He has to be careful. Execute range now available for a Nixie. Triple DR clone. Waz is leading on a miracle right now. 1%, and NG will be losing the series unless Maro can 3v1 the team, which I don't think so.
Wow, what a series in the end, and this game actually looked even better for Northern Gaming. I don't know what you guys thought, but from my point of view, Daisy Duke was in trouble for a lot of this one.
I don't know. He was just able to kite and avoid damage for quite a long time, that even though he had nothing, he was able to kind of just outposition them, keep his aggression up, and then Nixie kept cool. He did what he needed to do to get the job done. Some really well-timed sharpened blades, really good fears. So he just kept calm, even though Daisy Duke had nothing, and they were able to pull it off, winning the series 4-2 and winning the second European GCD TV.
Yep, it's awesome to see these guys back. ABC, of course, have been a team that we've seen in these tournaments, seen in the European regionals over and over, so fantastic to see them doing so well. They will be winning this tournament with the 4-2 victory. We'll just have a little look at the brackets to see that concluded here. As we can see, that will be a 4-2. So the victors of the tournament, ABC, second place going to Northern Gaming, not a bad finish at all. And then in third place, we have Enjoy Legion, who we saw earlier today. Now, I think the next step should be to see if we can get these guys in for an interview, having won. Can we get them? So we'll see if we can work on that for you guys. But we have a few shout-outs that we want to do before we end the broadcast as well, before we get that interview. Of course, we did shout out our Matcherino, which we have it now over for Europe, of course, but you can still enter this raffle here. You can use the points, just click on the raffle and then enter with as many points as you have. You've been earning them passively by watching the tournament, so it's kind of like a little thank you from us. There's going to be a $25 amounts given away. You can earn the code whether you play on EU or NA, so definitely worth checking that out. It's free, of course, so courtesy of Matcherino, thank you to them for supplying us with this little giveaway. We also announced our North American event, so we can see that here. A few people have used the code on it, and we're actually out of the GCD TV1 codes now, and actually it's not on there, so that's so problematic. There we go. I'm sorry if you didn't get to see the last page, but we're going to have this event happening soon. You can click the sign up here, and then this will take you to the Battlefy. So looking forward to seeing what North America has. That will be our next tournament, which is just 2 weeks away now. So you only have to wait 2 weeks for GCD to be back with this North American event. We're looking to get this team onto Discord. Let me just quickly link the Discord to them so that we can have this interview. I think other than that, the only real shout-outs left for us to do from you guys, right? So do you have any kind of thoughts about the tournament that you'd like to say before we get these guys in for interview?
You go ahead first.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always great to participate in these tournaments. I'm glad that there will be some on both EU and NA regions, so make sure you guys check out the future GCD tournaments if you want to see some more PvP action. Thank you guys all for watching. We're gonna get, as Healing Stats said, the winners of these that Winter GCD EU Tourney in the chat, or in the call rather. And other than that, no, shout out to you guys for doing a great job. Shout out to Toxic also, who's been managing everything behind the scenes. I'm not sure if there is anybody else in the back scene, so to speak, that I haven't thought about. But yeah, great job to everybody. And that's it.
And Super?
I mean, just thank you to everyone that tunes in and supports the tournaments. It's always fun. It's very nice to have some fresh commentary too. I think that Zuni and Sidu did a great job yesterday. Zuni obviously today as well. It's nice to commentate with new people every once in a while too. But these games were great. It was nice to see a lot of comebacks, a lot of swings. These last few series were all down to the last couple games, so that was awesome.
All right, cool. It looks like we have a couple of people who have joined us in our Discord. Perhaps, I'm not entirely sure from your Discord names who's who, but maybe you can introduce yourselves.
I'm Askrat, and Nixie's here as well, and our old man didn't find out how to join Discord.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, how are you guys feeling off of that victory?
Yeah, I mean, everything went as expected, I guess. We just slayed everyone, and yeah, that was that.
Awesome.
So I had a question for you guys. Did you guys know that Warrior Mage was just strong, or did you just kind of just throw it out there against Rogue Mage? It was just because, I mean, the patch just recently hit, right? And did you just expect it to be good, or did you actually know that Warrior Mage was going to be good?
Well, I played both, so I just feel like rogues are dog shit, so I'd rather play Warrior. And it just fits better. So.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's fair enough, I guess. And what about the Elemental Mage as well? We saw you guys bring that out. How did you feel that comp performed for you guys in the tournament? What do you think it's?
We were really confident with that. We were very confident with that. I told my team all along we should play Warrior. I mean, Ellie Mage, and these guys were a bit hesitant, but I managed to convince them, and we won.
It was actually like the opposite though. He was like, don't log your Ellie, we're gonna lose.
This guy was fucking dodging everything. He didn't want to practice Warrior Mage Druid, he didn't want to practice Ellie Mage. He said, nah, we're not going to queue Ellie Mage, you guys are dog. And they were like, nah, we win, come on.
Well, fair
No
enough.
idea about the game.
Do you think going away from this tournament you're going to have a little bit more confidence in your ults then?
Well, I hope my healer does. This guy doesn't play with our ults. He says they're too
I
shit.
don't know, dude. This guy played this mage the whole tournament. I don't know how that would make me have confidence in his ults at all.
Okay, well, anyways, I'm really happy for you guys. Congratulations on some awesome games. Thank you very much for
good
the
job, guys.
entertainment. Do you have any like shout outs you would like to do, or maybe plug your own Twitters or Twitches if you wish to do so?
Sure.
I would like to say, how can you lose as Rogue Mage?
There we go. It had to come.
Someone
How
was
do you
gonna say-
lose?
This is a European tournament, so yes.
How
there
do you
has to be
lose as
some
a
question.
mage?
Yeah, well, Mage did win the tournament. Want to plug my stream? It's DaisyDuke TV on Twitch. I want to shout out to the enemy team like Minpoike, Waz, and Maro. They were really nice and really good players. It was fun.
So we have Daisy Duke. We just put it in the chat as well. TV. So definitely be sure to give that one a follow. Do you have any Twitters or Twitches you want to shout out, Asgraf?
No, that's okay, thanks.
Nixie?
Not really, but I'll give a shout out to Joe for teaching me how to play Warrior. A shout out to Fabio as well.
The mighty Joe Fernandez. And yeah, I mean, it's awesome to see that you were doing so well on your alts. I really enjoyed watching you guys play the Frost Ella as well. I was really happy you brought that comp out because it's certainly something that we didn't really see the Frost Mage so far. And then we saw you guys and Northern Gaming trying those comps. So, yep, thank you very much for joining the tournament and providing us with some awesome games. Congratulations once again on that first prize. They're spamming to give us a Twitter for you, Daisy Duke. Do you not have a Twitter at all?
It's DaisyDuke TV, but I never post anything. And I don't even
know how to log in.
You need to get your
It's
following.
like, I'm an old man. I don't know how this works. I had trouble joining Discord.
Exactly.
But you stream though. Surely you have to have some.
Yeah, sometimes I stream, yeah.
He streams once a year. Every time he can figure out how to find the stream key, he streams.
All right. Well, thank you guys for the awesome entertainment. We've had a fantastic tournament today. I do want to give more shout outs as well. We already touched a little bit on Toxic. He's been doing a fantastic job behind the scenes, getting all these games queued up. It can sometimes be quite a difficult challenge, but he has done amazingly well. Also, a huge shout out to Elbrath, who has been helping a lot with the broadcast assets. He's, of course, the other co-owner of GCD TV, and he will be very instrumental to the North American event when it comes round to that as well. So, huge shout outs to everyone involved in all of those events. We actually got another donation, $43, to get to the 1,000 goal on the match arena as well from Dream Phase 9. Thank you so much for that donation, and everyone who's subscribed and donated over the weekend. Of course, these tournaments cannot take place without the prize pool to attract the players, and we thank you all so much for the support that you guys put towards that. And I mean, there's nothing more to say, right? Like there's no real words. You can tell from the fact that I'm struggling to come up with good words that express my appreciation for that. So,
can we get some snuts money in the chat for the donation? Much appreciated, man.
I wanted to say thank you to the organizers of the tournament. It was like so well run and it's so fun and it really keeps the community alive. And I'm just thankful. And the casting was incredible. Like I checked yesterday VODs and the analysis actually spot on. Like every thought that went through our head and the cast has picked up on it. And I'm actually really impressed. So thanks.
Yep, that's awesome to hear. Thank you so much for those comments. And yeah, Sidu yesterday as well did a fantastic
He
job.
was a great caster.
Yeah, and
He was the best, I feel like. No offense, like, you others were great as well. You know, CD was great. He was great.
Absolutely. I think he did a great job for sure. And hopefully we'll see more of him in future casts maybe. And,
yeah, I really hope so.
Yeah.
But anyways, yep, and of course, huge shout outs to Sid and Zinni for joining me. Zinni on all 3 days and Sid today, so thank you. Both of you guys, you did a fantastic job. And yeah, I think...
You too, Talby, you too. Shout out to Talby3.
I think that's going to summarize everything that I wanted to talk about. Now we just got to see if we've got a nice stream for us to host to kind of pass on this GCD love to someone else to see. And yep, okay, I see Joe Fernandez is streaming, so I think he's the... he's got to be the choice at the moment, since Nixie already gave him a shout out for helping out with his Warrior gameplay. So we're going to head over to Joe Fernandez's stream with our host. Thank you very much once again for watching the stream this weekend. I can't wait to see you in 2 weeks. That's going to be the 10th of March for the North American event. Go over to Joe, give them some GCD yeses, etc. Look forward to seeing you next time in a couple of weeks. Peace.
Peace.